Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Toby. Welcome to the podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome. I'm going to give a big shout out to my day ones for the past 6 years, my subscribers, my listeners. I appreciate people who talk about this podcast, who share this podcast, who support this podcast, who write reviews for this podcast. Really appreciate all your support. I've been doing this for 6 years. I've been giving it away for free. So many people ask me why I don't film it, why I don't monetize on YouTube, why don't I charge people for it on Patreon? And their answer is because I don't want to. I love these conversations in my kitchen. I love the honesty. I love that people want to come back for 2 or 3 episodes, the reoccurring guests that I have all the time. I love it. No lights, no cameras. I myself do not like going on podcasts that are being filmed and have lights. I've done it a couple times. I'll probably never do it again. I don't feel like myself in those situations. So I want all my guests to be as comfortable as possible. I do have sponsors. The sponsors keep my shit going. They keep it alive. But I will never interrupt a conversation with an ad in the middle of it. People do that all the time, and I will never interrupt the flow of a conversation. So don't worry about that. But I do have amazing sponsors who I align myself with, the products that I use on a daily basis. I've turned down so much money for sponsors that want to be part of this podcast with companies I've never tried or didn't align with. I'm very picky about who I have on my sponsors and have on this podcast. That being said, check out the sponsors. Joe, cue up the music. Since 1987, Rockabilia has been around doing officially licensed merch. No bootlegs from all the artists that I freaking love, from pop to hip hop to rock to hardcore to punk. Over 500,000 items on this website, independently owned, operated in the USA. Custom limited collabs drop every month exclusively on this website from visual artists and tattoo artists. We have so many bands that I love and artists that I love, from Gaga to Blink, Katy Perry, Bad Brains, Beastie Boys, De La, Tribe Called Quest, 50 Cent, Billy, Deftones, Dead Kennedys, DMX, Dr. Dre, Eric B. and Rakim, Goo Goo Dolls, Hall & Oates, Wu-Tang, U2, Snoop, TSO, and Paramore. Those is to name a few of all my favorite bands that are on this website. I've owned t-shirts from all those artists throughout my life. Now I know to go here only. All officially licensed merchandise. Check out Rockabilia Instagram. Also go to rockabilia.com and use my code OLLC10 and get 10% off. That's rockabilia.com. Use my code OLLC10 and get 10% off your purchases. Thank you to Rockabilia for being our new sponsor. Welcome to OLLC fam. As we get older, we start paying attention to what we put in our bodies. I personally have been listening to my body since I was 18 when I went vegan. I've always been focused on my health. It's super important, mental and physical health. But it's really important for people who are just starting to get more healthy and trying to step up their life. Doing your homework, reading the labels, researching and verifying everything that's quality. It's part of the game these days. That's why I started drinking AG1s. I'm so proud to have them as a sponsor of my podcast. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut support and is backed by multiple research studies so you can trust what you're putting into your body. We're all so busy these days, so just store a pack of AG1 in the morning into a cup of water and shake it up and drink it. I love the way it tastes. I do it every single morning. It's part of my routine. I bring the packets on tour. It's an incredible life changer for me. Many supplements only reference research from ingredients in their product, but I trust AG1 in my daily routine because it's constantly putting the formula to the test. It's backed by multiple research studies. In one of those research studies, AG1 was shown to have double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, which is super important because these help digestion in the immune system and the immune health. And these bacteria are known to help with digestion as well, gas and bloating, which I freaking need. And it also promotes regular bowel movements, what I can attest to. In another research study, 97% participants felt more energy after 30 days and 91% of the participants noticed that they needed less coffee after 60 days. I quit coffee like 5 months ago. I know I'm good on that. But AG1 is packed with a variety of nutrient-dense ingredients and is the perfect complement to my healthy diet. I drink it because I know it's going to work and it gives me a peace of mind covering all my nutrition bases for the day. In fact, I trust it so much, that's why I'm spreading the word about it. That's why it sponsors my podcast. Thanks to Angie Huberman for turning me on to AG1s, connecting me with them, and now they're part of my podcast. It's so easy and satisfying to start your day with AG1s. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of the vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your purchase at drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. It's never been a better time to focus on your health and wellness and get back on track, man. Take control of your daily health. Health is wealth. Welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Today, for the 4th time in a row, my co-host, Mr. Matthew Henderson, the legend.
Hello, hello.
Let's go your bands right. I always get your bands wrong.
You get the one wrong.
Okay.
Let's see how you do.
Agnostic Front, Madball, Blind, Justice. Blind Approach.
Blind Approach, he got it.
H2O now. Blind
H2O
Approach.
now.
Yeah. You played in Hazen Street ever? No,
I never played in Hazen Street, but I got to call it the Eulogy, man. My boys.
The
in
Eulogy too. I always fuck that up.
Had a good run with them, and yeah.
Blind Approach. Thanks for being here again.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
This is the fourth. It was a trilogy, but now it's not going to be. But it's perfect to have him. It's all connected.
Yep.
Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Vitalo.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And
this is legendary.
This is maybe your second podcast in your life.
Yeah. I was saying earlier, I barely post on social media, so.
I love that.
I
respect that. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
We did a tour together 2012.
We did.
With Backtrack, H2O Terror, and Code Orange Kids.
Oh, wow.
Pretty sick tour, yeah.
That was a sick tour.
Damn, that was a long time ago, man. It's crazy. That's posted about the other day. You didn't see it so I did like a flashback, but that was like a really good tour. That was fun.
Well, now I got to ask, the way you said that, you don't post, but you have an account that you would still
I check
scroll?
It out. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I always tell myself I'm going to post and then I don't, but I'm just saying that, you're saying this is my second podcast. I'm just saying that it takes a lot to get me to be speaking publicly. So
no, I appreciate it. I really appreciate it, man.
I got to say also, H2O self-titled, first hardcore record I ever heard.
There you go.
Really?
And
there you go.
It was in the same batch of like Pennywise, NoFX, MXPX, Civ, which I was texting with a friend the other day about the Civ Set Your Goals record.
Incredible album.
But that was before I really knew what hardcore was, but it was all of it was a pile of CDs that I'd listened to with my cousins. So if my cousins were new, and when they find out that I'm on a podcast with you, they're going to fucking trip.
That's crazy.
That and those CDs that you listed, they're all kind of in a similar vein, right?
Melodic.
Yeah, I would agree. Right?
And I was going to say, that's for Toby, and then for you, don't even get me fucking started on Set It Off and One Voice or, Did you play with Madball at the Set It Off anniversary shows?
In 2014?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a run. We did like
I know you did.
US run.
So I was on tour with Backtrack, and we were on tour with Every Time I Die and The Ghost Inside. And and that tour happened, and I had Turnstile and Take Offense. I was a booking agent. I booked both those bands.
Oh, you were? And because Turnstile was with us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
So I flew to the show at the Metro in Oakland. Not Oakland, Chicago.
Chicago.
Can you edit me out? Can you hold me down?
Yeah, right.
That's right. Turnstile opened up for Madball. That's right.
Yeah. And Downpresser was on there too. Another
yeah,
amazing band.
That was a personal request of mine.
Cool.
Was it?
Yeah, very.
That's cool.
See, and I'm going to throw this out because I always mention him. My friend Sergio Chavez, who was the singer for the Eulogy, he's in San Diego now. He's been to this day, like he literally just sent me a whole list of stuff to listen to. He keeps me up on the newer hardcore stuff.
For sure.
That's cool.
So he turned me on to Downpresser. He turned me on to Turnstile, you know, in their entry days.
Painted Truth too, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Painted Truth, Combust. He turned me on to all of it, you know.
It's awesome.
That's awesome. Well, let's take it back to Long Island, right? Is it born and raised in Long Island?
Yep.
What part?
I was born in Rockville Center at Mercy Hospital. And then my parents moved to Stony Brook in 1990.
And you have siblings, right?
I have a brother and a sister. Yep, I'm the oldest of three.
You're the oldest?
My parents moved to Suffolk. They got fucking cooked by all their friends. Where they were like, Suffolk County, that's where cousins fuck each other, basically. You know, like that's like the kind of like the. I think so. I mean, whatever. But yeah, I was 6, so lived like pretty deep Suffolk County. So getting like, and hardcore shows out there were different than they were in the city and all that.
I'm
so
sure.
I'm still fascinated by that. Like I lived in New York for, a total of about 15 years, and it really was primarily Manhattan.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yep.
But I knew a lot of people from Long Island, obviously, right? We all did. And,
for sure.
And we'd play like the P-Whack is the one.
P-Whack was amazing, man.
What was the other one? Lips?
I don't know about Lips.
I don't know about Lips.
Or, yeah, because I remember someone telling me it stood for Long Island Promotes Slam Dancing, which...
What was it, Right Track In or something?
Yeah, we do.
Right Track In back in the 80s.
Right Track In, that was... So, I was talking to my parents the other day, and they said they'd go there to see, like, jam bands, and probably, like, 87, 88.
Yeah, that's when I
I'm
went
like,
there.
did you see
I went there with
Crackdown?
Killing Time. Raw there. I went there with
Yeah.
Crackdown.
There,
with
there
Jason
was an
Crackdown.
old one.
Yeah.
Sundance, was that what?
Sundance was sick.
Right,
Yeah,
that
that was in
was
Bayshore.
That
That's
was
where
an
that
old school one.
there was that Bad Brains Leeway show there. Everyone talks about.
Yeah, wasn't it? That was 89. Was it the
that sounds about right.
the
That was
Leeway?
just before I got there.
I was there with the Quickness tour, maybe.
Yeah, it would've
Yeah,
been
I was there.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I went to Long Island a lot because I skated with Jason Crackdown. And he had like a
Jason
cement,
cracked down a big
he had like
Long
a cement
Island
bowl in his backyard or
Yep.
something with the
'Cause
guys in your face.
Squirm lived in
Squirm, Long Island legend.
Long Island.
Okay.
So when I first joined Agnostic Front in '90, I'd go stay at his place a lot, and that's how I got to know a lot of the Long Island guys. And
Yeah.
there was a Long Island Queens sort of congregation.
Yep.
But just asking you, like, did you how much of a thing for you was like Manhattan, the city, while you're in Long Island growing up? Was it much to you at that point, or?
You stay secluded out there, you mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's different, right? It's
It's a different world, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a loaded question. I'm gonna try to slow it down because I feel like
I mean, you grew up on the island, so you lived in your
Yeah.
town. And
yeah. So when I started going to shows, it was like 2000,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
So first couple years, I'm going to shows in Suffolk County. I'm going to Local 7. I'm going to Backstreet Blues. Getting to the city is really, really hard. So
right.
Mm.
I was also CBGB's was a very strict 16 plus, and I learned that the fucking hard way. Where I finally turned 16, and I'm like, I'm going to CB's. Let's
Mhm.
fucking go and check out the show. It was Terror, Stretch Armstrong, 1 for 1, and I took the train in the city, got all the way there. I had my high school ID, which turns out doesn't have my birth date on it. So the guy from SFA is like, "Sorry, kid, get the fuck out of here."
Brendan, right?
Brendan, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
That sucks.
I remember I was wearing a Hold It Down hoodie, and Vogel,
Nice.
yeah, fuck yeah, and Vogel goes, "Hold it down, where are you going?" And I'm like, I don't have my ID, I gotta go. And I'm thinking, if I went to him and I was like, "Yo, man, I'm 16, I can't get into CB's, can you help me out here?" He would for sure put me in a merch bag, put me in a garbage bag.
Absolutely.
I say that because I managed Terror and I talk to him every day, basically.
Yes.
Right.
But got denied. Me and my friend took a bunch of rocks and threw it through cars in the Lower East Side, just out of frustration.
Nice.
But so that was the then I eventually got my proper license. So 2004 was when I really started going to shows in the city. And to be honest with you, it was like dead. Like there was such a good era of bands from other areas. Like this is like the Positive Numbers era, like right when This Is
Yeah.
Hardcore kind of started. So there's like Mental, Righteous Jams, Justice. That's the era that a lot of young kids really love right now. It's almost like that era of early 2000s hardcore is kind of glorified the way that like 87 to 91.
Okay.
Was that
Okay.
MIs and Floor Punch and stuff like that too? or
But
no?
No,
before,
later.
before that era.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Floor Punch,
Damn.
I think, started that whole wave of like New York hardcore worship. And then those younger bands did it, and they did it very well. But
10-yard fight. We've thrown it.
I love 10 Year Fight. That was like still earlier.
Later,
You know,
yeah,
that
later,
was- they were
yeah.
they were gone
Right.
before I was coming
Right,
around.
right, right.
But
Because I was in New York in 2004, and neither were you, right?
Well,
I-
Righteous Jams, I always know because
Oh, yeah.
that was Elgin's band.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
A great band.
But this is, and you'll realize this with me. I think we talked about the hockey concussions and the ADHD. I'll be all fucking over the place. But
It's all good.
this will tie into, my understanding of New York City hardcore, and then like maybe the mission statement for Backtrack. But all these bands would come through and play CBs, and it'd be fucking dead. But you see
Right.
Underdog play CBs, and it'd be crazy, And we talked about that show a little earlier. And that for me was one of like the mission statements for Backtrack starting was like there's so many like young kids on Long Island and in New York, and we got to
Yep.
like band together to
Yep.
create something. Where it was like it
Yeah.
was really
This is what I wanted to hear.
it was like a disappointing era because we have so many good shows, and for a while we would get like Down to Nothing, Trapped Under Ice, Cruel Hand, like Naysayer, like when those bands were really touring, we'd get them to play Long Island instead of the city. So New York City hardcore was dead. But then there'd be
It
like Black
was.
and Blue Bowl, and like Cousin Joe would show Backtrack tons of love, but
Sure.
it was almost like two different universes completely.
It
Like
is.
we'd go play a show at like what was that, Studio B, with like Sick of It All and Cro-Mags, and we'd open the show, but it'd be completely different from like a Trapped Under Ice show on Long Island.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So like my relationship with shows in New York City was filled with either the craziest shit of all time, where like Agnostic Front would play and it'd be crazy. I broke my orbital at an AF show at CB's.
Wow.
It was that show with there's like a live at CB's like part 2.
Okay.
I think it was AF, Champion, Full Blown Chaos, Outbreak. I want to say.
Hmm.
You were gone by then.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
I'm standing in the back, not like cool guy standing in the back, but I'm like, long day, and AF played the Eliminator. And you remember how at CB's they had that little, like, the merch area that was like a step up?
Yep.
And I jumped off and I head walked and I landed right in the pit. And this guy dressed like a crazy person just socked me. And next thing I know, I'm on Bleecker Street and I had a broken orbital for like.
He socked you in the face?
Not on purpose, but it's just part of
yeah.
the game,
Yeah, part
But
of
anyway,
yeah.
the point of what I was getting at is my relationship with New York City shows was either like the most insane things I'd ever see, or like deep, deep disappointment of like, where is the younger generation right now? Like, why is Death Threat playing New York City and it's not fucking insane? Like, what's up with that?
Yep.
That's a great point.
Yep.
I feel like it's an expensive place to live first and foremost, right? Unless you grew up in Manhattan, who knows about the scene? I don't know. So it's like the outskirts. It's Jersey, it's Long Island, it's Staten Island. It's I don't know.
Something
Brooklyn?
Something I do is I take a notebook and I draw a lineup for a show, and I go, okay, if we could get Backtrack to play a show with Blind Justice from Jersey, and maybe we get a band from Connecticut, like maybe we could have a show in Brooklyn that's crazy. And we just never got there, to be honest with you. Like,
wow,
we had a couple good shows in Brooklyn. There's no doubt about that. But as a whole, like, it was always Long Island. It was Long Island and Jersey and New York City for a while, from like 2004 to when I moved. Which was in 2015. It felt like New York City was dead unless it was AF or Sick of It All playing.
Yeah.
And then now it's like all shows go to Brooklyn.
They do, man.
Like, which is cool.
Which is interesting too,
Maybe it's not
because
cool.
in the '90s, Brooklyn to me, and tell me if you knew otherwise, was Lemoore.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
It was great, but it was its own vibe.
It was a different scene.
Very different
Mm-hmm.
kind of scene. But obviously a lot of Brooklyn cats would be in the city at CB's, and for us in the '90s, I'd still think Wetlands more than CB's.
Well, another thing is that all those clubs are gone in Manhattan. And was there an all ages club with no barricade in Manhattan at this point?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
don't even know.
Like the club's kind of dead. No.
But CB's existed in the early 2000s,
True.
and there was no young scene, and there's no excuse for that.
yeah.
I couldn't understand it. Like, and it's so sick seeing where hardcore is at right now, where hardcore in New York is at right now, and like
Crazy.
even seeing like Painted Truth headline Black and Blue Bowl, it was like finally the old generation and new generation really kind of go all in together, which I thought was really cool to see. I saw that flyer and I'm like,
that's
fuck
critical.
Yeah.
I mean,
And we always tried to do that, and we can never get that to happen. Like, we'd open for Sick of It All because we had no, like, we get asked and be like, yeah, of course we're fucking playing the show. But it was like we were the irrelevant opener, but then we go play on Long Island, it would be crazy. So that we never were able to like mix those two universes together. And it seems like that's happening now. But in the early 2000s, to answer the question of my relationship with shows in Manhattan, it was like, it's dead. Unless it's the legends.
But, I'm going to kind of restate the question. The relationship with the city itself, you know what I mean? Like, forget about shows for a moment and hardcore. Just you being in Long Island.
Oh, when you start going to the city?
And New York City.
Yeah.
Was that even was there an interest to it before hardcore? Like,
100%. I mean, I con's a fucked up word, but I kind of asked to go to Catholic school closer to the city because I wanted to be in the mix, and I'm not.
Wow.
And
that was hardcore wasn't a part of it. You just
hardcore was a part of it. I was super into hardcore, and
Okay.
I was like, if I could be closer in the mix, I could take the train from Huntington to CB's instead of Stony Brook to CB's because I don't have to transfer in Jamaica.
So my school.
I mean, always going to the city has always been crucial.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
And so let's go back to you growing up a little bit too. How was it growing up on Long Island? And what kind of music you listened to before you found hardcore?
I don't want to say I was born with a Bad Brain CD, but very early on I was into punk through my cousins.
Okay.
So like
how old?
Yeah, how old were they?
Like 11, 12.
Damn.
Like
how old were they?
They were probably 15, 14 at that time.
So
But
it was really music.
my parents owned a deli on Long Island, so they were like very consumed there. I mean, still present parents, but they were there a lot, so I spent a lot of time with my cousins who lived over the bridge in Jersey. And we would skateboard and play baseball and listen to punk music, and they got me into everything.
Sounds like a beautiful life to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. And then, I kind of like H2O and Civ were in that pile, but it was all punk, and then I discovered hardcore through like the local hardcore scene in Long Island, scene like Subterfuge and Strong Point. And in terms of like growing up, I mean, And I think this still, well, can edit me out for a sec for me thinking for a sec. We'd go to shows and we'd see a band like Subterfuge had the most insane intro with tons of people floor punching everywhere. They'd cover Sick of It All and Gorilla Biscuits. And then there'd be like a band like Antirabe that was just like metalcore, spin kicks, like shit. And it was all the same.
Yeah.
And from there, we had a lot of different friends that were into different shit. It wasn't like I grew up and we were like the youth crew, we loved that stuff. Like, but it was so different. It was a very diverse scene, like musically and socially. And, for that, I'm so grateful. I think about now, like, I live in fucking Toluca Lake, which is awesome.
That's crazy.
But I'm thinking, like, I'm going to raise kids that live in the valley that don't, that, like, I grew up on Long Island with parents that owned a deli, playing hockey, going to hardcore shows. It's like, it has molded me in so many ways that I apply every single day in my day-to-day life, from like the philosophy of hardcore to playing hockey and getting the shit beat out of you, to going to CBGBs and getting literally every bone in your face broken. Like that helps a lot when you're working in the real world.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how were you in school, and what were your goals when you get out of school?
I was horrible in school.
Okay.
And like,
were parents strict about grades or anything, or?
No. It's kind of a funny story, but my parents are fucking awesome. So supportive. And we got at some point talk about them getting into Turnstile. That's probably later in the conversation. But
great.
like my parents getting into Turnstile, they finally see what it's like for me being in love with hardcore. Like Turnstile turns my parents into 16-year-olds. It's fucking crazy.
Are they music fans?
I love that.
Yeah. But like not anything like that.
No, I get it.
But they didn't get it with Backtrack.
No, I mean, I didn't give them anything to get,
Yeah.
Come on, let's be honest. But school was always really, really hard for me. And
why? Like, how was it socially and academically?
Socially, it was fine.
Okay.
Like, I wasn't like picked last in gym or bullied necessarily, but I just never fit in.
Yep.
And it was really hard for me to like sit in a class and learn and process. And like I tried, later, because it's not like I wanted to not do good in school. Like
right.
I never had the aspiration to like be a doctor, but I wanted to keep up with the world and be,
sure.
Like my parents owned a deli that wasn't like a financial crusher. So like there was always a pressure of like wanting to provide for your family. And, that was always an end goal for me. But school was just fucking impossible. And I eventually took like ADHD medication and it made it worse. And, like now I'm in a spot to where I run my own operation and it's amazing, but it's also kind of like the only choice because any sort of bigger organization I've never been able to fit into. School or working a job for somebody else. Like it's just never worked. So I'm able to like write the rule book a little bit, but but like school was fucking impossible. Like really was. Like reading. I don't like to admit that like, there's things where I can hear a song and I can be like, okay, that's the venue we're going to play in New York and that's what the merch is going to look like and that's who's opening. And it's like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
But if I have to read, it's fucking hard. And it's like I'm not proud to admit like I'm slow.
I guarantee you're not alone. And I
sure.
feel like everything you're describing and explaining is probably the majority of the people into hardcore's story.
Absolutely,
in reality,
man.
right?
Absolutely, man.
Didn't do great in school. There's potential in this human being that we're talking about here.
Yep.
But the standard, go through school, to get, the more average job,
Yeah.
Right.
get married, like the quote unquote cliche American dream lifestyle.
Yeah.
Just for whatever reason, and not a conscious decision, because at 10, 11, 12 years old, you're not thinking, at least I wasn't, I need to rebel. You just knew that you weren't quite fitting in.
Absolutely, man.
I think a lot of people are open to that now, but at a time they weren't. And
It's
it was like
difficult.
you're a circus freak if you like. I dropped out of high school with 4 days to go. And at that time I was like
That was for tour.
circus
That was
freak.
for tour, I think, or something, right?
That was going tour, guns up and sell merch. It's crazy. But funny
Wow.
story about grades, pressure, expectations. I went to this Catholic school, St. Anthony's. And
Well, that's a whole different.
It is,
well, yeah,
dude.
yeah, and that like
All boys school?
No,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
co-ed.
Okay.
That, and I'm gonna try so hard to not like jump around because this brings up so many different memories.
Go.
One of them is like Yankee related and society and authority, which I don't want to burn you because I know we just talked about the Yankees.
Hey,
earlier,
go.
but
That's
bring
okay,
it,
man.
but
It's all right, man. It's your life.
I love it.
for me, doing what I'm doing, which playing a hardcore band for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Now I manage bands and I'm fighting on behalf of other people. Going to Catholic school was like the best thing to put a huge chip on my shoulder.
Yep.
And just have it covered in gasoline.
Yep.
You know, like
Yep.
on top of like what we said earlier about like not being able to fit in. I almost doubled down where it's like I don't fit in here, so I'm gonna go over here where even if I fit in back there, I'm definitely not fitting in here.
Yeah.
But you know, I went to that school and it was like going from public school that's free to a school that costs money, and my parents didn't have money, so there was a pressure of, you know, my mom had a rule where, and she'll probably like, you know, I hope she doesn't mind that I tell the story, but if I got below a certain score, I couldn't go to shows for like the semester.
Wow.
And I fell short of that. And then I didn't go to a couple shows. And I was like, fuck that. I'm never missing a show again. And it wasn't like, I'm never missing a show again. I'm going to go read and study. It was like, I'm making fake report cards, motherfucker.
See, and there you go.
Yeah.
And I had this kid on my bus that was like Photoshop savvy. And I would deliver the fake report cards. I'd go to shows. I'm in 10th grade at this point, you know. So this is like there was like a Suicide File show that I missed, and I was like, fuck this. So, but this is crazy. They'd give you the report cards in homeroom, so they expected me to take my report card
As is.
that was underperforming, turn it in, and accept the fate of not going to show. So I was like, no fucking way, I'm doing this. Absolutely no, absolutely not. But then the last day. The last report card they send in the mail because you're out of school, right? So me and my friend, we like hawked the mailbox. I wish it was like some Goodfellas shit of like,
That's
Me too.
If you give this kid, yeah, whatever.
Stop giving the mail.
So we got it. Remember, we took it. We ran down the block. We ran around the corner. We burned it, and we were like, we made it. We did it. We're going to shows this. But the craziest part of that was if you got below a 60 in any class, you failed and you couldn't come back. So like the first semester, I did just okay. Second semester, I'm like, I'm getting fake report cards. I'm giving fake report cards. I don't need to do fucking anything.
Yeah.
In the third semester, they're like, yo, if you don't get like 90s, you're out of here. So it was like, oh shit. And I remember people that kind of rallied behind me where they were like, they'd give me like answers to tests because they kind of wanted to keep me there. So it was a funny story of like everybody watching this fake report card process. And then I like made it. Like I got all the grades. I didn't show my parents the fake report cards. So I made it through 10th grade. And then 11th grade, halfway through, I got kicked out of school because my character rating got low, which like is fucked up because my character rating was bad because...
Your character rating.
That's I never heard that before.
Yeah, so you start at 100, and if you get detention or whatever, your character goes down.
Okay.
And this is like... Fuck society, fuck the system. Can I curse on this thing, by the way?
Of course.
Yeah, okay, cool.
It's like character breakdown's crazy.
Well,
yeah.
one big thing that really...
And this is not Catholic school at this point, right? Or is it?
This is Catholic school,
man.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's this kid that on the bus he was giving this... Well, I can't call her a woman. A girl a hard time. This is 10th grade. And he wouldn't leave her alone, so it got physical. And I'm not like my ledger of fights is not very long.
Yeah.
But it got physical because he was fucking around with this girl and it was not cool and everybody thought it was not cool and no one was doing anything. 30 points taken off my character rating. And you start at 100. That's it.
That's crazy.
And then that led to some gambling and graffiti stuff and I got kicked out. But and they found my sketch notebook and they were like, all right, you're out of here. Like we're tracing this to the graffiti that's been in the hallways everywhere. And then
what was your tag name?
Cell 3.
Okay.
I was a toy.
Drinking and drugs all in this story?
No,
man.
Never.
8th grade, I drank. 9th grade, I stopped. I saw someone, I was like, I want to stop drinking, but I don't want to be like a straight edge poser. And then I was at a show, I saw someone wear a Start Today hoodie, and I was like, start today. That's me. I'm starting today.
It's awesome.
Shout out Walter. I told him that story like a couple weeks ago.
Genius, Walter Schreif. Look you go.
Damn right.
Damn.
But funny part of that story is the dean's talking to my dad. And my dad's like, you're kicking him out? And my dad always fucking rode so hard for me. Like in the privacy, he'd be like, yo, you can't do that.
Right.
Fuck you doing? But like
Right.
publicly, he'd be like, this is my son. He's a good kid. You got to give him a break. Like
yep.
constantly over and over and over again.
That's great.
My mom too as well, both of them. But my dad's like making the case of the dean. He's like, the kid's getting straight A's. You're gonna kick him out. they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Kid got his fucking, they pull out my real credit, my real report card, and they're like, nah, come on.
Holy shit!
But I thought that was funny.
You get in trouble for that or no?
Did I get in trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got kicked out of school.
No, your parents.
At that point, it was like, I mean, yes, but it's like you got kicked out of school.
Yeah.
It's actually the best time to reveal that there was fake report cards because I already got kicked out of school. So the fake report cards seem irrelevant at that point.
Damn. What do you do when you get kicked out? Like, what you get a job? Like, what are you doing?
I went to public school.
Okay, back to
So I
public
went to
school.
public
Damn.
school at 11th grade, halfway through. So I finished my 11th grade at Ward Melville, and then I did 12th grade there. And then with 5 days to go, this band called Guns Up hit me up to sell merch.
I remember the band, yeah.
And I was like, all right.
And you had no band at the time?
No what?
Yeah, you weren't playing no bands at the time, right?
No.
Damn.
So help me out here. You are saying you did not graduate from high school.
No, we did.
Correct. I do not have a GED.
Okay.
I have nothing. If
Okay.
if like
Wow.
society came in and said, show me your highest level of education, I'd say 11th grade was completed. And 3 semesters of 12th grade.
What were your parents thinking when you quit to go and tour the band?
I'm sure they were not stoked. They were very supportive. My parents could have and that's why like the turnstile full circle moment is so awesome because my
Yeah.
parents could have been like, you're fucking cut off. Not that they financially supported me, but like they could have been like, they could have made it hell, and they didn't.
You living at home too at the time, obviously.
I was living at home. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, classic Long Island style. Lived at home until I moved out here. Until I was 25.
Wow. That's pretty
Crazy.
normal though.
It's getting to be more common now. for
Yeah.
sure. It was
It was
not-
common with all of us. We were all pieces of shit that lived at home and just gambled all night and went to shows. So,
What kind of gambling you doing?
brother, everything. AC/DC, underground poker rooms. That's a whole other thing.
Wow.
And that's such an important part of my life now of just the work that I did in underground poker rooms and learning how to deal with different types of personalities.
Yeah, so you can't be a dummy, in my
No,
opinion,
dude.
and be able to be good at poker because you really got to follow a lot of detail and
Yeah.
be quick and
It's-
think
Yeah.
and strategize,
Yeah.
even though luck is a part of it, I know.
Yeah.
Still.
How old were you when you started doing that?
I mean, gambling at hardcore shows in Long Island was a huge part of the culture. So
Wow.
we'd like roll,
I never
you
knew
know,
that.
We were
and
gone,
there'd
bro.
there'd be people who would have distros. So what I'd do is I'd worked at my parents' deli when I was 13, and then I had a job at a bagel store when I was 15. So I'd have cash at a show, and I'd have $20, and you turn $20 into 100 rolling dice at age 15, and then you go to the distro and you buy the Floor Punch CD and the Youth of Today CD and the Lifetime CD. That's
Yeah.
a big way that I think the guys' names were Dave and Cooper. So shout out to them for the
Wow.
formative CDs that I bought from them. That was the 15-year-old version of gambling. And then, we play this game AC/DC, which is just like sick. That's like at a Long Island house party. It's hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars from all kids that just like deliver pizza that don't have that. But we would crazy. And then playing the underground poker rooms, that's a whole different era and territory. But
Underground meaning where? Like in base? Like where? Like
yeah, I don't know if you remember this. There's this venue, Free Space,
okay.
in Ronkonkoma. So it was right by the Ronkonkoma train station. And it was a venue, a bunch of kids raised money, and they did shows in like 2004 to 2005. Not very long, but then venue closed down. It was just like a building in the middle of nowhere, and a couple guys named Tommy and Joey opened up the spot. And then they just put a table in there and a refrigerator for drinks, and you just play cards there.
Wow.
And they take a rig, so
dude.
it's and then the spot gets hot. You switch spots later, and then it's a whole underground society.
It's fucking nuts.
I'm sitting here, I'm listening to you talk, and I'm just thinking about the whole Long Island culture and the bigger umbrella of New York culture. And what I'm noticing is I'm not hearing an accent out of you at all. And my understanding was Long Island always had a real heavy
Long Island.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a stereotype, I know, but
Yeah,
I'm just curious if you, and to put in perspective, I come from Minnesota, right?
right.
Minnesota, oh wow,
Yeah.
like all
Yeah.
that. I don't
Yeah.
think I've got that,
You don't.
but I don't hear
Yeah.
a Long Island accent from you. There must be like a regional reason for that.
Been out here for a while.
Okay.
Been out here for 10 years. It's probably been diluted a little bit.
If you go back, does it kick in?
Yeah. There was a moment, pandemic happened. It was like the longest time I'd stayed away from New York, right? It's 2021. It was my cousin's wedding. It was just when people were starting to travel again. I landed in New York. I went immediately to Madison Square Garden to watch a Knicks playoff game. And the next day I'm talking to my mom and I'm like, this fucking guy over here saying this and fuck that motherfucker. So I did come back. I mean, I've never had a crazy heavy accent. My dad sounds like George Costanza.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
But,
Damn.
you know.
So how old did we went to your first show? Was that in high school?
No. Check out my first show.
Let's hear it.
Ready? 1999. It was, I have to like do the math on how old I was then. It was in Long Beach. It was Island Park. And me and my friend Connor just drove to the spot earlier because I had the ticket stub. And it was Less Than Jake, Newfound Glory, The Impossibles, Autopilot Off, and then Edna's Goldfish played, like, I don't know what they did. They did like a show outside, like in the merch area or something.
Yeah.
And there was this company called Troma. They do like sea-level horror movies. And
Yeah, I remember Troma,
this,
yeah.
This movie called Terror Firmer that was coming
They were
out.
involved with Chad or something at the time. He did something with him.
Okay, there was like some
Yeah.
activation there. I thought it was the coolest thing.
Yep.
So
Chad was in that movie.
that was my first show.
That's sick.
Yep.
Dude, Autopilot Off. Do you remember them too? They're from upstate or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out Chris Hughes.
Chris, yeah, I mean, yeah. You talked to him lately? I wonder how he's doing.
I-
He was like a business accountant.
He's gonna kill me for saying this. I tried to talk to him earlier, but I'm waiting for him to call me back. He's Turnstile's business manager right now.
That's fucking amazing. Shout out
Yeah,
to
it
Chris.
is.
Yeah, he got into that early on doing the business management stuff. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow, Chris Hughes. They did a bunch of shows with us back in the day. Cool band.
Definitely.
So that was your first show. And then you played sports too in school, right? Obviously you talked about hockey.
Played hockey growing up.
But no other
yeah.
sports in school, really?
Played hockey growing up. Had a lot of concussions. That had like, which is like fucking devastating. But, and this is kind of a constant theme. 10 concussions in the span of a year and a half, 2 years.
Damn.
Like I'd play,
dude.
and it's the same thing with my shoulder. My shoulder's really fucked up. When I was playing hockey, it's like every game is the last game. When I was going to shows, it was like every show was the last hardcore show ever. And I would treat it like that. And that's why I had 10 concussions in the span of 2 years from playing hockey.
Fuck.
And that's why, you know, we could talk about the shoulder later. But, you know.
Did you want to go pro or anything or be a professional?
No,
hockey player?
fuck no.
Okay.
No. I mean, do I want to? Sure. But
When you were
no
younger,
shot
yeah.
at all. No. My dad was, I need to get a little bit more information on the story. My dad was a pretty high level baseball player, like the phenom in high school. And I don't know like how much further it got than that, but I know, you know, he was athletically gifted. Anyone who knows me would know this. Like, I have no form, no swag, but more heart than anyone when it comes to competition.
Okay.
But anything professional is not even a consideration or a thought.
It's very competitive.
So I stopped playing hockey before high school. I picked it up again in like 9th or 10th grade, played a season, but it just like shows were always the focal point.
Yeah,
priority.
yeah.
I made the high school baseball team, which I think about this now, kind of regret, because now I play softball Thursday and it's like one of the most important things in my life.
It's awesome.
But I made the team, and then practice was Saturday at 8 a.m., and I went to see Mental in Boston Friday night before. And then I woke up and I was like, I'm not going to fucking practice, so I'm exhausted from the show. So
Damn.
Music's always been the priority.
Yeah.
And then it's like, then you get to be close to 40 and you're like, man, I'd do anything to be a baseball player right now.
Yeah. And skateboarding too. You skated too as a kid?
I didn't really skate that much. My
Okay.
cousins did.
Yeah.
I didn't really skate that
It
much.
wasn't really a thing.
I always thought it was awesome. I just wasn't good at it. And I just, you know.
Yeah. And so when you're out of school and you graduate, what's your first job? Like, what are you doing? And what do you want to do at that point?
So,
Because
okay.
you went on tour. You left school to go on tour with the
Yeah.
band. So
Yeah.
got the bug kind of.
Yep. I had to think. So when I was in high school, my parents eventually sold the deli. I worked at the deli a lot. My
Yeah.
parents eventually sold the deli. They went on to do different things.
How long was it in
And,
the family for? Was it a long time in the family?
Probably from like, yeah, maybe like 91 to 2004, maybe.
It's long, yeah.
Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah.
Is it still there?
No, the shopping center's there.
Okay.
There's a venue called Outer Limits that's right next to it that had like A lot of really crazy shows. Like Taking Back Sunday played there early on in their days, and then a lot of classic Strong Point, Subterfuge, like good Long Island, Suffolk County hardcore shows.
What was the deli called?
It's called B&J's Deli. My brother's name is Brian. My name is James. So
Nice.
my dad's. It
Fucking
was before my
awesome.
sister Callie was born. So and then when she
Oh,
was born, we didn't make a revision to the name, but you know, he was shouting out the family.
that's amazing, dude.
But yeah, throughout high school, I managed a Subway when I was like 15,
Nice.
and then I worked at Quiznos, and I delivered pizza a lot, and then
A lot of food shit. That's cool.
yeah, always stuff like that. You know, I did. That was what I was doing when I was out of high school. It's like
Just food spots. And
food spots. Yeah, working at a Subway during the day, and then delivering pizza at night,
Going to shows.
and going to shows. Yeah.
That was it. But really no thoughts at that point about starting a band at all? You thought about it, or to be a singer in a hardcore band, or?
So I would do a guest spot with Guns Up.
Okay.
And they were like, "Yo, you should start a band." I was
There
like,
you go.
"That'd be sick." Yeah, like, maybe.
Yeah.
And then and this kind of gets to, let me just spit it out and then we can go backwards.
Sure.
It's a kind of a cool thing to dissect of like Long Island and just like the history.
Yeah.
There was a band called Hard to Earn, and their singer left, and I played one show with them.
Okay.
I want to say he broke up because we were arguing over what breakdowns on the cover. I'm pretty.
That is
fantastic. I think someone
love
was like,
that.
"We're covering Kickback. We're covering Street Fight. Fuck you. You're out of here. Whatever."
Wow.
We all wound up being cool, but then me and my friend Connor were like, "All right, let's go start a band." And we met with these two kids that were in Staten Island that were playing in this band called Fatality. They were more like a beatdown band, but I don't really fuck with beatdown that much. The Fatality, I think it's called New York State of Mind. Amazing record.
Okay. Check that.
Then I brought my brother in, and we had this band, and we were like writing songs, trying to figure it out. I wound up getting surgery on my shoulder, and I was like kind of flaking out on just handling my shit. So, you know, I don't know if they were like, "Yo, you're out of here," or if I was like, "I can't do it." I don't know like what actually happened there, but I wound up not being part of it. And then my friend Dan joined the band, and they wound up being Mindpiece, which I don't know if you remember that band.
Mm-mm.
Oh my God.
I'll look them up too.
So
Yeah, the name's familiar to me, but
Yeah, maybe.
So, and I never, so they put this demo out, and it was like, fucking finally, thank God. Like, because Long Island had a rep for kind of being, one, under the radar, you're, you know, tucked away,
Yeah.
also very melodic, you know, so like, Silent Majority is like the top.
Yeah.
You know.
Clockwise, all those bands.
Yeah,
man.
but then even in that era, it was like Millennium Bandits and The Agent and Heads vs. Breakers and all really cool bands. But like, we loved Silent Majority and Crime Stereo,
Kind stereo.
amazing band. But we also loved Breakdown and Killing Time, you know,
Mhm.
and Ringworm. You know, so there was like Long Island didn't have like a heavy band that you could like beat the fuck out of each other to.
It's true.
And
can I throw a name out there?
Yeah.
See where they land with you?
VOD?
Well, VOD is probably the biggest example, but I
Yep.
was thinking Neglect.
Oh,
We all love Neglect. We all love VOD, but this is like eons before us, right? So we're talking like
Right.
but like influential bands for sure. But like there was an era from like 2003 to 2007 when the Mindpiece demo came out, when like Subterfuge and Strong Point stopped playing, and it was all melodic. Other than like
I never really tracked that era.
Yeah.
I got to go back and get with that.
so the point being is that that Mindpiece demo came out, and everybody was like, "Fuck yeah, we did it! Like we did something. Like
Yeah.
Long Island has something finally." And then we're starting to like, I say we as if I was in the band, but it felt like everybody, and I feel like the same thing translated to Backtrack too. It felt like we all had this thing where like finally, not that we wanted to be recognized, but like we're represented, you know? And
Yeah.
Terror, I remember being at the movies with Dan who sang a Mindpiece, and they got like the text that Terror was going to take them on tour, and it was like, we fucking did it.
Fucking mate. That's
You know?
sick. Yeah.
And then I went to California with them, and they did some shows with Violation. They did the Trash Talk Plagues record release. And then, you know, some shit happened where like, you know, and you could do the research. Some shit happened, and the band stopped playing, and we were all devastated. We were like, fuck, this was our chance. And then like 6 months later, Backtrack started. And it started under like completely different context.
Mhm.
Like I had known Ricky through shows, and me and Rudder, who was the original drummer,
Yep.
wanted to do a band together, and then that kind of just happened organically. But it was like Mind Piece was the thing that like gave us hope that we could go do it.
Yeah.
And then Backtrack started, and we kind of went out there and tried to push it as far as we could.
That was like 2008, right?
2008 demo came out, yeah.
And then Michael Smith's his brother's in the band, right? Correct?
Yeah. So
Pain and Truth.
yeah, which is like we have such a crazy. And I'm
You were
not.
telling me before it was all like he was like a little Freddie Madball vibe. He was young. You guys gave him the mic.
It's blasphemous to make the comparison.
Yeah.
You know, because if I agree with you on that, then I'm saying that I'm agnostic front, which I absolutely would never do. But it was a similar family
similar family
dynamic.
thing.
You know.
Yeah.
So Chris, we put the demo out, and then Chris called me. I think he was drinking. He was like, "Yo, the Backtrack demo's sick," and I'm like, "Thanks. You want to join the band?" And he just came to practice, didn't know anyone, fit right in, and then toured the world with us for years. And then Danny,
It's awesome.
his other brother, wound up joining the band years later. I think maybe 2014 or 15.
Mhm.
Bass was always a revolving door for us, but Danny like closed it out with us.
Yeah. Obviously, you know, it comes from is Killing Time song. Obviously,
Fuck yeah,
for
it
the
is.
listeners who don't know, from the Bright Side, one of the
Yeah.
greatest hardcore records of all time. Bright
Yes,
Side,
it is.
Truth.
underrated, 100%. It's not many. I don't know. I don't hear a lot of top tens, man. To be honest, it makes me sad, especially with the newer generation. They don't really mention Killing Time as much as mention others.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's our time, I guess. I don't know. It's different. I don't know.
Yeah. I
But-
don't know. I think because they didn't play live
A
in
lot.
their peak,
Mm-hmm.
that like they weren't out here a lot, as an example.
They came to
Right?
Cali like one time with Vision, maybe, I think, or something.
And they didn't hit Europe, right?
To a way that he hated to fly. He just
Right.
started flying
Yeah.
within the past 15 years.
So I think that had an impact. But yeah, I
Yeah.
would agree with you.
But a big inspiration to Hoy and Madball, songwriting,
I
structure,
mean-
raw deal demo, all that.
Yep.
They, to me, it's unquestionable. They're a New York institution. If you
Big time.
have any like for New York hardcore, that has to be on the list.
Yep. I think for us, the lack of accessibility for them made us drawn to it more.
Mm.
Where I
that's
think
interesting.
if they
Yep.
played more, maybe they'd be recognized on a wider level, but like the cult might not ride as hard. Where like I would take a I take a bullet between the eyes for Killing Time at this point.
Damn.
Well, now
I
you
love
got,
that.
You got me thinking too. Like, so when you guys are, really starting to, formulate your scene and your bands, were any of the the Long Island heads around? Like, did you have any connection to like the older generation?
What would that be, though? 80s? Or what are you talking about?
I mean, I guess, right?
Kill Your Idols
So-
before you guys, right?
Killer Idols was before us,
Well,
but
I
that
mean, or even Neglect or VOD, or I mean,
yeah. So closest thing, first off, Cousin Joe showed us love immediately.
Well, Long Island,
Like-
too.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
He put us on some really big shows early on,
It's awesome.
which is awesome. I remember the first one of the B&B Bowls. It was the one year that Breakdown played with Dejan.
I remember that.
And and I was there passing out Backtrack demos, just burned, just passing them out. I think he might have got one there, and then he invited us to play next year. So he always showed us love early on.
It's awesome.
In terms of like,
but no
the
one,
older-
like there wasn't people
Well-
going to local shows that you knew were from the older
So-
generation.
Maybe
We-
Mitts.
we met Mitts later on.
Okay.
In terms of like early generation, we met. Fuck, I'm gonna butcher his name right now. I think his name's Scott. I only met him briefly, but he sang in Burning Bridges, but he also sang in Trip Face. And Trip Face for me was like that release. You know the release victory thing?
Yeah.
That was like a huge gateway for me. I bought it because it had MXPX and Less Than Jake. And next thing I know, I'm watching Madball and VOD and Trip
Oh,
Face.
yeah, that's right. The release. Yeah.
But that Trip Face video of them playing CBs to me was like one of the craziest things I've ever seen, and it still sticks with me. So I think Backtrack played shows at Burning Bridges, and we met him early on, and he was working for some like online zine that like reviewed us and showed us love. But that was one that sticks with me. But as a whole, it was like, we played a show with no redeeming social value, and we
Yeah.
covered Intro Bust, and Vinny, rest in peace, was moshing. But like
Awesome.
that, yeah, it was
That's
fucking sick, yeah.
Also,
And they covered Breakdown, All I Ask, and we were all going crazy. And then All I Ask is a short song, and I'm up. They end the song, and I'm up front. I'm like, do it again, and they did it again.
They did it.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. But
I think another influence for you was Crown of Thorns and Outburst too, for sure, right?
Was that?
Crown of Thorns, Outburst?
Yeah.
For sure. Madball, of
Yeah.
course, for
oh
inspiration.
yeah, for sure.
For Backtrack.
Yep.
This guy's a part of the blueprint for a lot of the
Oh, no
hardcore,
doubt.
man. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Set it off, all that stuff.
Oh my God,
give you
of course.
flowers, Henderson. You know, for like the generation, like that generation. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
big
I
part.
feel like and this is like really rewinding, of just like, we're rewinding right now. I'm going to ask you to help me
It's
with the
fine.
edit, because sometimes I just think and I'm like,
no,
I
bro.
have
This
5 thoughts at once,
Yeah,
and I
don't
try to
worry
like,
about it.
it's all
I try
good,
to
dude.
wrangle it in.
Yeah.
We're just
But
flowing.
at that time, if you were like into the history of hardcore, there was like almost like not a line in the sand, but there was like a group of people that were like, okay, I like Breakdown, but I only like the Breakdown demo, and the 87 demo. And I like Agnostic Front, but I only like Victim in Pain.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, we love Breakdown, but we love Breakdown Blacklisted.
Right.
And we love the demo too.
Right.
And that was like, at the time, kind of unpopular, where it was like, oh, you like Breakdown, and anything past the demo is crap. Like, we would argue with people who lived in like the middle of nowhere, like, yo, Plus Minus is fucking sick. Are you out of your mind? So, and another one was Agnostic Front, One Voice.
I knew it.
Where we
knew it.
We all, and I think there was the guy Zach from In Control did a podcast episode about One Voice and how like influential it is. But it was a very misunderstood record. I
Who
feel
did
like
that?
Zach from In Control.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I feel like his generation really set it off with the love of One Voice.
Yeah.
It, just like Master Killer Marauder. I swear, this generation.
I agree. Yeah, because I can tell you firsthand, when One Voice was released, it was not well received.
No.
Yeah.
It really was not.
I feel like, well, One Voice, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys are the old heads here. One Voice is the reason that Madball exists. Is that fair to say? Like, can I revise?
Sure.
To me, when I look back as a kid who's trying to understand the history, I look at One Voice like paved the way to write a record like Set It Off. Like that's
So
how
yeah,
it feels
yeah,
to me.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's-
You look at the
You're-
lineup and it's like basically the Madball lineup with Roger.
It was the beginning, sort of the musical style towards Madball,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yes, you are
But-
correct.
And also that Live in 91 video was a big inspiration to a lot of kids too.
Oh my God, you kidding me?
The
Yeah,
VHS,
Unbelievable.
right. Agreed. Yep.
Which just came out on vinyl recently too.
Yep.
Yeah, saw that.
And I mean, from a guy like me and you, from who
I was at that show.
the
It was a sick show.
'80s, it felt a little kind of like old hat by that point. You know what I mean?
What
It's-
did?
Well, that video, right? I mean,
Mm.
it wasn't new and fresh to me, but it was great. I loved it.
Sick show though, man.
What
was
did
a
that
great
feel
show.
like for you guys? Because I think about hardcore right now, and there's some bands that have been able to like I guess transcend would be the term, maybe at a level that hasn't happened before. But I feel like when
You mean in terms of like scale of audience and
yeah,
popularity,
yeah.
exposure?
yeah,
Yeah.
to where hardcore exists right now.
Mm-hmm.
Think about like I think about H2O being in, because what were you? Was Role Model in Girl Next Door?
Might have been, yeah.
Like what? Like I wonder how that was received, and then like when Sick of It All is starting to Just Look Around and Beyond, they're like one of the bands that's really starting to transcend. And then even you look
Yes.
at like in terms of size, CBGBs compared to the Ritz. Like what did that transition feel like? Like I wonder.
Point.
That's something I'm always curious about at that time. Like how you're playing with the barricade. You're playing a New York hardcore show in the city with a barricade. Like what is that like? And at the same time, there's that video of Cro-Mags in that movie The Beat,
Yeah.
where they play It's the Limit,
Yeah.
and there's no barricade. But that
Right.
show had a barricade, and I wonder like what is that? Did
Yes.
people have the guard up, or were people open to like this becoming bigger, or like
It's a great point because that was the Ritz. Always had the barricade.
Did they see that?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the first show I played with Agnostic Front in New York.
Me and Isaac.
Can I
all
tell
of
you
us
something?
would roll
You look
there.
fucking legendary, dude. Camo
Thank you,
pants,
man.
whatever the shirt you're wearing.
The
it's
whole
fucking sick.
all of you guys marching
I
back
mean,
and
it was-
forth.
Oh,
just-
unbelievable.
There was no thought behind it. I was just doing what.
So cool.
I
It was
did.
like
Effortlessly
synchronized.
sick. Yeah.
But it's interesting. You mentioned the barricade. I don't remember that being a conversation at the time. And
No.
to me, it was just another. Because growing up in Minnesota and being a fan of the New York hardcore scene, I knew about the Super Bowls of hardcore.
Yeah.
And those were all at the Ritz, right?
Mhm.
Right.
So
We would get.
you're saying they had the barricades then? Totally?
So Lou Sick of It All's girlfriend worked there. I
Okay.
forgot her name, and she used to get me, Isaac, all of us get into every single show, hip hop, metal, hardcore, always into that venue. It was always a barricade there. Nobody
Yeah.
really cared about it back then or said anything about it because there was no internet as well. Maybe they would if there was internet.
Right.
Nobody complained about it.
Yeah.
But it was just because the shows were getting, it was like 1,000 people at the Ritz or something. It wasn't like CB's, so it was a bigger crowd. But that video, there's a couple of things in that video. One is like we just met Isaac, and he worked at Relativity. It's called the Hebrew Hammer, and he's riding the crowd during AF in that video. If you look close,
Really?
because we talk,
I hadn't met him yet.
I talked
so
to
I didn't know
Vitalo
that.
about like who's in the video and all the different things. And if you look at Gorilla Biscuits, Priscilla's got long hair.
Yep.
Siv's got his hair grown out.
Yep.
He's rocking Creepers.
Yep.
Which is the first sign of the Civ look, right?
I remember that.
It's a weird lineup in that, right? Because I don't know if even Walter's in that.
That was the beginning of where you started to see people deviate from like the more traditional hardcore thing.
They played a song called Distance. GB did, which wasn't any of the records. I think maybe 7.
I would just say it was no surprise that like Quicksand is now a band.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Right?
Walter was on the verge of Quicksand.
Right.
Yeah, you could see that. And then Roger has long hair. I think just got out of jail, maybe.
Pretty much. Yep.
It's cool when you can look at a video, like from a younger person who's completely infatuated with the music but wasn't there, and you can look and you can almost look for like the trend of like, is that dude gonna get off stage and go right slip? You know, or like,
well, and Biohazard hanging out on the side of the
that's
stage
sick
with
too.
us.
I just had Evan on the podcast 2 days ago,
Yep.
and the first time I kind of met him was when Stigma
You and him
asked me to come on stage and hold the American flag, and I came on
always
stage
forget
during
that
that
was
video, and it's me, and the other side is this long-haired dude, his shirt tucked in his jeans. That's Evan. It's fucking crazy, dude.
well, we got to talk for a second about the Killing Time video at CB's, because that's one where,
God.
Also, well, 2 questions. One, can I go to the bathroom before we talk about this?
Oh yeah, for sure. I got to piss too.
Yeah, what I want to do
was at the
is,
last show they pulled when Dominican Bill pulled out a gun and they hid behind Anthony.
That wasn't that show?
I was at that show.
That's a chapter.
That wasn't the video show?
Oh no.
That's a chapter in itself, that video, because I feel like you talk about the trends. You know what? Let's take a bathroom break.
Yeah, this is great. Now we're back in the pod. These guys taking pee breaks. But we're talking about rest in peace Carl Mosher from Iceman, and also Dynamo has been getting named on here a lot, and people love Iceman.
Yeah.
Underrated.
They do.
You were just saying, but yeah.
I mean, we started because we're looking at this flyer right now. I think you should shout it out because everybody should know about it.
Yeah, it was Burn, Rest in Pieces, Sick of It All, Boogie Down Productions with KRS-One, Heather B, and Kenny Parker. It was like one of the last hardcore shows ever at the Marquee, which was put on by Rory Crevlon, who's married to Tim Bold, who put on all the Amnesty International shows. She's still around. OG Vegan, good friends with Chaka Malik. Shout out to Rory Crevlon. She put on such amazing shows in New York. Remember the Amnesty International shows all the time?
Yeah.
That was a sick bill, like way before a lot with hip-hop and hardcore, I think, you know? Because KRS-One was on the Sick of It All record.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Is that before the record or after the record?
That was
after the record, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know the story of how that happened?
That's a great
Like, was there a connection there?
They just crossed paths
in the studios. Yes, correct. Yeah.
Cool.
And Armand, those cats, they all loved hip-hop, too. They loved BDP and all that stuff, and that was like Listen, we're going back to the Killing Time show now. I was at the last Killing Time show. I already said the person's name. Maybe I shouldn't say on the podcast. Rest in peace. He passed anyway.
I know. I know the story. I was not there.
I was there when the gun got pulled out, and I was hiding behind Anthony Cominelli in the front of the venue. I think it was 88 or 89. I don't know what it was.
Well,
when the shows got banned after that.
That's what I'm saying. So that video that we're talking about, I want to say is 90.
It's 90. And can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I just went online to try to watch it today.
Yeah.
And I couldn't fucking find it.
Weird.
Well, that's a bummer.
It's not a bummer. It's a fucking tragedy. It's gonna be like
he's probably watched it 100 times.
So have I.
Dude, it's unbelievable.
I stumbled onto it like semi recently.
Oh yeah.
Wait, is Anthony wearing the long sleeve Sick of It All shirt?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I was there. I'm there.
I have that
no,
shirt.
you're definitely there. I see you there.
Yeah, you're going crazy. It's literally
Lou's there. Lou's up on stage.
Yeah, he's on like
yeah.
He's moshing on stage, singing along, going crazy.
Yep.
Lou and Pete. It's and what I think is so interesting about that, we talked about like looking at a video and predicting where things are gonna go.
Yeah.
Felt a little tense, a little violent, because later, what they talk about is like that era, that CB's era kind of died because hardcore was violent.
Facts.
There's that video of Burn playing CB's that looks, I mean, I think it looks fucking awesome, but it looks very violent as well. You talk to anyone in like your generation, there was like years when hardcore was like violent and maybe less interesting, and a lot of people were turned off.
100%. They were scared to go to shows.
But you look at that video of Killing Time playing, and it's like Chaka's diving, and Kevin from Bulldoze is diving. And you see like Isaac going crazy, and then you see like, what's that guy, Gus Straight Edge?
Yep.
And it's like such a cool, united, like
it's
moment.
It is.
But it also looks like a turning point. Like I look at that, you know, because
He's a historian.
I'd love to sit here and say that I'm a fucking nerd, but I lived it. You know, I played in a New York hardcore band for 10 years, but I'm also like infatuated with the history of everything, even the fucking Urban Waste 7-inch, you know. But I watched that video, and there's just so much you could take away from the time and then the future.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Yeah, and Chaka brought Isaac to his first show. So you can thank or blame Chaka because he always jokes about it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he did, yeah. And also watching the Live in NYC video, I'm just a roadie. Biohazard, Billy has a demo out, maybe, at that point. They're on
the first record was out.
Because they're on stage watching. They're not studying, but Bobby, Billy, Evan, they're watching Sickle. They're watching after. They're fans.
Yeah, they were very happy to be there, and it was great that they were there.
Isaac's in the crowd. I'm not sure if Freddie was at that show.
Freddie was not there. No.
And there's more bands that opened that show, correct? I found out that later. There wasn't just those bands. It was a couple openers.
Like,
I don't know. It was a big bill. It wasn't just the ones on the video.
Oh, yeah. And Rest in Pieces played.
Rest in Pieces, that's right.
And talk about barricades. I remember, I think Hoya was telling me, because Rest in Pieces were like the hometown heroes.
Love Rest in Pieces.
And they had a real short set, and people were trying to like break the barricade because they were pissed. They wanted them to play longer. I know that went down.
Yeah.
So
Sheer Terror. Was Sheer Terror on that bill?
Maybe.
I think they were.
Going back to the Killing Time video for a second, and I've tried to set this up in like several different ways. I would love to see a scenario where there's like remember that show Mystery Science Theater 3000? Yeah. Where they watch a movie and a bunch of aliens talk about the scenes? I would love to be like, that guy right there that just did a stage dive and then did a tag on the stage and then dove again. Like, what's that dude's deal? What's that dude with the bucket? Like, I know who Chaka is. I've heard all of his music. I know who Jorge from Marauder is, but like, what about the guy with the white long sleeve who's out-moshing everybody, who looks fucking sick? There's this one guy who's on stage, he's wearing a Burn shirt.
It's probably Stack or Fern. There was a
like
whole
I would
crew.
love to just like sit and just be a fucking Punisher and just listen, be like,
I'm thinking of Sick of It Al. He hadn't been there.
But also Burn had a crew of ill dancers, like they danced like Gingy from Absolution.
Oh, okay.
They were the first people I ever saw, and I'm gonna have Chaka on the pod to confirm this. Like not windmilling, but the spiritual kind of dance where you're kicking. Gingy from Absolution set that shit off, and it wasn't a violent way. It was a spiritual way. Then Saab took it to like a more aggressive, violent level later on. But the spinning of the arms and the legs, the kickboxing shit, not the windmill shit. That's the kind of crowd that the Burn had. It was like Fern and all these other dudes, Spanish Mike. They were like dancing like that. You know, they weren't really killing people, but they were swinging. I don't know. It was a whole crew that rolled with Burn. It was like his own like dance crew. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, we could do a whole episode about that video, and I think we're gonna need to start a whole movement to get that video back on YouTube because I'm pretty sure it's gone or it's down right now.
Fuck, it is, man. That's weird.
I could be wrong. I'm not the best with computers, but I was looking earlier. I couldn't find it.
There's another video that I gotta bring it up. It's already online. Though. You fucking sent it to me.
Bring it up.
You probably saw it, like the almost riot at the Palladium.
Oh,
which Palladium?
New York, man. It just popped up recently. Nothing goes down except the people. It's AF playing and Roger stops the show. I mean, maybe I should edit this. It's fucking kids are gonna look it up anyway.
But
on stage is me, Fat Kevin, Rick RTL, Freddie, Isaac, Conan, Tommy Coates.
Yep.
Like a whole crew on stage, and it's just like it's getting really, really, really tense. You know what I mean? And like.
What year is this?
92.
And I think the show ends. The show ends normally. Maybe it wasn't.
No, it did not.
Okay. Well, it ends. Then Roger's talking crap, and then the kids are trying to rip down the barricade and fight the bouncers.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere,
it was pretty much a full scale.
Did you see what happens at the end with E?
I know. I remember.
Well, at the very end, you just see Isaac coming to the frame, and he picks up a monitor and just hits on the dude's head, and the shit just sets off. And I remember just like. All of us running down 14th Street or so. I don't remember. It was
just paid $1,000 for a new guitar. First time I had it plugged in on stage, and that's all I could think about. These motherfuckers are going to burn this place down. I got to get this guitar out.
Did Murphy's Law play that show?
All the money I had. Yes, I think.
Okay, I think I heard a story about that.
Yep.
That was a crazy.
And I think I heard a story from a booking agent that I know. Yes. Okay.
And we lost our banner, the original AF banner. Couldn't get it back.
So the booking agent that I met recently, really nice guy, I'll keep his name out of it, but he booked Murphy's Law. And one thing he told me he would tell Jimmy is like, always get paid before you get on.
Right.
So I think what happened at that show, from my understanding, was that Murphy's Law was like, we need to get paid before the show. They were paid. That riot happened. AF wasn't paid.
Yeah.
That's none of my business, but that's just
No,
what
that
I
sounds
heard the
about right.
story,
That sounds
you know?
right.
That sounds about right. It
But
was
that-
a shit show.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really a ride when you watched the video. Like, it almost really popped, right? A little bit.
It definitely did. Believe me, that our
Maybe
set,
the video got cut and then it popped.
yeah, it did. Our set ended. We couldn't play the whole set. Yeah, it was chaos.
Just during the whole set, like, dude, straight up goons are just walking back on the stage during the set.
And you
Grabbing
know, but
the mic, like, it's
it,
just
I am
crazy.
going to blame the bouncers. They, you
Okay.
know, I mean, there's always different ways to deal with situations.
Right.
You know,
It's a weird club for a hardcore
looking
show.
to diffuse versus escalate.
Definitely. It's a tough job.
But you know, they were kind of the stereotypical musclehead dicks.
And weird place for a hardcore show. Palladium's strange.
And you know,
Mhm.
we had a lot of people that just didn't respond well to that. And
Yep.
Yeah.
it is what it is, man.
It is what it is.
And Kevin was a
Sure.
scary cat. Rest in peace, Kevin. Crazy dancer. Bro.
Yeah.
We
Kev
talked earlier.
from Bulldoze?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Original beatdown band.
He was
Love them.
the first time I met him was at the Ritz show.
Really?
Yeah, he was hanging out near the stage when we were, you know, getting our shit set up and doing a line check. And I just see this big, you
Bro.
know, tattooed, shaved head dude. I'm like, I'm making friends with this dude right now.
Have you guys ever heard the Terror Zone 7-inch?
Amazing. I love it.
I don't know,
Unbelievable.
but I
So
know- Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure the story is that he wrote that record when he was in prison. And a lot of the lyrics are much more on a personal level than like, I want to beat your ass the way Bulldoze kind of was. And those lyrics pair with his voice, pair with the music. Unbelievable. Such a huge influence on early Backtrack stuff.
Wow.
Is that the one with the intro? The bang, 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 right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
Unreal.
That kind of flew under the radar. I feel
Big time,
Yeah,
for
good
sure.
guy. Yeah, I
That,
never
I mean, you
heard it.
can't even, if you want to listen to that, you got to go to YouTube, which that's a whole cool genre in itself, like YouTube core, where the record's only on YouTube.
Right.
Damn.
Sick.
Yep.
Shout out to Pat, who's in Fit for an Autopsy.
Yeah.
One of Max's favorite
Yeah,
bands. Yeah.
yeah,
Right,
they're
that's
killing
cool.
Max is into the heavy shit, huh?
Super heavy. He's got a new band that's like super hard, like beatdown. He loves them.
And they're great.
They just recorded with Paul
Yeah.
Minor last week. It's like super like.
It was cool seeing him at Sound and Fury. It's got to be such a cool moment. I feel like a lot of people I know that have kids, they're like, I don't want my kids near hardcore at all. And like, I get that. You know, I think hardcore can either be misused where people can focus on the negative, but if
Yes.
you like learn, if you like use hardcore as the ultimate ally, it could change your life the way it's changed a lot of our lives. But it's got to
100%.
be cool to have your kid experience, like seeing them get it. You know, it's also
Yeah.
got to be weird too, knowing your musical taste and seeing him love the beatdown shit. You know?
I love Weapon X because of him.
Fuck yeah.
Obviously, he turned me on to Painted Truth. You
Sick.
know,
That's awesome.
Yeah, I like what else? And Tsunami's one of his favorite bands. We went and saw them at the Warped Tour. We waited
Cool.
all day to see them. He loves the hard shit.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with the hard shit. I'm more a melodic guy. You know what I'm saying? But he had to find something that me and his mom are not 100% into. But like I like Slipknot now. I like harder shit. Open my mind to it. But you love his band. You like the harder shit.
Yeah. I mean, the thing I like about them is they're just doing something that, you know, is kind of off the cuff. And, you know, they're not, I don't think they're in any way trying to be anything than
They're
just
not.
the four dudes that came together to make those songs.
Who are we
Yeah,
talking about
and
right
it's
now?
Max's new band, Torn State.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
They just recorded a
Yeah.
demo.
Yeah.
Played 2 shows so far.
Nice.
Singer's sick.
The
He's like
singer's great,
old
man.
skateboarder
Luke,
kid.
shout out to Luke. He's a
What's
lot of
the
fun.
deal? Are they all over around here?
they're all in LA band.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the singer's like an ill skateboarder, and the kid plays
And,
bass. Max
and,
went to high school with.
Traps Under Ice on guitar.
Yeah, he's jacked full on.
Sick. How old are they all?
20, 22.
Okay, cool.
And it's just, and this music's just like, it's hard. It's like a lot of Freddie vibes on the recording. I find, you know.
It's tough, but I wouldn't call it beatdown necessarily because
Nah,
it's
I'll get you some songs.
Cool.
it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Okay, we're talking to Killing Time. We'll go back to Backtrack. Obviously, Anthony Killing Time knows there was a band named after the song, right? You met Anthony later on in life or whatever.
I never met him.
What?
Well, because Anthony didn't. I mean, my memory of him was he wasn't around hanging out.
He's
a
working on
lot.
Wall Street. Worked on Wall Street
Yeah,
for many years.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he got Mark from Super Touch. Mark from Floor Punch worked with him there
Sick.
on Wall Street.
Yep. I heard that.
You never met Anthony? Wow.
Nope.
He's fucking top tier, man.
Yes, he is. I
I
never met him, and I can say that.
Yeah. So we'll go off Killing Time now. Let's go back to Backtrack. Let's back at the Backtrack's career.
Let's go
2008.
Backtrack. Let's go.
Cool.
And you dropped the demo in 2008.
Yes, we did. Yep.
And had you guys played some shows leading up to the demo and started getting a following, or that happened later?
We
Locally?
put the demo out and then played a show after. So it was
Okay.
demo first, then we started playing shows.
Yeah.
How'd you
Yeah.
feel about the demo when you guys did it? Were you?
I was stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, let's go. Mission statement assigned. You know, we were like, we want to be a band from Long Island, but we always claimed New York hardcore because to me, I wanted
Love
to be
that.
like, this is all of us. You know,
100%.
anyone who wants to join us can join us.
I mean, that to me,
And
it's
we were ready to
100% valid. You're in Long Island. You're New York hardcore, as we've already talked about.
Yeah.
But why?
Long
And like
lineage
there
of
was
history.
no like young New York city scene that would
Right.
call us and be like,
Right.
you can't claim New York. Like if Freddie calls me and says you can't claim New York, I'll say, all right, Doc, you
which
got it.
he
Yeah.
would have never done,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But you know, I was stoked on the demo. Like
Immediate positive response.
it wasn't some like we're born on third base type of shit. You know, we had to work for it.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
you know, we played our first show. It was supposed to be with. We're supposed to open the show. It was supposed to be with Trapped Under Ice and Trash Talk, and both bands dropped. So it was pretty much just a local show, and we
Damn.
just played, and it was all our friends going crazy. And then next time we played, more of our friends came and went crazy, and it was, you know, always a slow build,
Yeah.
but we always rolled fucking deep. And I think that was part of like
You had some built-in
si-
moshers with you too.
Yeah, similar to what I said
Sick.
about the Mind Piece thing. It was like we finally have something, so we're all gonna rally behind it. So it was kind of
I
bigger.
love
It was
that.
bigger
I
than
love that.
it was
That's-
bigger than us. It was more like we're doing this together,
Yep.
you know.
Yep.
And like every time first time we did a tour, we had this shitty van full of Long Island moshers just going crazy.
I love that,
So-
man. Bring your like own fucking your crew and they dance, all that shit.
And I mean, 2008 we're talking, right?
Yeah, 2008.
So my first son would have been, actually I had two young boys at that point in time. My life was a very different thing at that point. So
Yeah.
I wasn't early in the game with you guys, but by the time I heard the name, it was like you guys were already like, you know, it was understood. You
Doing their
guys
thing.
were like a generation later than us,
Yeah.
and
Right.
you guys were, you know, top of the heap.
Yeah, I wouldn't say top of the heap, but I love, do you have that subconsciously because of the Killing Time lyrics? I thought I was on top of the heap.
Damn.
No. Well,
Crush
maybe.
it down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
what
keep-
you spent in
yeah,
that
yeah,
verse.
yeah.
Hard.
Great
But
lines.
yeah, fuck yeah.
So many good lines like that in all those songs. I love it.
Record's amazing. Let's get back to Killing Time. Fuck Backtrack.
Okay. Okay.
No, okay.
But you know
I have,
what I
a good
mean?
killing
Like,
I have two
yeah.
good Killing Time stories, but
Let's go.
well, two things: the Raw Deal demo or Brightside.
For me, it's
Me
Brightside.
too.
No question.
For me, it's Brightside
I was
as well. And I think similar to earlier, we're talking about the kids that are like, I like the breakdown demo, but everything else sucks. Like I think saying you like the Raw Deal demo is trying to be like a step above, you know, trying to be
Too
like,
cool.
Yeah.
Y-
It's
you know,
it's a posture.
you know, when people tell me that they like the Outburst demo more than the 7-inch, I'm like, give me a fucking break. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, I remember like coming to New York and everyone would say that the Cro-Mags demo was better
Yeah.
than Age of Quarrel.
Yeah, people
and,
said that.
and you know, in the Midwest, eventually like the demo made its way around,
Yeah.
but we'd already been rocking to Age
Age
of Quarrel for a
yeah.
long time, and it's like,
Yeah.
nah.
My wires are a little crossed because I bought this. There was a CD before the Quarrel, which I
Right.
think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the demos. So
Yeah.
I had that for like years before I even knew that We Gotta Know existed. Like we're
Damn.
thinking
Really?
we're thinking pre
Wow.
iPod, pre, you know, dial up internet era. But there's a couple of records for me that like I got the Underdog demos on CD before I heard the Vanishing Point.
Wow.
So there was like
So
years.
that's a situation where I'm on board with the demo over Vanishing Point, which I loved too.
I love Vanishing Point, but the production's it's different. I love
Yeah.
Vanishing Point. That was top
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah. No, I was.
And I put Underdog and Killing Time all almost in the same thing. Where I feel like they're legendary, they're incredible, they're underrated. They didn't tour as much as the other
Yep,
bands,
I agree.
and they're both
Similarities there.
put out incredible records and incredible live bands, dude. You know.
Yep.
It's nice to see the younger kids fucking with Killing Time so hard now when they play. They have
Oh,
great
yeah.
shows when they play. You know what I mean?
Killing Time came back in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
And I fucking couldn't believe it. It was like I remember they played 2 shows at the North 6 in Brooklyn. Like I think this is 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember if this was before we were recording or if we recorded just like early CB's era.
Yeah.
But I got directions to get there from the Bridge 9 board. This is like before I had a cell
Wow,
phone.
the Bridge
And,
9
and I hit the
board.
Bridge 9 board. I'm like, yo, how do you get to North 6? And they're like, you take the Long Island Railroad to East New York and then you walk whatever. You know, you walk.
Fuck.
And I got off the train at East New York, and I turned down an alley, and I see someone get killed execution style. Like, it was fucking crazy.
What?
Really crazy. Yeah.
Good time.
And
shit.
but then I saw Killing Time, and then they did the second night, and I came back and I did it again, and then I saw them at CB's. It was like the last matinee, they were saying. The flyer was my MySpace photo for like years. That's how important that show was to me. But it was Killing Time, Underdog, Bulldoze, Billy Club Sandwich, and Richie B came out. I had seen Killing Time before, and I saw him again, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
But I hadn't seen Underdog yet. It was their first show back. And Richie B comes out. And take in mind, this is also like, I have no idea what these people look like. You got to think about, it's a really interesting thing to analyze. When I started going to shows, like the early 2000s era, the like New York hardcore worship was at an all-time high. And I think part of it was there was no accessibility. Where like I had a Leeway burned CD and I had no idea what Eddie, rest in peace, looked like at all.
That's crazy.
And I think it like
Right,
added to like the longing and the mystique. And now the
Mystery.
internet, I think it's harder for younger kids to really have that same relationship that I had because it's just everything's there. You just Google and you're like, oh,
You
okay,
take it for
this
granted.
Is
Yeah.
everything that John Joseph has said in the last 2 years.
I
you know?
talked to my
But
13-year-old son about that
true.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's, not shitting on him and his experiences and, what he gets to enjoy, but it's different, man.
Different.
Like we didn't have that exposure that you're talking about now.
Yeah.
And then for
So-
us, it's like, sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
good.
Like Chromags and stuff. We saw the pictures on the record, right? And we were like, this is scary shit.
Yeah.
Then we go
Yeah.
see him for the first time. We're shook. And
Yeah.
it's this whole aura about there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's different now. Obviously, we're older. We know them now. But back then, it's just like that excitement, that mystery. You don't really know what they're about.
Yeah.
You're not really hearing them talking in interviews. Nothing back then.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So I'm at that show, and other than the Underdog CD where Richie has that like Rasta shirt on, I don't know what the fuck this guy looks like, and he comes on stage and he's wearing camo pants and a sleeveless Mets shirt, and I'm a massive New York Mets fan,
Wow.
and I
Hard.
just
There you go.
fucking lost it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is, I don't know what I said, but it was fucking unbelievable.
Damn. That's a great show. Killing Time and Underdog
Unbelievable.
together.
Yeah, I'll just say I saw Killing Time. I mentioned this before at that benefit for Lou last year at Irving Plaza.
Oh, cool.
And
Yeah, I saw him up in. Sorry, you go first.
It
Yeah.
almost literally sounded like the album. I
Dude,
mean,
Unreal.
It was so tight,
they
dude.
brought it. It was
Yep.
great.
I'm excited to play with them.
I
Me
saw
too.
them in Oxnard last year.
Oxnard.
Yeah, at this VFW hall.
Shout out
and
to
the show.
Nardcore.
Yeah,
Wow.
Nardcore was bringing it big time. I was there. And I was
Stalag
like, this is
13. They opened up for Underdog when
Yep.
we just saw them
a
in
couple
LA.
weeks ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Here we repute.
But that show was unreal. And I was like, this venue's fucking sick. So we did a turnstile show there like a couple months later.
Oh, that's amazing.
But it was Killing Time Tsunami.
Oh, that's a great
It was
package.
really cool.
Holy shit.
Yep.
I can go out on record and say it again. I'll say it for him because you probably like the story. But when Anthony pulled up to the GB house in 1988 in Jackson Heights, Queens, and said, "Come in the car, kid," and he played me Brightside in the car.
Wow.
I don't know if it was the complete album, but maybe the demo. I don't know what it was, but I was like, holy shit. He was in a sick ass, like Italian I-Rock, whatever the fucking Z-Rock, whatever the car is, Italian style. So
Yeah,
brand new
love
whip, though. He always had sick whips. He played it for him. I was like, holy shit, this is like the hardest shit I ever heard. Because
Wow.
it was back. That was probably
And
the
it
hardest
was-
shit.
well, the production on that
Yeah.
record
Fucking
really
great,
stood out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is that Tom Soares? Is that his name? Yeah.
Normandy.
Dude.
Yep.
Cool.
It'd be so sick to hear Vanishing Point like remixed or something.
Right. Yeah.
I think
'cause
that
live
record
it's-
and Judge Bringing It Down are two of my favorite like product. And I'm not like, I say this on like work related calls all the time. But I'll say like my favorite band wrote 2 demos. I'm talking about Breakdown, of like the sonic stuff. And I'm not like producer guy and I work in music, which is kind of funny. But from a production standpoint, Brightside, Bringing It Down, and then Born to Expire feel like the ones that are just like insane production at a time when like that wasn't very common.
The other one on that list is Best Wishes.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, just mammoth drums and guitars. It just,
Yep.
sounded so pro.
Yeah.
But you're Age of Coral over Best Wishes, correct?
I am Age of Coral over
Same,
Best
you
Wishes
too?
for sure.
Yeah.
Although I gotta
My
take
wife
a minute.
loves that record.
Petey Hines on Best
Sick
Wishes,
drummer.
just amazing.
Yeah.
It's a great record, but there's no question.
How about Born to Expire over Desperate Measures?
Oh,
How many times have I had this conversation with Scott Vogel?
That's why I brought it up because I saw it pop up. He did it with Mike too.
is that what it
Yeah.
is?
He did it with
Okay.
Mike from My Painted Truth. Which one are you?
So I'm gonna give you a non-answer right now.
Okay.
So this is like pre me having a MySpace or an iPod I had Born to Expire on a burned CD for like years. So there's like 3 years where I have Born to Expire, and I don't even know that Desperate Measures exists, right? Then I get an iPod, and I'm leaving my friend's apartment in Queens, and I'm taking the train from Queens to Manhattan, and I listen to Desperate Measures for the first time. And it just felt so fresh. And I just, when I hear that record, I picture myself going to the city as a young kid.
It's cool.
So that's my answer. But I hate throwing any shame at Born to Expire because it's such an important record.
Yeah. They're both great, man.
They really are.
So much.
Yeah.
Dude. Kingpin's on the second, that one, right?
Yep.
It's so good.
Yep.
Okay, let's go back to Backtrack. We're going back and forth. The demo's out, obviously, and you guys, do you do a tour with the demo, or you just kind of wait till the next year when the 7-inch comes out?
We did a lot of different things, like weekend tours, and played Wilkes-Barre a lot. That was us. Oh, you know what? Yeah.
Are you working a job then too?
Yeah, delivering pizza and then working underground poker room. The whole Backtrack 7-inch, like the underlying theme of that is working underground poker rooms. Like it's not so like so literally, amazing. But like every record from like the stuff that I was writing was always me telling the story of my life, and the 7-inch was like a lot of it was related to living in that world.
Yeah.
And so I was delivering pizza, touring with Backtrack, dealing in an underground poker room.
And straight edge.
Fuck yeah.
It's amazing.
Was the whole band straight edge? Did the whole band? No. What am I saying? I remember.
Just you?
We had bass was always a revolving door. So we had Jay Cox playing for a bit. He was straight edge. Reggie played bass. He was straight edge. Tom Dom played for a little bit. He was straight edge. We had our friend Austin Crane play. He was straight edge. So we'd have like members, but the core band was me, Ricky, John, and Chris, and I was the only edgeman.
I love that.
It was cool dynamic. Like I think about it a lot. Like if we were a straight edge band, if we had everything my way, we probably would have put out like a really cool 7-inch that was forgotten and then not done what we did. You know, I think that me and Ricky have such a different perspective, but still being under the same umbrella of like New York hardcore love that I think it really worked out and made it what it was.
Shout out to Ricky.
Yeah, big time.
I met him for the first time.
Yeah, because Flashspot put out that Eulogy record, right?
Yes, but correct. Yep. But I had met him once just before, but really started to like talk and hang out with him when I was recording that record with Scott and Nick at SOS.
Oh yeah, good record.
Yeah, thank you, man. We were in Queens, and Scott, brought him out. We went out drinking one night after a session, and we were talking for a while.
Yep, it was cool because we had so many different dynamics where like Ricky would go out and drink with people, and then like Ricky and Chris, and they'd have that kind of relationship, and then me and John would go gamble or play sports with people. I think that was part of like, we really, when we put the demo out and we just went out and played, and we just loved meeting people and connecting with them through different ways, like through like going out and partying, which like we would all do too, or like playing sports. But like if Backtrack was in town, we were hitting the bar with people that we were just meeting and excited to meet, or we were playing sports and gambling with them. And it's just like, being honest with you, you listen to the music and it doesn't totally hold up. And that's not me like fishing, but it was like a very time and place thing where it felt like we had like a mini movement of really trying to put Long Island on the map and really trying to just like celebrate music with people we loved and doing it in as many places as possible. And we have so many like amazing friends and relationships from the band that, are still very relevant today. Same thing for you guys too. Yeah. But like, it's funny you bring up just like meeting Ricky and going to a bar, because that's like, not something I would do with people very regularly, but like but I'd have my own version of that. Right. And like we'd all be, it was just really cool to be able to meet so many people through playing music.
Yep.
That's the best thing about being in the band, is the relationships and the friendships and all that stuff,
I mean, absolutely.
World and
fuck, man. I'm 55 years old. I started going to shows in 1984.
Same.
And here the fuck I am right now.
Yeah.
However many years later, and
still wearing band tees.
Yeah.
Still wearing band tees.
Yeah. Still wearing a band tee from the band after I went and saw them play and hung out with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm a lifer.
You're never going to grow out of being into
Bro, I
a
don't know.
hardcore
It's
kid,
who I
man.
am. You know, it was never a fad. It was never you know.
It's interesting to think about being into hardcore as you get older, because I feel like you need to constantly like renegotiate the terms, but keep the foundation there. Where like, you know, I'm not gonna fight someone about something I would have fought someone about when I'm 25 years old, or I'm not gonna care about the drama of who fucked who at the hardcore fests like I did when I was 25 years old. But then you get older, and you just keep it with you forever. You know, some of the things that you learn from like touring or like the way of looking at things, and you know, we talked about the 91. The VHS.
Loving NYC, yeah.
So much legendary stuff that I still carry with me, like the Dave Stein part of it, like rest in peace, like about hardcore, like seeing the issue and then proposing the solution, like that's like the mantra every day, you know, where a lot of people just think, oh, that's impossible, we can't do that. You know, actually we can, you know, like, so.
Yeah, shout out to Dave. He was like,
I wish that I got to meet him, because I work with a lot of music lawyers, and I've always heard the name, but we've never crossed paths. And I think like as I was getting more ingrained into the game where it would have made sense for us to talk, it's just like, you know, I think he was maybe, you know, just never lined up. But I should have made more of an effort to be like, I got to talk to this guy on the phone and just say what's up and just quote back what he said in 91. Dude, just to let him know how important it is to me.
He was like the first kind of OG vegan guy I met when I moved to New York. I lived with him in Flushing and Steinway Street. He took me in. Timmy Chunks hooked me up, so I lived with Dave Stein for a while.
Did you?
I had a huge Thrasher magazine collection. I left them there in milk crates, and he hit me up for months to get them. I never got them. He had to throw them away. I was really sad about that because I had every Thrasher since I was a kid.
Wow.
But there was like no texting and shit back then. I was couch surfing. But he took me in. He was a lawyer. It was so many of my friends. He's like everybody's lawyer. He took care of everybody, dude. So posy. He had Albany style. I think him and Steve Reddy came up together. Just
we talked with Steve
bro.
about that. I remember that.
He had the crazy antidote tattoo. That Harry Crickshit thing on him. I remember seeing that for the first time.
Yep.
So cool, man.
When he passed away, it was really cool hearing people talk about the stories of this guy helped me and gave me advice, and I didn't give him $1, and he just was like there for me.
Facts.
And like seeing that just, it was just inspiring.
Yeah, man. Do you guys work with him? I think Mapple worked with him later on, I think.
In like spurts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I knew him. Like, we knew each other, and, you know, it was always love. But I didn't really get a chance to spend a lot of time with him to really, like, build any type of bond, you know?
Yeah, amazing human, man.
But, I mean, anytime his name was mentioned in a room, it was always like you knew you were talking about somebody that, you know, meant a lot to a lot of people.
Yep.
Yeah, I always thought about, like, him, like, rolling, like, with, like, with other lawyers and see how that would, because he's like one of us, you know what I'm saying? If he had to run to conferences or do something with regular people, he was just so different, you know what I mean? He was just like a hardcore dude.
Yeah.
But he was still a sick lawyer.
And you know, you mentioned something earlier that I keep thinking about is like, you know, bringing our sons, because I brought my son. He's 13 now.
Yeah, I met him briefly at Sound and Fury.
Oh, that's right. You did. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What's he into?
Everything.
Cool.
But
you go first and then I'll ask.
But when I say everything, it's a wide genre and tastes of music, but the kid is really dialed into alternative to mainstream in all genres. You know what I mean? And he just organically flows and thinks in the same way we did growing up that brought us into hardcore.
Right.
Sick.
So when he comes to shows, you know, I'm trying to help him navigate. I'm not helping him navigating it. He does it on his own, but I feel good about the fact that I know he stands to do it in a safe and successful way as we did.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's true. Like, I can't count on two hands how many people I know in my past who are no longer with us that died, you know, either their life was taken from them, they took it, you know, consciously, or, you know, by doing something stupid. There's a lot of broken people in our culture.
Definitely.
And we're, sometimes I feel like I'm not that far off from some of those people, but somehow I've been able to focus on the positives and move forward. And, you know, like I'm sitting in a room right now with two I call success stories, right? Toby, I mean, when I first met you, you were bouncing off the walls, and, you know, you were not someone I would, it's not like I thought, oh, this guy isn't capable of doing anything great.
I was definitely the one that wasn't going to do anything, I'm telling you right now.
Well, you just, you know, it was like, I don't know where he's going to wind up, but it ain't going to be like, he ain't gonna land a 9 to 5. That's for sure.
Right.
And I mean, where are you now? Right. I mean,
I'm good.
You're real
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Definitely.
some of the most creative and successful people come out of this scene.
Yeah.
I stand by
Sure.
that. Intelligent.
Yeah.
Compassionate.
Definitely.
A lot of integrity. So
Yeah. And I
know.
think that's like to the point of you can use hardcore in a positive way or a negative way.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people that get stuck in the drama of who's bigger than who or who's fucking who or whatever.
More
But if you look at it at like, this has introduced me to so many different people. I see so many different types of people that you wouldn't you wouldn't see if you grow up living in a suburb playing lacrosse.
Exactly.
And then there's this awareness that you can take with you and use that for good, and also the ability to kind of like mobilize and make a change, and shout out Ray. I'm getting off the topic a little bit.
No, but we're going to get to it, obviously. But obviously what you're doing now and being a hardcore kid, but also dealing with, I hate the word suits, but dealing with a bunch of artists that are doing really well, but also being who you are and coming from where you come from, and being in a band who toured and grinded and did all that stuff behind the scenes. Now you're like on a different level of it, but representing hardcore bands, but also talking to like probably like big time people, right, in the industry.
Yeah, definitely.
Lawyers, managers, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But also to being a hardcore kid at the same time, like.
Yeah, I mean it's,
having kind of not an edge over people, but you kind of lived it, or lived it,
Yeah, yeah. I was just going to use an example, and I've raised this before too. I got the singer from Blind Approach, who was my childhood friend. He knew how to talk to people, and he always had a vision, and he knew how to, just look at guys. We're going to do this.
Yeah.
And he fucking, next thing I know, we're recording and getting it released on vinyl. And this was like 88. Right. I'm like, oh, shit.
And at that time, that's unheard of.
We're making a record? You're kidding me. This is wild. And he figured out how to get it pressed, and he figured out all the steps it took to, put the sleeve in there and all that shit that I didn't know what we were doing. And somehow all of a sudden he knew it. He got us booked at CB's by writing letters and getting people's phone numbers and calling them.
Yeah.
Fast forward, dude still like was on some, I think he was majoring in like Chinese, like it was something to do with Chinese culture, right? At the University of Minnesota. I'm like, yeah, but where are you going with that? Like, what's this guy going to do? Years later, he starts his own software company, and to this day, he would always tell me, I just always thought of, the Blind Approach days and how we navigated and how I wanted to go do this, and I just kept doing it, and I found my Matt Henderson for that software company.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Where I was playing guitar, playing the music.
Yeah.
This guy was writing the code, and he just knew how to take it I mean, it's Jamf is the name of the company, and
cool. Good for him.
He killed it.
Yeah.
And so I think of, again, there's examples in this room that match that type of, mindset to do good things and take it as far as you can. That's the goal.
Definitely. I think when you're coming up through hardcore and playing in bands, you meet so many interesting people that inspire you, that will stick with you. And also there's just a determination to get told no in every corner, and I don't want to bring up anyone's business too much, but you could probably connect the dots on my story a little bit. And there's a lot of people who were saying no to me for a long time that are now begging me to get on the phone to talk about stuff, and like,
and
I
can relate to that too.
I think that ability to get 10 no's for one yes or 50 no's for one yes is huge. And you learn that from, your version of booking tours is different than mine, but me going on MySpace and being like, hey, can we play your basement? Can we play your garage? And it's like, no. And then you finally get one, and then if you're lucky, you get 20 people and it's Little Caesars, that's always like the reference point. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I got to fly to this fest. It's like, motherfucker, I used to sit in a van every day for 10 hours with no TV, when you fly, you have a TV. That's like fucking luxury. So so I think my edge over a lot of people in my position in music is that I can channel that moment of being in the German squat with no heat.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I go, okay, this really isn't that bad.
Yeah.
And I think another thing too is like you deal with a lot of crazy situations. I think like there's been a couple, I started early on. I was a booking agent.
Yep.
I started like my own branded tour.
Yep.
It wound up financially getting crushed every time, but I wanted to create something. And I'll spare the specifics. Maybe we get back to it later. Maybe we don't. But there was
the
a
tour
lot.
Called again?
It's called the Life and Death Tour.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. Because you worked at
But-
State of Mind Booking, right? And also Good Fight Entertainment, correct?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
And I worked with Pike at Kenmore
Okay.
for a bit too. Yep.
Sorry, Good Fight. That was they helped put out that SOS.
Yeah, that was
Record.
Was Good Fight with
so-
Paul Conroy?
That's what the
so
name
Paul,
I'm remembering.
Paul
right?
Conroy is. I'm actually meeting with him next week.
The best.
He's a legend.
I'm meeting
So-
next week too.
What's
Probably
that?
a different day.
He's stacking us up.
We're doing like a lunch. He said two things: lunch or dinner. I picked lunch.
Is
Maybe we
it-
got dinner.
Is it Thursday?
Yeah.
I got breakfast with him.
Okay. Sick.
Hey, you want to jump in the ocean before?
We're at.
Because are you meeting him at his hotel, Marina Del Rey?
Maybe.
I guess we might need to edit that out. I don't know.
No, whatever. We're gonna get some lunch, but maybe I might be down for that. Okay.
All right.
He's such a G, Paul Conroy. Shout out to
Yeah.
Paul Conroy. Anyway, go ahead.
So
go.
he was like the guy that brought on Biggie. I know because Biggie is
Correct.
like my old head. Like he taught me everything.
Shout out to
And
Biggie.
then big time. And then Carl did the label, and they were kind of like Biggie was out here, Carl was on the East Coast. I never really worked with Carl too much, other than whenever I dealt with him, it was cool, but never on an intimate level like that.
Yeah.
But he, they were. I forget what I was saying. Oh, but
Because this
that-
is after
that-
Backtrack, he started getting into the booking agent stuff. Yeah.
same time.
Okay.
I was doing it when
Was it-
Backtrack was. There was a time when Backtrack was touring full time, and I was managing Turnstile, Knock Loose, Terror, Harm's Way, those four, and I was
Holy
touring
shit.
full time. But the reason why
Wow.
thing I was mentioning was just like the volatility, where like I did that Life and Death tour, and there were several times I got robbed with baseball bats, and I had to be like, "Damn, that sucked." But now I got to go to the ATM and pay everyone, and like those moments, similar to being in the German squat, when there's like a crazy thing happening. I channel into that, like, okay, I've had a bat in my face. I've never had I have had a gun in my face. Yeah, I have. I channel back to those moments, which I think, you're sitting in the boardroom and you're able to be like, not that I don't look at everything as a competition at all, but there's things I've learned through hardcore that I channel daily that I'm just so unbelievably appreciative and grateful for.
Yeah. You want to go back to the baseball bats?
Yeah,
Sure.
I don't want to put you on the spot and have to like disclose any details that might
Is
incriminate.
this wrong
in
place,
any
wrong
direction.
time?
No, I'm happy to talk about
I'm
it.
trying to understand because you said it in a way that made me think it had to do with like a band playing or a promoting
Or promoter.
promoting
So,
situation, or was
I'll take this state out of it.
okay.
And I'm not going to make any accusations because you never know what happened, but it was. And maybe I'll back it up and give a little context on Life and Death for a second. So
yeah. Who was
I
on
was-
that tour? Yeah. Curious.
I was in a car with Nick Jett, who produced a couple of Backtrack records.
Yep.
And he was
Shout out to Nick Jett,
big
Love
time,
that fucking guy.
big
Best,
time
dude.
fucking legend.
Legend.
6 member of Backtrack, for sure.
Awesome.
I visited you guys at the studio out here. You did a
Yeah.
and
Yep.
I brought it
Yeah.
I brought
it-
Tanner with me, and he
Really?
got on,
It was
Nick
in,
let him get on the drum kit for a minute in between
Canoga
tracks.
Park. Where was his? Fuck. I
Under-
live in the valley now. And I should know.
Underrated producer Nick Jett
Big
as
time.
well.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Back to the baseball bats.
Oh well, Life and Death started. Nick and I are in the car, and he gets a call from someone. He's like, "Yeah, I'm starting this tour tomorrow. It's some like it was the All Stars tour, and it was basically all these metalcore bands. And I'm not talking shit on metalcore, but it was like a bunch of metalcore bands and Terror, and it was like 10 touring bands everywhere in the country. And I'm thinking, and like right now, hardcore is in a place to where Monster's sponsoring tours and everybody wants to be involved, but like
Right.
at this time, I'm like, why the fuck can't we have that? Like it just so.
Yeah.
And the reason why we couldn't have that is because you probably need to do, and this is going to sound crazy, you probably need to do a $15 or $20 ticket to get a bunch of bands like that together. And like for metalcore bands that do Warped Tour, that's okay. For hardcore, that's you're a sinner for doing that.
Absolutely. Back then.
Truly, it was like that. But I was like, you know what? I believe in this. Fuck this. So the first year, Backtrack headline, it was Backtrack, Expire, Harm's Way, I believe Iron Mind, amazing Australian band, and then Freedom did half, amazing Detroit band, and then Will to Die, another really sick band from Tennessee. They split the opening slot. And then I had some regional guests where I had Incendiary and Suburban Scum and Turnstile. And these are at the time when like there's not a lot of, there's like This Is Hardcore and Sound and Fury.
Yeah.
So like to see a band like Incendiary outside of New York or Philly or California is like not happening, but people really love that band. Same thing with Suburban Scum, and even same thing with Turnstile too. Did the tour, wound up going really well. Did another one next year, and this lineup, and like putting lineups together is like my favorite thing to do. It was Terror headlining, Bane and Turnstile like co-headlining as like the slot before. Backtrack was on again. Misery. And then Heavy Chains was on too, and then there was a whole drama with that. Like, it literally was the most cursed thing to have to deal with. Another example of, like, dealing with that shit makes some of the shit I deal with a little easier. Yeah. I mean, the stakes are also higher as well. I'm kind of, like, ping-ponging around a little bit. But anyway, then Scott, and I just started managing Terror. Oh, no, I wasn't managing Terror yet. Sorry. I'm going to slow the pace down.
You've been with Scott for a while, though, yeah.
But Scott got hurt and had to cancel the tour because he had to, I think he got surgery on his neck.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So what wound up happening was, and the way that I structured it, it was almost similar to, like, I guess how you put out a record. I've never put a record out before, but I was like, hey, I'm going to give you this guarantee, and if we break even or make money, you will get the bonuses, and if it doesn't, you're not responsible for any of it.
Yeah.
And I did that because it was a fucking Hail Mary to get Terror and Bane and, you know, Turnstile, I was their booking agent, so it was a little easier to be like, yo, guys, I'm doing this thing. Do you trust me? And, like, they have always been so supportive.
Yeah.
But I had to be like, hey, money on the front end, and then I'll figure it out. Then Terror drops off, and it was a conversation with the promoter where I was like, yo, because a show in LA is going to be different than a show in Indiana in terms of, like, the economics.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's something where it was so unbelievably friendly on their side. I was like, we'll keep the split the same way, and if you lose money, I'm giving you my word, you will not come out of your pocket. But
this conversation with the bands,
with the promoter.
But
I'm like, I'm giving you my word. I just need this on paper to stay. But if anything changes and you lose money, I promise you, I will not make you come out of pocket. And
did you have enough of a reputation at that point where people when you said that, people would be like, okay, yeah,
I think so.
I believe him.
And you could probably ask 100 promoters that have worked with me that if I say that, I'm sticking through with it. And
I believe you. I'm just curious. At that point in time, you were known enough to.
I think so.
Okay.
And I had a relationship with them too. Okay. And so show happens. I'm settling up, and it's like cash everywhere.
Right. Yeah.
Damn.
And I had my backpack in the other corner with all the Backtrack money and my laptop that had information of, like, all my booking agent stuff, like nothing confidential, but, like, really important information to me. And at that time, like, I didn't even know if iCloud existed or not. So I was like, I was like, anyway. So and the promoter's like, I gotta go grab something, grab the rest of the money. I'll be right back. Then two guys come up with ski masks and baseball bats, and they start walking towards me. And I calculate. I'm like, okay, there's $5,000 here. New teeth are gonna cost me $20,000. I was like, I'm gonna let go. And this is like the kind of like the ADD of, like, the boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Or, like, playing poker where, like, you see a flop and you think, I'm going to check raise him here. And, just thinking quick.
Yep.
But they're walking towards me. And I'm like.
As soon as he walks out, they're coming in?
Kind of. Yeah. And
you got nobody with you? Like, no one's traveling with you? Like,
all the bands are in the parking lot waiting to get paid.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Oh, my God.
So I'm in there solo. And, like, to be honest with you, I kind of, like, the drummer of Malfunction who wound up playing in Backtrack, this kid Steve, was there. And I was like, I'm paying them different than what I'm paying Bane, so I didn't want him to see all the money sitting out there. So I was like, yo, can you give me a sec? So I asked him to leave. But let me finish the story. The bag's in the corner. There's $5,000 right here. These guys are walking towards me, and I'm, like, calculating. I'm like, new teeth are $20. This is $5. But that bag I will fucking die for if I need to.
Okay.
So I look at him, and I look down. I go, yo, I don't know. I don't see you guys. Here's the money. Do what you got to do. And they took the money and they just left. They didn't fuck around with me, which is all right. And then I went in the parking lot. I was like, yo, guys, it's actually a funny tie-in. I was like, yo, guys, I just got robbed. I'll pay everyone tomorrow. Just give me the night. Everyone was super cool. Some people were like, you don't have to pay us. And I was like, motherfucker, I'm fucking paying you. But then the next day I went to a Chase in Detroit, put in my debit card, took $5,000 out, paid all the bands. It was funny. I was just with Turnstile at Tied Down, and I walked past that ATM.
Wow.
funny memories.
Holy
But
shit! So when they walked out, they probably took their mask off and walked out because everybody's outside in the park and nobody saw
yeah,
them.
I mean, they probably grabbed that, rolled out real quick, and by the time I could tell anybody, they're in the car counting 20s.
So fun.
Because I don't think I've ever heard of that happening to. I mean, it's kind of a obvious scam to try to run, or it's. I'm surprised I don't hear more about that. Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, totally. And the only reason why I'm saying that is we're talking about like the modern day dealings.
No, I get you.
And like that, I have a couple different versions of that. And the reason why I bring it up is for two reasons. One, it's built like a determination and a steadiness to be able to deal with crazy stuff all the times and be like, okay, this is just what happens.
Yep.
Yep. Shout out meditation. Shout out your boy Huberman. The guy saved my fucking life. Like I listen to him all the time. Like so much of just trying to figure it out comes from him.
That's
really
awesome.
I want to have Dan on his podcast. Dan from Turnstile. I'll hit you up solo for that.
Yeah. On his podcast, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a Hail Mary, but Hail Mary is the way to do it. But
that's cool.
And then the second part, I'm going to forget. Oh, the second part is that, and I think it's different. There's been like a cultural shift where bands, there's a shift and there's almost a reshift. I'll explain that. But early on in my career, there was this feeling from certain people that what I was doing was like bad for hardcore or wrong, or I'm like being opportunistic. And there was people that would like, try to take me down, to be honest with you. And a lot of different ways.
Being a manager in the hardcore scene, you mean?
Yeah, well, I was a booking agent first.
Yeah,
I think
who the fuck is this guy? How come he's making all this money? Blah 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 blah.
Well, we all are booking agents. We always have a booking agent.
Yeah, I think booking agent's a little different from management, where like booking agent is meant to go in with the promoter and get the best possible deal financially. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, what I would do is I'd say, okay, let's see what your expenses are, and let's do a split to where after your expenses, let's give 90% to the band and 10% to you, and everyone makes money, and we're chilling, and there's no big guarantee. But there's other agents, and there's other times that I've had to say, hey, I need X to do this, otherwise I can't do it. Manager's a little different, where my role is to be the ultimate defender, and it's like provider for the bands to be the best version of themselves. So it's a little bit less, a little bit less controversial, I would say, because you're a booking agent, you're motivated by money. When you're not motivated, but your goal is to protect the finances. My goal is to protect the headspace and the finances and everything. So I'm not on the front lines fighting the financial part so much, but it's still always been very misunderstood in the hardcore scene until a certain point. And now it's like, oh, okay, I can do that too. Now I want to have a booking agent and I want to have a manager, and all these young bands that like when I was a peer, they'd be like, yo, I don't know about this dude. Now all the young bands are like, how do we get free Fender? How do we get a publicist?
Exactly. But it's also, wouldn't you rather have somebody who came from your world representing you, who've been through, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather have someone like,
yeah.
It's not like some guy who knows nothing about the culture or been part of any of it.
I mean, I just remember the conversations, like, we were on Roadrunner, right?
Yeah.
Right. Which was not a hardcore thing to do.
For sure.
It wasn't back then, yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But, there's an assumption that, that label, they're making all this money and they got all this money and, they should be paying us or whatever. And it's like, okay, they marketed the shit out of us. I mean, they put our ads in like big magazines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they put money into that game. And so if they're making money back, they fucking deserve it.
Tour support, all that shit.
Yeah, they did great for us on tour support.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's, in my opinion, if you're contributing and you're helping to build up value, everyone should be.
Yeah, I'm a big believer when there's a show, promoter makes money, bands make everyone. Everyone's happy, everyone puts in effort.
Yeah.
But I forget why we started talking about that. We kind of pivoted from.
No, it's okay.
There was something before life and death, but I thought that was like an interesting thing to.
Well,
think
yeah,
about.
it's point of reference, right? Again, can I ask, like, when you started doing the business side of it, as I'll call it, versus just being the singer in the band?
Yeah.
Was that out of necessity for you, for somebody to help, handle the things in Backtrack? Like, again, like when I think of just using my band Blind Approach as sort of a loose example, I wasn't looking to spend time on the phones and writing letters and trying to figure out how to get vinyl pressed.
Yeah.
I just wanted to play guitar and go to the show and just, be an asshole. But someone needed to do that.
Definitely.
So was that you, I assume?
Partially. So Ricky and I both, and there was like eras where,
Well,
we,
Ricky,
where we
obviously.
would rotate, you know, like I feel like
yeah.
there was times when Ricky was like the adult and there'd be times when I was the adult, and we kind of like, you know, sometimes we'd switch specific tasks, but a lot of times it felt like era by era, you know, but like so there was an era when I was in that role, but the real reason why I started working for bands, I got to rewind a little bit. I dropped out of high school to go on tour with Guns Up.
Yep.
And I was 18 and those guys were all 21, 22. And I think, what the fuck are these guys going to do when their band's done? You know what I mean? Like, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I'm always someone
Says
who
the
like,
non-high school graduate, right?
yeah. Well, I wasn't like from a judgmental standpoint,
No,
but it
I
was
know.
more
I
from like a
understood.
sense of urgency on my side where I'm like,
Yeah.
I dropped out of high school. What's my next move going to be? You know? So as Backtrack starting and playing, I'm like, I want to do this for as long as it's fun. And I don't want to feel like I'm roped into here and I have to do it. And like Backtrack ending was like true peace because it was like, we left it all on the field. We're going to do one final tour and say bye to all our friends. And we don't have to do this anymore because we're not like financially roped in. So that was when early on in the Backtrack days, I just reached out to people to be like, can I do this or do that? Can I be your assistant? Anything just to get in the game. And then Bailey, who ran State of Mind booking, he was our booking agent. He's like, you can't be my assistant, but you could start booking bands if you want. And then I started just hitting up bands I was friends with that hit up Incendiary. They were like our close friends, and I was like, yo, can I be your guys' booking agent? And they were like, what the fuck is a booking agent?
Right.
And I basically went to them and I was like, yo, if I bring in 50 opportunities and you guys do 2 and we make them as sick as humanly possible, then that's a win. You know, so it was kind of
It's awesome.
sort of like out of necessity of like us doing our own thing, but it was a lot of it was me just, you know, seeing like what does life look like when I'm 28 at the age of 22, you know, knowing that like I'm not going to go to school and be a fucking scientist.
Yeah.
You know what I
So
mean? Like,
how old are you when you guys break up in like 2017, I think?
2019.
Right? 19.
Played our last show in 2019.
Okay.
And why?
So we did 3 LPs.
Yep.
There was a big gap between our second LP and our third LP.
There
And-
was.
And us doing the third LP was like totally by choice. And I feel like, if I'm being honest,
Talk about Lost in Life, 2014.
yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one was 2017. Yep.
You know, that sophomore record felt like, you know, and this is just my perspective, you know, but we put out Darker Half and we toured everywhere.
Yeah.
And we kind of like, you know, if we wanted to keep doing it, we like had to put a record out. And I feel like on that record, creatively, I just stepped to a place that I didn't really want to go, but I kind of just did it. And then looking back, I'm like, you know, I wish I could have stood ground or, you know, done things differently. And then the third LP was like, and definitely a joint effort, but like, you know, that was in my mind like the revenge record where,
Sure.
and like that honestly is, if I had to show someone Backtrack, I'd show someone that record. And if Backtrack were to play tomorrow, those songs would probably not get a reaction. But like that's the record that I'd be like, okay, this is what I want to end our time with. It's called Bad to My World. Came out in probably 2017, I think.
2017. Yep. Correct.
So what we did is we put that out. We did a headline tour with Misery and Hangman, which Hangman was like the band that became Pain of Truth, like same guys. We did a tour with Terror, and then it just felt like to me is like, where do we go from here? You know, do we just keep, I don't want to overstay my welcome.
Yeah.
I want to end on a high note and leave it all on the field. And we were kind of just like, you know, I called Ricky and I told him how I was feeling. And, you know, we all decided that we were going to do a final world tour. We did that. And then.
Was he surprised by that phone call?
I don't know.
You guys obviously have a good relationship still today, right?
We do. Our relationship's better than it's ever been.
Right.
That's amazing,
You know, like
man.
not to overshare, but like being in a band with people was hard, you know, and like,
Of course.
especially him
Oh,
and I,
yeah.
like I said earlier, like we were so different in so many different ways. And I think that if it was up to totally me or totally him, the band wouldn't have been what it was. But that, you know, that
Yep.
can lead to difficult conversations. And now, you know, I just signed Terror I paused because I was going to say if it's signed or not, but like we just signed Terror to Flat Spot.
Right.
You know?
Amazing,
Which like
dude.
I was with,
I love
Makes
that.
total
I was
sense.
with Scott.
love
So
that.
like I say that we're better than we've ever been right now. You know, I think, you know, I'd like to think we have a mutual respect for each other's game of that we're doing things in a different phase now. It was funny. I was hiking with Nick and Scott a couple months ago. Like we're on like the ninth inning on the flat spot situation. And I don't know if it was Nick or Scott, but someone was like, Backtrack's become our board of trustees. That was so funny, because like neither Ricky and I are doing what we're doing if it's not for Terror. Truly,
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
wow.
like the same could be said for like all like New York hardcore, but like Terror was a band for us that like took us on tour, showed us how to fucking do it.
Yes.
And, Nick produced our records.
Shout out to fucking Terror.
Bro, we talk about every
Big time.
podcast now.
How
This
can
is
you not?
one of the hardest working hardcore bands of all time.
Oh,
and
yeah. Big time.
Scott is hardcore and human in a human body.
It really is.
The whole
Encompass all of it,
the fest. Well, I'm blanking on the
Sound
name.
Sound of Fury.
Sound of Fury. Who set that up?
Martine.
Martine. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I mean, talk about like
Love
early
them.
fundamentals and ingraining things like, being in a band and sitting at home and not going to shows and expecting everyone to give a shit about your shows. Like that still sticks with me to where it's kind of fucked up actually. Cause now there's a show in LA multiple times a week. And if there's a show that I'm not at, I'm like, fuck, it's coming. You know? Like they have just like showed so many bands the ropes and have like done it all without buckling at all.
Ever.
And not to overshare anyone's like personal information, but you give Scott like a 300 cap room and a cool hardcore band like Combust, and he's just fucking thrilled and truly like
Incredible,
just
man.
it really is.
I've seen those motherfuckers at some random like house party. It was like a vacant house
Where's this at?
somewhere in LA. I forget. I'm going back. Fuck, could have been 10 years at this point.
Yep.
And it was amazing. It looked like kind of like that old ski lodge type looking thing when the rafters are exposed in the roof, and before I know it, people are hanging and dropping off of those, and there's no stage. It's on the floor. Nick's kit gets pushed over, and it was great. It was like hardcore lives.
Yeah.
I loved it. And then, all the shows and all the venues around here, but then there was this random show thrown at this warehouse in Long Beach that my wife and I were at like a month before that because these college kids that we knew.
I bet you at that show, and I was wearing a One Voice shirt.
Yes.
Yep.
I do remember
sick.
that now. Yep.
That was I think the For the Children tour.
I'd
drive.
never seen a hardcore show there before or after.
Same.
And
I think they did 2
blew
nights
it
of the same.
Fuck up.
Yeah.
Every player, every show I see, they just
Big time.
Just, yeah. There's something Vitalo just said that's important we talk about too, is that like, you can be in the hardcore scene and everybody starts somewhere, everybody's a poser, everybody's first show, whatever, but like actually being in a band and actually going to see other bands play and going to shows when you're off tour and
we
supporting.
looked right at each other.
I'm just saying, like supporting the young bands and all that stuff. There's something that people see that. They see the realness of that and your support of the community. And that's what Vogel does. You know what I'm saying? Like it obviously he doesn't have a wife and kids like we have. It's different. But he lives and breathes it, and he's just a road dog. But yeah, he's always supporting younger bands, demos, fucking going to shows, and like and kids see that, and I think that's part of their longevity and the respect for this band. Obviously, they continue to make great records as well, and stay touring and stay relevant. It's their consistency, I think, also, and also just who they are as people, like just real people,
Yep.
Fucking love. I can't say enough about Terror, dude. I don't know,
Same.
man. Still like crushing it. They're about to do a new record. Obviously, you already said that. So were you guys making money when you guys broke up? Was it Backtrack a full-time thing for you back then? Were you surviving off it?
It was. I was gonna call Michael Smith and ask him. So maybe I'll say something and then we can decide if we edit it out or not. We were like scraping by. I remember there was one tour where we ended it and we were on tour for like 3 months, and I think we all made a couple grand, but it was very much like we tour, and it's like there's different eras, but there wasn't like tons of growth, but it was like we tour, we come home, we work odd jobs, we keep it going, like when I moved out here in 2000. Well, yeah, the later half of Backtrack, I was a booking agent,
So that was your other money.
So that was how I lived, and then a lot of times I'd go to the Commerce and play poker and just grind out my rent money.
Damn. Was that State of Mind booking or was that something else when you were full time?
So it was State of Mind when I was still living in New York.
Yeah.
I went to Kenmore right before I moved to California, and I was at Kenmore for like a year, and then I went to Good Fight, and because I was Turnstile's booking agent, and I met Biggie. And I was like, hey, I want to manage this band, but I need some help.
So you work in Orange County at their spot, right? Were you out there?
I would just work from wherever.
Yeah,
but I would
yeah,
I would
yeah.
link up a lot of times. Like this is kind of funny and fitting, but like to me, going to Good Fight was like a huge, like at the time they were like the dogs,
Yeah.
like top dogs in the game.
Yeah.
And also it was like I was shifting from being a booking agent to manager. But I basically interviewed with Biggie at the poker table.
Wow.
Where we're sitting next to each other and we're playing a game that's like bigger than I'm used to playing. I'm like making like $40 bets on the turn with 2 high. 2 high is not
Wow.
impossible. With 3 high. And I'm like, yeah, I want to be a manager and I believe in this band, but I need support and infrastructure. And he's like, okay, well, what about this? And then as we're talking about it, I'm like playing poker, somewhat high stakes, just like hemorrhaging money. But I told myself, I'm like, if I nail this conversation, this poker loss won't feel so bad.
Wow, man. Because you go full-time artist management 2015, I think, when Turnstile signs the Roadrunner, correct?
Yeah, about that time, yeah.
And you start the Gold Theory didn't start till 2022 though, Gold Theory artist, right?
Yep.
When you signed Turnstile, you with Biggie still?
Yep.
In that world, yeah.
Yep.
Damn, and the band's still going because your band it's 2015. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So it's kind of balancing all that, like management and touring and all that. And we getting burned on touring too?
No.
Yeah.
I was liking it. I'd get burned when I'd get the shit beat out of me playing a show. You know, there was one tour, we did the Terror Total Retaliation tour, and the first night of tour, I am playing a show in Soma, San Diego, and I roll my ankle, and my
Worst.
ankle looks like a softball, not a tennis ball, a softball, and it had to have been broken. Didn't miss a show. And remember, this will paint the picture on how fucked up I was. And if you really know me, you'll know how bad it was. So my ankle's fucked up. I won't lie and say it's broken. Let's just say it's really fucked up in bad shape. I have strep throat.
Jesus, too.
And I used to get like insane strep throat. Like if I show you videos, like my tonsils would be like golf balls, like covered in like disgusting stuff.
Fuck.
But you play a show, you're spreading germs with, hopefully hundreds of people. I mean, the more people, the more germs is kind of the goal. But like it's a fucked up way of looking at it, but it's true.
Yeah.
And then I had a bunch of mosquito bites on my fucked up ankle that was like swollen.
What the fuck?
And baseball is a big part of my life. And playoff baseball is like, now I live in Los Angeles. The Dodgers are good. So going to a playoff baseball game is less of a novelty now. But back then I was at a playoff baseball game on tour. We had the day off. I went to the game by myself.
Who's playing?
Houston Astros. I think it was Astros Yankees, maybe. Before all the cheating stuff.
Yeah.
So it was like
he could see my face when I wanted to say.
There was no. It wasn't like fuck these guys, they're
Yeah.
cheaters. It was like I'm in Houston at a
No, I
playoff
get it.
baseball game,
Absolutely. The baseball fan in me relates to that quite a bit.
and I'm on tour, and I spent a couple $100 on a ticket, which that wasn't easy to do either.
Yep.
And I left in like the 5th inning tie game because that's how fucked up I was. And like if you know me well, you know that I love baseball and I have a high pain tolerance. So like shit like that is when like touring would be brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like loving it the whole way,
Yeah.
And I feel like someone does anything to go see your band, you fucking owe it to them to give them 100%.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Man.
Like sometimes when I see a band and they're like, oh, there's not enough people here, or the crowd's not
horrible.
good. It's so fucking unbelievably disgraceful.
It so
Well,
bums
I agree
me
with
out,
that.
dude.
That's yeah.
Like think about
When
like
they talk about it on stage too, and but then you see bands like Terror and Mabel who I kill it every time I've seen them.
Yep.
Like 120%, no matter who the fuck's there, and they get the crowd going. They work that shit.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say? Something about that?
I mean, just to elaborate, I mean, you think about the sacrifice anyone makes. They could have spent time with their partner. They could have been doing homework. They could have been spending time with their kid.
True.
That means that you owe them 100% of your energy. So
Yeah.
you do that for 200 days a year, you can get tired. But I mean, spiritually, I felt very locked in the whole time. It was never like, I don't feel this anymore. I want to call the band off. It was more just like looking ahead. If we end now, we could leave it in a really good place.
Yeah. Was it hard? Were you sad? Was it a rough transition to go full time into? Oh yeah.
No, it wasn't. It just felt right.
Yeah.
Well, because you already had, it seemed, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, you had your other thing going.
Yeah, it
so
was,
it's like
yeah.
you weren't.
Yeah. Like I'm very lucky where I'm able to travel and see bands and see friends and see, people that we met on tour. So yeah, it wasn't, I think the longing for playing again has like come up a little more. where like for a while I was like, I get to watch like Turnstile or Knock Loose or Harm's Way play a show, and I feel like I'm like on the team, you know, just like I'm a different, like you're a baseball player, you play for as long as you can until your body doesn't work anymore, and then you're in the dugout and you're mapping out the moves, you know?
Right.
I hate saying this because I fucking hate the Red Sox, but I don't know if you saw this recently. There's a video of Alex Cora, and he's a manager sitting in the dugout.
Yep.
And there's a player who's up.
Yep.
And the pitcher's about to wind up, and he goes like this. He makes a sign to a runner on second, and the runner on second makes a sign to the batter, so the batter knows a fastball's coming, and he hits a home run, and then he high fives like the bench coach. So like he's in the dugout, looking at everything, calling the plays.
Yeah.
You know, and like I'm in a situation where I get to do that. You know, like a band puts out a record, and we're like, this is, and it's always very collaborative. I'm not trying to take credit away from the artist. Like if the artist doesn't have a vision, I have nothing to work with. But I'm able to be vicariously very involved in music and really exciting things.
All right.
So
do you play an instrument?
I do not.
Okay.
Not even fucking close, dog.
I was just curious, like the musician in me, like, you know, playing with a band and playing on stage in front of people and getting that response back from that music being played.
Right.
You know, that's something that I love.
It's magical, man.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, and there's, you know, I'm not sure about Ricky if he's done much. Maybe he has. I'm not thinking of it. Like John plays drums in the Wrong Side and King Nine, and Chris plays with King Nine, and I'm the Avalanche. Like they are able to play in other bands and get that kind of feeling. I've thought about that. Like it'd be nice, you know, if you love playing guitar, you can go to a jazz bar and just play guitar and just put that out there and see what it feels like. When you're singing in a hardcore band, it's different.
Right.
And I've thought about doing another band, but the way, you know, this is my brain being fucked up, but the way I look at it is like, I manage Turnstile, Terror, and Knock Loose. If I put a band out, it needs to be Brightside and Age of Quarrel at the minimum.
Top tier.
And if I'm not putting out a modern day Brightside, I'm not doing a band. So
I relate to that.
That's why I'm not, you know.
I feel like Combust, Belly of the Beast is like...
Record's awesome.
Dude, it's like, almost record of the year for hardcore for me. And it's got really the Killing Time vibes. It's got the Crown of Thorns. It's got all kinds of beautiful...
Yeah, it's done really well.
And about the new bands we talk about...
It'd be sick. Hold on, I'm going to interrupt for a second. It'd be sick if they were from New York. You know, like they're from Staten Island. Like it'd be awesome if they were.
Shots fired.
You know, I heard Andrew's talking shit on Long Island, so I just wanted to use the platform to tell him to fucking chill out.
He was talking on Staten Island too. That like nobody is really going on there. Yeah.
Well, I'll just say the same with, you know. Look, we know, or I am aware of people having an opinion of, if it ain't fucking the city, it ain't New York.
Which I never understood that, man.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit. And I, in the same way I view Long Island is the same way I view Staten Island. I live there myself, and I know you're trash talking.
I got love for Staten, and Wu-Tang is some of the sickest shit to ever come out of New York. No doubt about it. So I'm just, you know, Andrew will force you to just take out the pistol. Take a shot, so you know it could be a singular shot.
So let's talk about it because Underdog Jersey, New York hardcore. Youth of Today, Connecticut, New York hardcore.
Yep.
Roger was from Florida?
Miami, right? Yeah.
Jersey.
Freddie too.
Well, I think he was just going off the book. Born in Miami, moved to Jersey, and then was going in the city.
Yeah. It's very rare we have like New York natives. You know what I'm saying? Like. Talk about this stuff like Mind Force, Painted Truth, Combust, Vitalo. These kids grew up in New York. They're New Yorkers. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the bands, I wasn't from New York. I moved to New York. My band started there.
Right.
You know?
Same here.
So it's almost like, and where was Mike Judge from? Is that Jersey?
I think Jersey,
I want to say Jersey. But it's New York hardcore. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying like, so is Earth Crisis, Snapcase? What is that? It's New York State. Zero tolerance.
I feel like...
Yeah.
I feel like New York, Jersey, Connecticut, Long Island. That's under this. Connecticut's kind of like a toss-up because Death Threat and Hatebreed and 100 Demons are very clearly its own thing.
Facts.
That's a separate universe where Youth of Today is New York. Like you can't, you know.
Maybe Bold was from there too. I don't know if that's true.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying. But so like Syracuse and other stuff.
That's his own. Well, there's also like that era was so. Like legendary too, like not my favorite type of hardcore, but the whole like Earth Crisis, Snapcase,
Buried Alive.
To me, that's the Victory era, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Zero tolerance.
It's just a whole different universe in itself.
Yeah, but nobody they don't try to claim NYC either, really. those bands.
No,
Really?
it wouldn't
No.
make sense. It wouldn't make sense, and that's why they don't. I think.
But I love that the bands, the generations after, they claim it now. You know what I'm saying? Well, they claim it obviously in the bands we just mentioned. They claim it all.
I mean, if you're part of the 5 boroughs, I think you have absolute right to claim New York hardcore, in my opinion.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of that simple for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have Turnstile, you have Terror, and you have Knock Loose. Those are pretty busy, hardworking bands, man.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
definitely.
And then there's more than that too. You got like Basement, Arms Way,
Yep.
Show Me the Body.
Yep.
So
So the way it works is I kind of started a company out of necessity, and even
Yeah.
I even hate using the word company, you know.
yeah,
But managing bands can be a very lonely thing, you know. Like a lot of times you're just like on an island, and it's lonely on both sides. I'll explain a little bit more, but you know, when I was at Good Fight, it was more of like a collective, but it was like, you know, people like Biggie wound up retiring very shortly after I
Yeah.
left, you know, and like
Yeah.
him and I, like we had a very honest conversation of like me being like, hey, I have this Turnstile record, and I need to be around people that are all in, that are pushing things, you know, and like,
yeah,
you know, that led me to going to a company called 5B that do like Slipknot, you know, and it's just like, it was like a bigger management company, and it just, I was there for 9 months, and it just didn't feel right, you know. So it wound up respectfully going in different directions, but it wasn't like I'm going to go here for 9 months and then I'm going to start my company. It was
Mhm.
more me thinking like, I'm going to be here for 5 years and then maybe someday I can start my own thing. You know, I'd never
Yeah.
even considered it a possibility, but it's kind of one of those conversations where, you know, I put it into poker context.
Mm.
I made a bet of me communicating my feelings and my needs, and somebody raised me. So now I either need to go all in or fold. And I went all in. And then
Love that.
it's kind of weird too. That happened. And this is like right when Turnstile Glow On is like peak striving. And
Yes.
I'm like, every second I'm trying to make this more sustainable and successful and cool.
Yeah.
I also had surgery on my eyes. Like I got LASIK, but had to get PRK because my eye sockets are like very deep, which I think is from getting fucking socked at CVs, honestly.
Wow.
But I'm like, oh fuck, okay, so now I need to get a new email address. I got to get a new setup. I need a name, and I was like, I have Turnstile on Jimmy Kimmel in a couple of days, and I want to like, that's a moment that I want to be like, it'll like launch the operation around. So it was all like in fucking hyperspeed, you know. So,
Yeah.
but basically the way that it works is like, so I started the company, had my bands, and then I'm like meeting managers that are like, I do my own thing, and I don't know what to do, or I don't, you know, I want to be part of a community, something more. So, and I like knowledge and information is so important in this game. So being able to like link up with people that like, you know, like Show Me the Body's manager is a woman named Asha. She lives in New York, and you know, she's at Gold Theory, and she is going to start, you know, signing more stuff that's hers that I help from like a bullpen kind of role, but she has access to the whole crew of like, we got a marketing crew and we have a creative crew and a touring crew, and we can just help them. So it looks like I manage 15 bands, which I don't, you know, I have my roster, which I'm very involved in. And then I just, you know, get a call from Michael from Pain of Truth being like, hey, this manager wants to work with me, but I don't know if I trust them. And like, do you have any advice here? And then I'm just like, you should meet Dow, who's now their manager.
That's
who
awesome.
you know, and it's like, he plays in Fiddlehead, and
great band.
Story with him, playing tennis with Alex Henry from Basement. He does all the content for Turnstile.
Okay.
He's like, Basement's going to come back. Do you have a manager that you suggest? And I'm like, no, I don't. I was like, but what about we bring in Dow and we show him the game, and I'll make sure that you're in good hands, but like you'll have someone who's paying attention to your shit every day.
It's awesome.
And he came in and he's fucking crushing it. And now he manages Pain of Truth in a band called Glare, a shoegaze band.
Fucking
so
awesome,
that's like the setup, you know?
Yeah.
And like that puts me in a spot to where like my bands I can really hyper focus on and make sure they get everything they need. But when there's a band that's like, I want to play music for a living, but I don't know what the fuck to do, I can help them out if I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know? And you know.
I love it. I mean, you have 2 Grammy nominated bands too, which is wild too, man.
Yeah. 3. Def Evan.
Oh shit. And then also
one time someone when Knock Loose was nominated for a Grammy, someone texted me and they're like, congratulations on your 3rd Grammy nomination. I like read the text, and my wife was sitting next to me. She's like, actually it's 5. to correct them. So I was just fucking around, but
It's amazing. I mean, you mentioned earlier about like whatever the peak, whatever for us maybe in the 90s, or like maybe our role model in a movie or something. But you know, something back then that's totally normal now is like when we played on Conan O'Brien, people hated on us for being on Conan O'Brien, even though we're in Madball and Scarhead shirts and DMS on the amp and John Joseph's in the audience. And you know what I'm saying? That was a moment for the New York hardcore scene that never happened before or after from our genre, you know what I'm saying, on TV.
And credit to you motherfuckers, because you waved that flag very loud and proud on that. I mean, you know.
It was everywhere.
Yeah, that's
I had
awesome.
to. Thank you.
Yeah.
But then now, fast forward, it's totally normal to see like Knock Loose on Jimmy Kimmel. I texted you about it because they had this performance where it was so punk to me that people were so shocked and trying to have Jimmy Kimmel apologize for the performance because they were like shocked by his voice and the crowd moshing on television. They were like in their homes like, oh my God, what is this? And that was a real thing where it was like controversial situation. And to me, that's punk as fuck. Do you know what I'm saying? In 2025, you can have that kind of response still with music.
Well, you
know
use the phrase totally normal. Is it?
What do you mean so normal?
You said it's totally normal.
No, but it's more common for
common. Yeah,
it turns out these bands be playing on TV.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? Television, late night television.
And I mean, I'm fascinated with the whole thing just because, you know, the obvious assumed goal for punk rock and hardcore is not to fucking be mainstream, right?
Right.
Which
I feel like that's changed though in 20 years now, bro.
Well, I mean, but again, punk rock. What does it mean, right? We have these conversations.
But also, for us, it wasn't to be mainstream. It was to get our message to a bigger audience. Positivity.
That's what I'm saying.
Straight
right?
edge. Everything we represented, we took a chance on the major and exposure.
And that's the conversation I'm trying to get into that I'm fascinated by and asking you, like, how conscious are you and the bands in terms of, look, we want to widen this thing. We want to fucking push it to as far as it can go. But
also still be hardcore kids.
Well, but right? I mean, when you do that, you, I think, would admit you're going to run the risk of suddenly diluting it or making it into something that is now not the, I don't know, alternative thing that it once was that is part of the appeal.
Yep.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, please.
When fucking Turnstile is like having this most beautiful, amazing fucking rollout artwork, the fucking movie, and then they're playing all these TV shows. But then the week before, they're fucking playing Tied Down with No Barricade, a hardcore show. Massive hardcore show. And then the Baltimore shit, we didn't even talk about that. Like 10,000 people at a hardcore show, stage diving in a park. And then the New York shit. But at the same time, they go from TV to like this. I love how whatever's happening, obviously we know they're hardcore kids and you're part of their trajectory and their whole entire thing. I love that they're the same fucking dudes and they're doing all this cool shit for the community. I went and saw them at that one spot you got me into over here, that like DIY
Ukrainian Center.
Legendary punk spot, Ukrainian Center. And then they're on TV, but they're also doing this. They're taking out Speed on tour, like the hardest hardcore bands right now, right?
Yeah.
So it's
I mean, don't mistake. Anything I'm saying here is not
make no mistake.
Not a criticism or a judgment on anything. Like
it's an interesting thing to dissect.
Beautiful though.
I could not be happier to see what's happening right now with these bands.
Me too.
But I'm just curious, like to make it kind of simple. Like, is there ever a situation where you're like, nope, we're not going to do that?
Yeah, for sure.
Even though it would be amazing business.
100%.
We will not do that for reasons
because of integrity and all that. Yeah, of course.
Well, not even integrity, just image, maybe. If you
well,
will.
I think
you know
more
I mean?
to me, what's scary about image consciousness is that's thinking about what they're gonna think.
Correct.
You know, so like
correct.
For me, there's been tons of times where a financially exciting opportunity has come in, but there's a reason why it doesn't fit in line with our beliefs, so we're out. It happens all the time.
Right.
That's hardcore.
Yes,
and I'm a
100%.
big believer in you do the right thing, and then the finances will follow. You know, and like
didn't always work out that way for me, but
different times, bro. Different times.
Yeah. But I mean, truly, what we're doing is I'm trying to think the best way to say this. You look at that flyer over there, and that's Rest in Pieces and KRS-One, you know? And I think that, and every band has their own preference of their own interests, but we've just done things a certain way, done things in a way that expresses who we are. We haven't changed for anybody, and we've said no when it doesn't make sense, you know? And we have a new record coming out, and we're going to playing late night TV. If you ask us to auto-tune something, then we're going to say, fuck no. You know, there's been times when there's been like TV opportunities that doesn't make sense and we don't do it, like plenty of times, you know, but also like, okay, we're going to make a full album film. That's a first mission in itself. Okay. Now that it's done, let's try to get it premiered somewhere sick like Tribeca. Those are the kind of things that and as long as we're in line, my goal is always to try to push it in as many places as we can without buckling. You know, I think in terms of like being
without conforming.
Being punk, like being able to work with your best friends and work with the biggest people in the industry and not buckle for anybody and also have a financial independence. Like there's nothing more fucking punk than that, you know?
100%.
How much pressure do you get from like the suits, quote unquote, right? Are the suits still even a thing? Are they?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm a suit. It depends who you're asking. You know,
the
like,
role
like
of you as a suit,
I don't say that I consider myself a suit, but like when you're saying suit, you're looking at it from someone else's perspective who doesn't understand. You know, there's a lot of people that are like.
There was at one time though in this industry, right? Would we agree there were suits?
I don't know. I mean, I think that to me, and you've been in the game way longer than I have been.
Yeah.
Suits is when someone is like they're part of something corporate and I judge them and fuck that. You know, I think that that's just changed over time.
I mean, the music industry had a big corporate.
And it definitely still does.
Yeah.
My relationship with it is a little different because, being honest with you, I'm in a leveraged position where like
agreed.
I'm not going to do anything that I don't think is in my band's best interest at all. And there's a lot of people that like work. Like, there's people like really good promoters and really good people that work at bigger corporate companies that are like, yo, I really want to help you out and I'll help you navigate this process. And you kind of find someone in there that like they could be, you know, they're VP of marketing at some place, but I'm like, I really need to have a billboard in Times Square. Can you help me get there without having to say that I like support the Israeli government or some shit? You know, like, like there's a way to navigate. And that's, you know, that's my MO. You know, I think that that's what I can do that a lot of people can't do is like not have an attitude, not dismiss anyone, but be like, okay, I'm not going to buckle for a fucking second, and you know that, but if we can work together to make something great happen, let's do it, you know?
The difference between him, though, this dude, first of all, this guy didn't graduate high school. He's a fucking hardcore kid, right? He's not a suit. The suits that I think about, the 90s, are the ones that like, oh, punk is...
You dealt with suits,
yeah, well, punk is cool now. Let's sign them. They sound like that band.
Right.
And let's act like we know where they come from, the fucking culture and all that shit.
Those people are there.
That's what I think of a suit. Like
that's what I'm saying. No,
yeah. Well, let me tell you this. This was a moment...
This was an underdog shirt, bro.
This was a moment when I was... The spiritual cup was just dumped on the side of the road. So I'm at Sound and Fury, and
this year,
a couple years ago, a couple days before Turnstile played a fest called Hinterlands in Iowa, and I'm with Brandon, who's like their longtime. He's been with them forever. He's done merch. Now he does TM stuff. And we're playing cards, and Porter from Floor Punch texted him and was like, and I don't know that dude super well, but like I fucking love his band, and I think that he knows that we have similar tastes in hardcore.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yo, ask Vitalo if he's ever heard of Social Disorder. And have you guys heard of that band?
No.
That's one of those names where it sounds like...
And I think a lot of people that know my musical taste is like, I really love like the B movie, the B record. Like, like Killing Time Brightside is technically like a B. I mean, to us, it's top tier, but it's not, you know, like, anyway.
Top of the heap, I think.
Let me run it back.
I get it, like Underdogs.
Yeah, Underdogs like a Cuddy New York hardcore band. So I'm like, no, but he tells us about it, and I'm like, I'm all in. I got to know more, and you can't find anything anywhere. So I'm at Sound and Fury, and I'm talking to Sammy Siegler, and I'm talking to my friend Tremblay from Montreal, who's like, you guys probably know this from touring. People in Montreal are like obsessed with New York hardcore in a way that like most people from New York aren't at all.
True.
So I'm talking with them about Social Disorder, and I'm like, tell me more. How can I hear this demo? I'm at a hardcore fest talking about a hardcore demo, which makes complete sense.
Yeah.
This is a couple years ago, and this like Jimmy from Palatine Records type of people were coming around the scene for the first time, where like they'd go to like bigger shows, but not Sound and Fury.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm talking to these guys trying to figure out what's the deal with this demo, and two managers like pull me into their conversation. They're like, so you're really busy. Like, what are you working on in Q4? And I'm like, I'm working on finding the fucking Social Disorder demo, motherfucker. Like, give me a break.
Q4.
And to me, that was like, I had to really renegotiate the terms of like where we're at now, where I'm like, this is a fucking infiltration. And to be honest with you, it kind of like, it ruined my weekend. Hello, how you doing?
Hi, mama.
And going into Sound and Fury this weekend, I was like, I'm fucking stoked. Like it just like, but these people are gonna be here, and like they're not bad people. It's just like, there's this new thing that people are coming to, and you can either have your nose up towards it or you can understand the situation. And I had to really renegotiate the terms to not see people like that and be like, you don't belong here, because that's kind of like shitty gatekeeping.
Yes.
Anyway, but like selfishly for a second, I was like, man, I just want to talk about this demo and not talk about Q4 because I'm at a hardcore fest right now.
Yeah, no
but,
shit.
But that's that's like a hard thing to navigate, if I'm being honest.
Well, can I just say something? Because here's one thing I'm thinking. When you and I were trying to navigate the bigger side of the industry, right? The bigger business end of things, it was more quote unquote suits. And I think you're in agreement with that, as was my experience too.
People taking out the dinner, schmoozing you, saying they could do all these things for you. Yeah. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
But so thankfully people here, and like the Dave Steins of the world.
Right. Shout out Dave Stein.
Kept, like our intentions being in that bigger industry were for the right reasons.
Yes.
We were not trying to sell out. We were trying to just get to, get the bigger audience for the right reasons of saying, hey, we got something to say. More people should be enjoying this.
100%.
That was all it was ever about for us. But we didn't have a good, there weren't people in the industry that really were, on board to do it for the right reasons. Yeah. You guys have infiltrated it, literally. And now we're seeing the benefits of that. And fucking thank you. Yeah. I'm going to say, thank you for doing what you're doing.
And I appreciate that, man.
And you probably see other people coming around now because hardcore seems like it's biggest it's ever been, right? Coming into the worlds and seeing people from other labels, and
it's interesting, man. I have such mixed feelings about it. It's such a nuanced, layered thing to think about, because like, let me just slow down the pace for a sec. I mean, to me, like when I hear sellout, I hear selling out is when someone says, you can do this thing, but if you do this thing, you got to put this on it. This brand that means nothing to you, you got to do that. Yeah. And I'm not saying that if anyone does a monster tour, they're sellout, because being honest with you, there's some bands that I do stuff with them. I say more like, if there's an opportunity that comes in, but you principally disagree with the messaging or the belief and you still do it, that's selling out. But to me, like making something and doing it your own way, and then having someone come in like a promoter and getting financial justice, that ain't selling out. No. Playing a festival and getting a good billing and a good pay for it, like that's not selling out. That's, so then.
I love that financial justice. Sounds like a band name. But like the Baltimore thing you do with 10,000 people, like that's fucking sick.
Yeah. And like, that wasn't free and that wasn't covered by a sponsor. I could have called Nike and been like, yo, give me $100,000 so I can do this. And they might have.
Even the one under the bridge.
And no disrespect to Nike, because they're fucking, I'm using a name out of a hat. I could have called anyone and said like, hey, you want, like, this is going to be all over the internet. Give me this money and I can do this. It's like, no, we believe in what we're doing and we're going to, this is not, I try to really not talk about inside baseball of anyone's business, but I know that we talked about this in an article with the Baltimore Banner, so I can say that like the band fronted it themselves, all of it.
Amazing.
Wow.
Man.
And they it wasn't like
know that. That's
beautiful.
And there could have been a scenario where a brand comes in and helps them, and that wouldn't be wrong. That would, if they did that. If we did that, it wouldn't be wrong. But it was like, we believe in the mission statement, we're doing it. I'm getting a little bit sidetracked, but now to get back to like,
no, I love that, giving back to the community, man.
For sure, it's super important. But like hardcore, where it's at right now, and we talked about this earlier, so I'm going to bring it back about like my parents' relationship with Turnstile.
Yes.
In my house on Long Island was like the house that bands would stay at when they'd come through. Awesome. And like people would sleep on the floor, my parents would cook for them and all that other stuff, but they were always like supportive, but not like into it. And then my sister moved out here and my mom helped her move out. And my mom's like, I'm in town for a couple of days. I'm like, yo, mom, if you want to see me, I have Turnstile playing 2 nights at the Novo. So if you want to see me, you got to pull up to the show. She's like, okay, cool, pull up. And her and my sister watched Turnstile, and they were like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you know these guys? I'm like, Mom, they stayed at our house like so many times.
It's fucking beautiful.
And then after the set, they're like, can we meet them? And I'm like, you've met them before, So it just like completely changed everything.
Damn.
And then my parents get home and they tell my dad about Turnstile. And then he comes and sees them in Brooklyn. They played Brooklyn Steel. And it was so sick. We did Jimmy, Fallon during the day, and then went to Brooklyn Steel at night. It was like a doubleheader. And most bands that are like, they just started, they blew up on TikTok, they'd never do a fucking day like that. You know, like
No.
Turnstile truly does like dig in so deep to their work ethic and grit. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then my dad saw Turnstile, and now he's fucking hooked. And me watching my parents watch Turnstile, it's like I see myself hearing the breakdown demo for the first time, where they like are connected to the energy, and like Turnstile has just been able to write music in a way that other people can process the energy that we all process, you know?
Yeah.
And like seeing that just with my family, it's like brought my family closer together, you know? So like,
That's
so,
awesome.
and like now I was in the car with my dad a year ago, and I have Killer Idols on. And instead of him being like, the fuck is this? He was like, who is this? You know, like he's interested
Curious.
now.
That's
so
really cool.
I think it's like lowered a lot of people's guard down towards, and I can't say it's just Turnstile. I think it's a society thing where like having tattoos isn't as scary as it used to be, and
true.
shit like that.
A lot of things have come together
Yeah,
like that. Agreed.
but for hardcore specifically, it's brought in a lot of different people, and like you don't need to have your like ID card that says you heard Asia Quarrel when you come in the door through a hardcore show, but like you'd hope that when people come in, it's amazing. There's new people coming in, but you hope that they're not like, oh, this is a cool thing I saw on the internet, and I'm gonna punch someone in the face. Hopefully, they're like, they're learning and they're channeling like the philosophy, and they're taking care of their communities, and they're putting, you know, giving back to the world.
Yeah.
You hope that that's what's happening, and that's, you know, that paired with, you know, certain bands want to skip steps, and all of a sudden they want to think that they're famous, but they haven't been doing this for 10 years,
Yeah.
and they don't care about their community. Like you see a lot of that too.
Yeah.
You know? And
that
like,
doesn't surprise me. But
Yeah.
would you agree that there should be some expectation of an expand and contract type thing? Because, and we were talking about this, and I can't remember if it was Jay or if it was Mike or Andrew. It might have been all three. But like the state it's in now, with a band like Turnstile and that level of exposure, you're going to bring people in, and some
civilians, they call it whatever.
Civilians is a great term.
Yeah.
Some
Great
are
term.
going to get it.
amazing term.
And some are going to stick with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Some are not.
Some might see it
Right.
online and be like, yo, this looks crazy and cool. And the goats are like, yo, I don't really fuck with this. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Or they might, you know, look, some people do follow trends and fads, right? And they're going to
Yeah.
be on this now because it's fun, and then they're going to see something different, the next shiny object, and
Sure.
they're going to
Yeah.
go to that.
I think there's my
Just
opinion
weeds
is
them
that,
out.
yeah, there's a difference between someone going to a show of a band, you know, take Turnstile out of it, going to a show for a band and experiencing a singular moment. The problem is if someone comes to a community or like a scene and they're bringing in the wrong idea, whether it's violence or racism, where like right now where we live, like, you know, I feel like, and you know, it was a different time, but maybe I was just sheltered. And when I say sheltered, I mean only around hardcore people. But there was a time when like racism almost felt, this is like 10 years ago, almost felt like a myth, to where now it's almost like the norm, you know? So like
True.
if you have new people coming in and they're not in line with like, you know, it's a balance, because you don't want to, everyone's not a uniform way of thinking, but there is like, you know, certain things in hardcore scene that's not tolerated. Racism is not tolerated. Violence is part of the game, but you try to minimize it. So like, I think that's where it gets
inclusiveness
scary.
is involved in it.
exactly. Yeah.
That's it.
Open-mindedness, compassion. I don't know. But I think people see something they want to see. Like there was a video that went viral of like crowd killing during 2020. I think a lot of people saw that on the internet. They were shocked.
Right, yeah.
They were like, yo, what is this? Is this all shows are like this? Or where's this come from, you know?
Yeah.
And I absolutely do not want to get political in any way, shape, or form, but I am interested in the comment of racism seems to be more the norm. But and you took Turnstile out of the equation when you were making that statement. Because I'm just commenting, I see sort of the reverse in a way where I see a band like Turnstile that has such a wide exposure now, and to me, they are clearly just breaking down all those barriers.
Absolutely.
100%.
And they couldn't be getting the level of exposure they could if people weren't receptive to it. I'm just interested in your observation of where you're saying it's more the norm.
I can maybe clarify that a little bit, and I'm taking Turnstile out of it, where I think normal society right now, just, you know, without like, you know, I don't want to get political, but I'm also not afraid to if we talk about that. I just,
fair enough.
The climate of what's happening right now, racism is more accepted. You know, it's accepted at the highest level of the government. And I think that if that were to seep in to hardcore shows, not a turnstile show, just any hardcore show, that's unacceptable. Yeah, you know, and I think that that's with like more people coming in and the way that the world is right now, there's a better chance that could happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
and we dealt with that in the 80s.
Yeah, so I'm sure, and you guys had to take action. You know, I think like I guess what I'm getting at is like maybe I can explain it a little bit better. The action that you guys took set the tone
physically,
like physical or whatever you had to do.
Had to
for sure, at a necessity, you had to. And I'm also talking about a little bit of a hypothetical scenario because I've been at several LA hardcore shows over the last 2 months, and the vibe's great. And
that's why I was confused by the statement a little bit because the vibe has just been so great and positive. And
I think
that
that's maybe the downside of this moment where there's
as a potential.
Yeah. And I think that even like you don't see people wearing racist clothing, but you see people like socking someone in the face for no reason because they saw it on TikTok, and it's like, okay,
right?
There's a higher volume of people coming into this thing that needs to be protected, and you guys have laid that foundation
100%.
And you hope that people come in, and you don't need to come in and say, hey, I've heard Age Quarrel and I know what the breakdown demo is, but there's a tone that's been set in the culture, and there's a lot of new people coming in, and I think that I have a little bit of a borderline between a fear and a hope that that's going to maintain, that people are going to come here and be like, this music changed my life, and I'm going to do the research, and not the research of like what are the bad brains, but the research of like how do we take this community and protect it and use it for good.
Yeah. To quote the Godfathers, there's no justice, it's just us, right?
There you go.
And that mentality, to me, that's fundamental to hardcore, right? And I think that anyone that is going to be in this forum with us has to maintain that.
I agree. And it's awesome that more people are coming in.
That's what I'm seeing. That's why I'm that's why I'm fucking thrilled.
Yeah, for sure. And it's awesome. And if
it is literally a cultural movement that is in overdrive right now.
Yep, for sure. And in that, you kind of talked about the like expand and contrast, and you don't need to like screen people coming in, but you hope that the fundamentals and the ethics are maintained.
I mean, there is a thing, hardcore pride, that's real, that people who grew up in this, live this, and breathe this, and love and respect the culture, that do want to protect it. That's not necessarily gatekeeping. That's just like having some sort of, not rules, but a community, right?
Yeah, community.
That's a hard line a hard needle to thread.
Yeah.
Right. Like, if you want to come in, fuck yeah, that's awesome. But like, don't just punch someone in the face because you saw it online.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like, for me, I never understood, like, I know there's all types of dancing, right? There's like, whatever. My thing was like, you go to a hardcore show and the music moves you in a certain way. You might love this band more than another band. You might know every single lyric. You hear Madball, you want to fucking just kill people. I'm sorry. I go to 7 seconds, I want to fucking dive and sing along. So it all, but to go to a show and act out a dance you saw on the internet, not even know what the lyrics are about, or having that connection, just to do a movement and a dance and think that is hardcore. That's the thing that's kind of mind-boggling to me, because to me you're going because you fucking know every lyric, right? You want to sing along, you love this band, they inspired you some way, you connect to their message, music in the message, and you go there, you fucking go crazy, you lose your mind singing these lyrics that mean so much to you, as opposed to going there not knowing anything about the band, but know that it's hard and it has a breakdown and you can do this certain dance move to it. I think that's the thing that people are not gatekeeping about, but it's almost like, what are you here for? Do you know what this band's singing about? That's the same people who fought during Walk Together, Rock Together, that was sung 1,000,000 times by 7 seconds, and every lyric they had was about unity and community and women's rights, but these people are fighting to it. They're not getting the message, like Soundtrack to Violence by Civ. So my point is that, I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
no,
it's not
saying the right thing.
It's not something you can act out and wear and dress like. That's what hardcore to me. It's a spirit. It's something that's inside of us, and so
it's tough. I don't know. I
like
love what you're saying. It's a very nuanced situation and a very hard needle to thread. And I noticed 2019, I felt like hardcore was the smallest it's been in a long time.
I think it was.
And I feel like a lot of people were like, you know what? I'm moving on. I'm fucking sick of being told what to do. And because it can be a thing where you don't want someone coming into hardcore and be like, hey, you can't experience this moment because you haven't heard 7 seconds and you don't totally get it. And I think that but at the same time, when there's new people coming in, it's kind of up to us and people who've been around for a while to put your arm around someone and say, hey, welcome. these aren't the rules, but this is more than a surface level thing.
Yeah.
I think like for me, there's been so many people that have showed me great bands or, shared perspective that I've carried with me. So I think that's, these new people coming in, it's an opportunity, but it's at a higher volume where there's like, it's hard to like, shepherd that many people, shepherd sounds like it's a cult, but
it's more than music is what I'm saying. It's more than a dance
Absolutely.
style. It's more than a look. It's more than that. It's something, and kids will have that. Some kids will connect to that, spiritual, whatever, or I don't know, but some kids won't. Like, oh, this isn't for me. It look cool, but I'm not really into that.
And
I can't relate to the lyrics. I don't know.
Agreed, right? But again, kind of to my earlier point, you're going to see a lot of people coming in. Some people are going to get it. Some people aren't. It's going to take a little time. They're still going to hang around and get whatever they get out of it, and then eventually split. But what also I assume is going to happen, and I think we're seeing it, and some people can deal with it and some people can't, is these people that are coming in now, they're going to change it. And I think they need to, right?
Yeah.
Because for fuck's sake, if I'm going to shows in 1984 and it's 2025 today, and it's the exact same music and the exact same look.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck are we all doing here?
Definitely.
I mean, I'm counting on new people and younger people to come in.
I'm already seeing that, for sure.
Too. It's more
Like,
women. There's more diversity than ever
again,
before,
not to
Definitely.
keep, harping on one band, but I am in a positive way. I think Turnstile, again, is a big contributor to that.
Yeah.
And I think Turnstile, under the umbrella of Turnstile, we have the Scowls and the Speeds and the Military Guns and all these different bands and Flat Spot and all this whole community that Turnstile wear the shirts of or put them on tour with them. And it's almost like what bands did for us when we came up. Like a bigger band took us out on, you know what I'm saying? Like took us under the wing. And I see that the bootstrap kind of theory that's what Turnstile is doing. And they're educating people on the bands Trapped Under Ice, Angel Dust, all these bands are all connected to this wonderful world, right? And so I think it's more kids are coming in through that too, and learning who inspired Turnstile, like what are their influences? You know what I'm saying? Like it's beautiful. I don't know.
Definitely.
I love that.
It's a culture, and I'm very happy to be a part of it still today.
And
same.
Since the pandemic, I feel like it just fucking just blossomed. I don't know, man. Speed kind of came out of the pandemic too, and I've been playing the show till after the pandemic, right? They kind of blew up online.
Definitely.
And
those guys, I met them,
bro.
First time Backtrack went to Australia, and they were at every show, moshing, going crazy, and like, not to sound like an egomaniac, but it's nice seeing them win because they've just supported the scene for so long.
Yeah, I fucking love that. That's what I'm saying. We went to shows, we were roadies, we're all going to shows, diving, loving the bands, and then you start your own band, and then I think when people see that you're a kid in the scene, you've been there for a while, supporting, and you start your own thing. It's different than somebody coming out of nowhere, just a brand new band, right? Who are these kids? Never came to a show before. I don't know these kids locally. All of a sudden they're playing the show.
We were all those kids.
Yeah, we were them, and the old heads before us are like, yo, what is this shit? Madball's too bouncy. They're too rappy. They have too much rhythm. It's true. It shows too melodic. I don't know. That's people talk shit about us.
Get off of my lawn.
But I'm saying though, the older heads didn't like H2O, Crown of Thorns, all those bands. It's like
When you say older heads, like what is that, like the Antidote, Urban Waste era people, or like what kind of clicks? Because I always think about
it's a great question.
New Direction and like the lyrics of that song.
I
always wonder like what
80s hardcore generation to 90s hardcore, right? Even though we started going to shows in the 80s, we were I feel more the 90s generation, clearly, right? That's when our bands were active. But we had friends with the 80s generation, and there was a transition from 80s to 90s that some people weren't really all that thrilled about.
Roger used to break our balls. You guys like that rap shit, hip hop shit. You know what I mean? That was the thing. The older guys would like tease us and shit,
When you say 80s generation, though, you mean like before Youth Crew and all that stuff?
Yeah, probably more specifically.
Yeah.
80s Youth Crew?
Well, I mean, he's like... Yeah, the old heads that had maybe, challenges
like
with
the pyramid.
What the 90s were bringing in would have been, mid 80s. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I mean, everybody starts somewhere, and I was called a poser as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all come in some way. Like talking about hardcore now and hardcore then. Everybody starts somewhere. Gets into the first band, Well,
it's like life. Any area of life that you need to navigate and get in the mix with, There's going to be people who are going to, try to tell you don't belong here. They're going to tell you,
Right.
Hardcore. Yeah. That's another thing that's been the topic as of recently with online. With, hate to say it again, Turnstile. And it's like, one thing I love that nobody in Turnstile responds to nothing online. They keep it moving. They fucking don't give a shit. I fucking love that. Two is that, like, we talk about it too, that there's no blueprint to this music, and who are you to say what is hardcore? Because what is hardcore to us may not be what it is to somebody now, and somebody's band now could be their Madball. We already had a map. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, like, who are you to fucking say what isn't? And those are the kids that think it's one particular sound.
I can't wait till after this so I can say something.
Okay, baby. you want to say something now on the pod?
You're gonna cut it out because it's fucking
Just.
right under the bus.
Hey, don't say no names, baby. I love you, man. But I'm just saying, like, Moon loves turns out anyway. But like just about like the people that try to say what it is and what isn't because they think it has to be. Especially now, everything's so hard and so beat down and so like it's a hardcore right now. You have to admit that everything's super tough. That's Madball's fault.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
You're talking about like the modern era.
Yeah, and so when people hear Turnstile and they think that it's not because it doesn't sound like what they think it is, it doesn't mean it's not hardcore. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I was going to take it to a different place for a second.
Take it, please, though.
Strictly only to shout out something I'm excited about. Because you're right, there is like a very hard era, beatdown era. And I love, Madball's one of my favorite bands of all time. And I look at like the hard stuff happening now almost more influenced by like Everybody Gets Hurt, Billy Club Sandwich kind of stuff.
I think Hatebreed.
Hatebreed too.
Is what
definitely.
I hear.
Yeah.
Marauder.
A lot more metal. Marauder,
Madball?
definitely.
Yeah.
But I see a shift happening.
Okay.
And I think there's a couple bands that are leading the wave, and I think that one band is going to change it, and it's that band Start Today.
Bro.
I saw them last week, and
I'm not hip to them yet.
I think they're all like 16, but they did a demo and a 7-inch, and the gap between the demo and the 7-inch is fucking unreal. And I was at their show. They played Hollywood Underground, some like basement the other night.
They're local. They're here.
From LA. I don't know any of them, but I see that like response to two things: beatdown, and then like professional hardcore, which is a weird thing for me to like comment on because, I think it's interesting for bands of a certain size to like want a manager. I think you shouldn't do that. I think like my advice would be like, get in the van with your friends, light fireworks, gamble,
Yeah.
But I see that wave happening where people are like, okay, almost like similar to, I don't know if this era would resonate, but like when Floor Punch started, there was that Youth Crew revival.
Yeah.
Where like
yeah.
moshing was like out.
Well,
CBGB era had died. The post-hardcore era is happening. And then Floor Punch was like, we're wearing Youth of Today shirts and we're moshing our asses off. And that started a movement. And
it's a very common repeated human trait that you see in history, right? Is
totally.
This is oversaturated right now, and my instinct is to push back on it. Even though I might actually like it, it's like, fuck, everybody's fucking doing this, and it's been done for so long now.
Yep.
I want something different.
I Start Today opened up for Turnstile at that show.
Yeah, I know.
And now they're playing with Gorilla Biscuits in a couple months at Orange County. We have to go.
Yep.
Interesting about that is that one of their dads DM'd me because he was in a band called Fast Break or something like Fast Break.
And In My Eyes.
Yeah, there's like hardcore dads.
Which makes sense. Those what you're describing, I would think, doesn't just happen out of nowhere.
And I just got connected to the singer's mom to be on the podcast. Her name's Catherine. Shout out Catherine through a friend who's been in the industry with The Weeknd for years. She's like a big publicist.
Yeah, she's a publicist, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I saw her at the show, and I was going to say what up, but I didn't want to be hey, I'm Turnstile's manager.
She's been in the game for a while with hip-hop and everything, so it's going to be a cool combo.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like, my son's on tour right now. I'm like, my son's on tour. Like, but yeah, that band's sick, man. They're like a total like youth crew. Like,
it's awesome.
Yeah, that's another band. So I think you're right about that. The tides might turn with that.
And just seeing that show, it just has like a feeling that something's going to happen, And when I say that, I don't mean like mainstream success. I just mean like cultural movement of like young kids loving hardcore for the right reasons.
Yeah, that was cool. Turnstile put him on that show. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So you're obviously listening to new bands and trying to like sign new bands too?
No, not signed.
Okay.
For the record, I don't do any contracts with any of my bands.
Okay.
Even if I had a kid,
so signing
I might
is
change
not
that.
an actual thing.
Yeah, it's just like you start working with the band, But
true story. Ian Mackay has no contracts with none of the bands on Discord.
Yeah, it's awesome. I have no contracts with any bands that I manage.
That's interesting.
That's dope, right? That's real. Like that's real hardcore. That's like friends. I don't know. It's awesome.
Well, yeah.
I'm not saying it's the smartest thing in the world.
That's where my head's at.
Yeah.
But I'm not looking to question your.
The way I look at it is like if you're gonna start with the band, new relationship, you don't want to have them feel like they're signing to like a record deal where like, you can't get like my mentality is like if you don't want to be here, you shouldn't be here. You know, but in terms of like signing, you know, like if My Chemical Romance called me tomorrow, I'll be like, yeah, let's do it. You know, but like my mentality for younger hardcore bands is that they don't need that. You know, if I met a young band that was like going for it, I'd be like, yo, here's my number. Call me at any point, and I'll give you free advice, or I'll connect you with someone. But like, I think a lot of, you know, it doesn't make sense for me to manage hardcore bands because I don't think that every hardcore band should have the same aspiration, you know? And like, there's hardcore bands I've seen get managers where I'm like, you should go like the Have Heart route and just do everything yourself and not sign to a label or sign to a friend's label, you know, but then sometimes it's really necessary, you know, like Paint of Truth tours worldwide, and like there's a different mission statement with them, you know. But like there's this band, and I don't know any of them. I'm just gonna use an example. Hardcore band from Detroit called King's Command, and they sound like a mix of New York shit, but also like early 2000s Boston shit. And it's cool. Done really well, and it's fucking awesome.
What are they called?
King's Command.
King's Command.
Yep. And like my hope is that I don't know any of them. It's none of my fucking business at all. But in terms of like, you know, signing more hardcore bands, I hope they play shows with their friends and do sick shit and have a friend put the record out, and they can find someone that they can call for help if they need visas to go to Indonesia, you know? Like Backtrack did shit for so long without having a manager or an agent, you know? Like I think that there's like this expectation that every band needs a full team when it's like there's bands that really need that and there's bands that don't. Yeah. You know? So
I mean, there's something cool about just starting out with your friends and DIY and just pay, you know what I mean? Grind and grind, and then you get your manager, you get your first whatever record deal.
And there's a certain point, like when you're at a point where you're like, if you play a show and there's tons of people there and you have no idea where the money's going, then you might need to call someone, you know? But until then, just like shut the fuck up, play Uno.
That's amazing to hear a person in your position make those statements. I think that really validates how you operate and the level of integrity and you know, to use your term, your mission statement. I think it's great.
I appreciate you saying
great
that.
To hear.
Yeah, so it's like what level of a band you think does need a manager at this point in any genre? Is it just bands that are getting, okay, maybe we could talk about bands getting radio play or on a major, whatever. I don't know what that even means in 2025. Yeah. You know? Like what?
I mean, I feel like, you know, without naming names, I think it's just like my answer there would be it's reactionary to a lot happening and not knowing how to navigate. Yeah. Not like I put a project out and I think that this is what needs to be done. Yeah. Okay. You know, I don't know if that makes sense. And that can go from like you're playing 100 cap rooms or you're playing 1,000 cap rooms. Like if you can handle it, you should handle it. And if you're in a spot to where you feel like you can't handle it, then I think that that's when you look around for options.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It happens organically too. It doesn't really have to be forced, right?
Speaking of radio, I had a funny scenario recently where I was at K-Rock. And this guy Kevin, who like runs the show over there.
Kevin and Bean?
No, not him, but a different guy. Loves Turnstile, but has like no reference for hardcore. Okay. But it's like very excited about like wanting to know more, you know, and like he's just asking me questions about like he's like, what's the difference between Turnstile and Linkin Park? You know, and I'm like,
that's a great question for a civilian.
For sure. Like civilian, but like, you know, civilian can sometimes have a negative connotation to it. He was so excited and he was giving the band a lot of opportunities, but like
he's a fan, man.
Just so no, I'm not throwing shade at you. I'm just saying no, not at all. You're the fucking man.
No. Well, I guess sorry. Help me out with the perspective you're sharing here. Is it a hardcore? It's someone who's learning, right?
It's someone who is
from the outside,
curious,
older than all of us, and has done major things in the rock space, but has no reference for hardcore.
Right. Yeah.
So we're kind of like, you know, we're talking about it, and he's like, you know, so fascinated with like where we come from and how we're here and like what's next. And he's like, one question he asked me that I was like, this is actually kind of fucking sick. He's like, so what's the blueprint for what's next? And I'm like, you know what? We're kind of making that right now. You know, I don't have anybody to turn to be like, how do you be from the hardcore world, but, you know, they have like a top 10 song on alternative radio right now. Top 5. So, but he's talking about all these bands. Like, what's the difference between Turnstile and this band? Yeah. And he brought up Rage Against the Machine. And I'm like, have you ever heard Inside Out? He's like, no, I haven't heard Inside Out. I was like, it's Zach's band that he sang in before Rage Against the Machine.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, can we pop it on the station right now? And he didn't play on the air, but like we had it like in the office,
Sick.
like bumping the speakers. And then we listened to the Inside Out 7-inch. His mind was blown. And then, when you listen to something on Spotify and like a playlist starts, so that we're finishing our conversation, he's asking these questions, and then like Gorilla Biscuits come on and Judge come on. And every song I stop, I'm like, oh, this is Judge. This record came out in '89. And it was just really cool.
That's awesome.
To me, like going back to the social disorder conversation, I had to like really shift my perspective where it's really exciting to be able to talk to somebody about hardcore and like just the mission and explaining how important it is to so many people.
Yeah.
I used to maybe think like, oh, these people don't get it and they're coming in here in the 9th inning, but now I'm like, it's exciting to talk about with someone, as long as they don't come in and say like, you got to change your shit around, then I'm like, there's no fucking way. But it has been exciting to be able to like talk to people that don't have the reference point and they're just excited.
Well, do either you guys have any experience where you have a friend who, again, in no judgmental way, but civilian I think is a good term to use.
It's a great term to use. I use it all the time.
Right?
He's a normie, whatever.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Same type of thing, right? Where they come to a hardcore show with you. They've never been before,
Dude.
but they know they're going, and they show up, and you can tell they kind of dressed like what they think people dress hardcore.
Yeah.
And
It's funny.
You've seen that before, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the reality is that's the opposite of how to approach it, right?
Definitely.
If you're trying to calculate and trying to say, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this because it's got to be like this, and right, this is hardcore, right?
With a t-shirt,
right?
Yeah.
What a scary spot to be in if you think about it, though. Like going to a hardcore show, not knowing, only
Sure.
hearing the
Yeah.
rumblings. Like if I'm like,
Absolutely.
I might just try to put on something to try to be accepted too. Like it's
Yeah, for
it's,
sure.
it's a crazy scenario. I've
is.
never done that before. The rolling with a civilian. I always roll solo.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I've done it, and what I've learned, and it's amazing to me that it doesn't seem as obvious to other people, is any setting that you find yourself in, you got to be yourself, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
And even if you're the odd man out, just own it, and people will
Yeah.
respect you so much
Oh, yeah,
more
for sure.
if you roll with that understanding.
Yep. Definitely.
Then try to fit in and try,
Well, that was the whole thing about hardcore, why we're attracted to it, right? You just be yourself, and that's it. You don't have to worry about being judged and all that shit.
Yeah.
but it's not always like that, is it?
It's not. But it seems like now it's more acceptable than
Agreed.
to be
Agreed.
yourself. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like you could be an Angel Dust and play a hardcore set, then do a pop set. You can say your favorite band's Paramore. Like the singer from Tsunami said twice that the last time he was at the Warped Tour was 20 years ago to see his favorite band Paramore. He's in the hardest
that's
fucking
cool.
band. I love
Yep.
that shit.
Well-
Back then, people were like, what? You like that shit?
Well, I mean,
Right.
I always think about, again, going to us in the 90s, just take our 3 bands, 2 bands plus Crown of Thorns, right?
Yeah.
Madball, H2O, Crown of Thorns,
Played together a lot.
musically, very different.
Totally.
But everybody is in agreement. All 3 bands are hardcore bands.
Yes.
So how do you justify that? How do you define that? I don't
Yo,
Can't, bro.
I
Fuck justifying it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
but that's my point. Like I
Yeah,
don't.
you can't.
It's so interesting to me that there's not a musical way to do it.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
what I think keeps it fresh and alive to this day.
Dude, absolutely.
Definitely.
The last time you moshed, I think you got hurt at the Judge show or something.
I broke my ribs to a Gnostic front.
Damn, that was before that.
That was 6 months ago.
But I thought, okay, really? Did not. Oh yeah, that show. Was that the
Gnostic
show?
front at 1720.
Yeah, I was there.
Uh,
Yeah, you're there too.
I was
Murphy's Law.
yeah.
At 1720?
Yeah, he was.
No,
there.
I wasn't there.
Oh yeah, you
So-
cracked your ribs.
I was in OC.
Yeah, so they hit, what was it?
You think you heard the Judge with 7 seconds one, right? You there too? I saw you there too.
I was at Judge 7 seconds, and then it was Side by Side Youth today.
You
Or
do
might-
roll. You
might
do
have been-
roll solo,
Always.
and I see you in the crowd, like diving solo.
I roll
That's-
solo.
That's a purposeful thing.
Yeah,
I
you
roll
roll
solo, and my mentality, I mean,
love it.
I try to change this, but I'm either like, I'm wearing shorts and I'm moshing, or I'm staying home. Like when I go to shows, I'm on the mission,
Yeah.
But I it's different because I go to shows a lot for like work related things, So
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, man, staying home is really nice, but I try to go to as many shows as I'm drawn to, which is a lot of them. But
Yeah.
Agnostic Front, it was brutal too because it was like all this turnstile shit that's happening right now
Mm-hmm.
took so much work, and I did it all with 2 broken ribs. Not when I say them, totally team effort. My role in it was done with 2 broken ribs, and it was fucking brutal.
Damn.
It was actually nice because I was like, okay, exercising is not an option now, so I'm gonna just wake up, jump into turnstile shit, and just be on the mission. Deep.
Damn.
What I'm really hearing from you in this podcast is if you're willing to accept broken orbital bones, ribs, an ankle, tonsillitis, right? Was that all?
Yeah.
Hardcore's for you.
Some sort of crazy rash on his ankle and shit. Yeah.
Yep.
Damn. What was your last real? I actually already had. That's a dumb question because you already had a regular job before all this shit. You know what I mean? That's one of my questions. But he has a real. He worked in management and booking agents.
Yep.
You have a crazy T-shirt collection too, huh?
I do.
Is
Yeah.
it stuff you collected, or you just usually buy it online? Stuff you had from your kid, or just trade from people?
It's stuff. So this has kind of crossed my wires a little bit. There's a fest in Boston called the Great American Hardcore Fest, I think, in 2010.
Okay.
And Backtrack played it. And there was a photo that I saw recently. Well, not recently. I saw it a couple years ago. I'm wearing a Breakdown Plus Minus shirt. And I'm like, I don't remember. Did I spend $50 on that shirt or $500 on that shirt? Like, I don't know, but it's still in rotation, which means
Damn.
that, like,
No, I see you rocking that, bro.
20 years later, it's still important to me.
Yeah.
So I have a different mentality for T-shirts, where sometimes if it's a thing where, like, we're talking about, there's a negotiation and, like, there's a bidding war or something, I'll be like, what if I just pay $200 more to have this done? I will say that, because also now at this point, you got to think, you're probably going up against, like, vintage collectors or rappers versus, like, hardcore kids. Like, if I know that I'm, like, toe-to-toe with a 19-year-old kid who really wants a side-by-side shirt, I'll bow out most times. But if I'm going up against a vintage collector and it's a Breakdown shirt there's 50 of, tell me what I got to do to get this done.
Yeah.
Because
there are a lot of rappers rocking like Travis Scott rocking Judge shirts and Avail shirts and Sick of It All shirts.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But if that means that I got to get more aggressive with the money, then let's do it.
That's through the thrift guy. Like, how conscious is Travis Scott of what he's wearing?
I think he has a hardcore guy as part of like maybe a stylist, maybe somebody from the scene. I'm thinking.
There's a sick. I took a photo of it, but I was watching the Knicks game and he's sitting courtside wearing a Sick of It All shirt.
That's
pretty
sick, dude.
Yeah.
Some of the Judge shirt, all that stuff.
Yep.
Have
you gotten anything new lately?
Like,
I know you were texting about you were looking for stuff.
I got this Combust shirt.
Yeah, fuck yeah. It's cool.
I got the Sick of It All shirt from my friend in Germany.
That's good.
But I got an original Underdog shirt from Tim from Mouthpiece. Shout out to Tim from Mouthpiece.
What shirt?
I'm going to show it to you. It's a white one. It's sick. Maybe it's from 89 or 90 maybe.
Cool.
You probably know
Love
what
to
it
see
is.
Yeah.
But there's so many things on. There's Mills Vintage. There's a bunch of cool spots that have all kinds of hardcore shirts.
Definitely.
He gave me an original Madball shirt that Steve Huey drew with the baller.
40 ounces of hardcore.
Yeah, I had it for a while. It was just too nice to give it back to him.
The red one.
Yeah.
That just sold online for a lot of money.
He sent me a screenshot of it.
$1,500. Something like that.
You got to get the job done.
I gave it back to you, too, for your family. Your kids use it for college or something.
Yeah.
I sent you that $1,500. It's crazy, man.
The way... I have a fucked up perspective, and it's crazy if you think about it. Think about this. I'm a 37-year-old hardcore kid. Hardcore is a huge part of my life in so many different ways.
Yeah.
I'm from a different generation. HR's still alive. John Joseph is still alive. Like, most people that are like into, like, really into things, the origin is gone completely. And sadly, as time goes on, more people are passing away.
Yeah.
Eddie passed away recently.
Man, rest in peace.
I remember there was one. This is gonna be really fucked up. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this. And I think that this gave me justice. Me breaking my ribs was justice and maybe a penalty. There was a show. You were probably there. Maybe you were both there. It was Crown of Thorns, Sick of It All, Agnostic Front.
Yeah, I was there.
At the Roxy in West Hollywood. So got to the show.
Back then.
Crown of Thorns is playing. It's fucking awesome. Hitting the Pit. Sick of It All is playing. It's fucking awesome. Hitting the Pit. And then AF's about to go on. And I'm like, it's 11 o'clock right now. And I could either get to sleep and get a good night's sleep and wake up, get an acai bowl and watch the Mets, or I could stay and see AF. And I was like, something came over me where I was like, I hit the Pit twice. I was exhausted. And I left, and I get in my car, and I put on AF Live at CB's. And I'm like, what the fuck did I do? You got to be kidding me. And then when they played at LA again, I'm like, okay, justice.
Yeah.
And I want to break in 2 ribs. But the reason why I say all of that is because we're living in a time to where the originals who started this are still around.
True.
And I feel like it's very easy to be like, oh, I'll see him next time. Or, oh, this shirt will go away. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm all in because I know in 10 years, this shirt that I could get for $300 or $1,500 is going to cost $5,000. And I'm in now. And this is like one of the things that I really deeply care about. And I don't get these shirts and just put them in a bin.
You wear 'em.
I get them and I wear them in the pit and I look at them.
That's
and,
cool.
and you know, like
I love that.
there's the
that
last
makes a difference.
last Backtrack show, I wore a Breakdown Blacklisted shirt, and it was sick because Mike DeJean was there. He's like,
Shout
you
out
know,
Mike DeJean.
shout out Mike DeJean big time.
That's cool.
But my friend Rudder pulled on my collar and like destroyed the shirt.
Fucking rudder.
But
Dude.
so then I'm like, okay, you know, but you got to wear these shirts. You got to wear them in the moment.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
then I'm like, then I got to be aggressive and I got to go get 2 more. So I did.
You got 2 more?
Yeah. And then I wore one of them to see Silent Majority. This is Hardcore, and that got ripped too. But I mean,
So that's
you know.
probably your main, like you're buying stuff. You're not like a fucking flashy guy. You're buying like shirts. That's your
I don't
thing.
give a fuck about watches.
Yeah.
I don't have any watches. I drive a Volvo. You know, I have overhead for the place that I live. But like other
Yeah.
than that, like I don't spend a lot of money, and I've been fortunate to have my financial situation change over the last couple of years.
Beautiful, man. You worked hard. man.
And T-shirts is where I'm going.
Yeah. He said one thing that we looked at each other. It was like, I remember towards the end of Warzone, like I felt like
Yeah.
they played so much and people kind of took it for granted. And they were always playing it, either like Under Acme or CB's or Bond Street or somewhere back then all the time. And I feel like that was like towards the end. And even myself, I think I was on tour. I came back. It was one of the records on Victory they came out with. And yeah, man, that was one of like, shit, I wish I saw him a lot more towards the end. You know what I mean?
Hey,
We were busy then traveling, but whatever. Yeah, it's a
for
lot.
sure. Speaking of Warzone, Sound of Revolution is maybe my second favorite Warzone record.
Really?
And I got that. That's one of those things where
Wow.
you buy the CD kind of out of order.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, that's what Tower Records had.
Yeah.
And that record really sticks with me.
Who was on that record? Was that
Todd the Kid.
was it Todd and was it
Vinny?
It was like there was 2 J's, right?
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
another-
guitar
like
player Jay?
The
and-
guitar player Jay, yeah, and then Dr. No produced it, I think.
That sounds
Or-
right.
Damn. That's cool.
And
Yeah.
and was
Oh, Vinny Value played
Vinny's
drums.
on drums,
Yeah, Vinny's
right?
on drums.
see
Sound Revolution was sick.
I remember when that band was active with that lineup, and all the respect in the world, but it was different for me seeing because I saw, you know, my old band played on the touring circuit with them of, you know, Don't Forget the Struggle, right?
Yeah.
And that was such a moment in time for me that it wasn't as exciting after that.
That makes sense.
But when we talk about the guys that were in that lineup, who I was good friends with, as well as just knowing how great musicians they were, I
Yep.
slept on it, and I regret that now.
Yeah, definitely. Were you a big Altercation guy?
No.
Okay.
Altercation.
That lineup was because I'm just wondering if that was like had anything to do with you gravitating towards that lineup because there was a lot of the guys from Altercation that played on that record in that era.
Oh, that was like Jay Vento's
Yep.
first band?
Yes.
Okay, that I was
Yep.
like, the name's familiar. I can't
Yeah.
think of. That's kind of a deep cut, Altercation, I feel like.
That's one
I don't
that
hear
la-
that
la-
name come up much at all.
Later in life, I've gravitated towards that more. Where that's
Let me just say, live, they were fucking great. I mean, the record was great, and when you saw them live,
you're saying Warzone?
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That was 1987. That was the summer where everyone said, yeah, fuck that, I'm a skinhead.
Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah. That's a cool thing to think about, like the reverse, where since I'm younger, I was able to like really process that record where like you saw the heyday. So this record, something that you can't even comprehend because it's so different. Where for me, it's like all happening at once.
Right. Yeah, it's
know?
interesting the way that happens. Yep.
It's like yeah, it's interesting. Talking Warzone.
Oh fuck, man. Let's go top 5 New York hardcore, man.
I was waiting for that to come
Oh,
up.
cool.
Let's go.
Mine has stayed very similar since I was 16.
Okay, let's hear it. And wait, before you go, it's that easy for you to pick just the 5?
Mm-hmm.
Because so far it hasn't always been that easy. Once they get to like 3.
My top 3 have stayed the same, so it's shifted a little bit.
Yep.
Like the top 3 have been the same, but they've shifted order. Breakdown, Killing Time, Outburst, Madball, And then this one is where it's tough. It's either Underdog or Youth of Today.
Damn. I love Youth of Today, man. I love Winning This Alone. That's my favorite.
And again, there we go, right? We're all very confidently referring to Underdog as New York hardcore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Hold on, let's do one more thing.
Finishing points.
Let's do one more thing next, though.
Top 10.
No, let's do top 3 comeback records.
Ooh.
Because
Wow.
I have...
Top 3. Let me think
How do you?
about that.
How, give me. I need
Like,
some
how
parameters
long's the
for-
gap?
Why don't we go top 5 New York hardcore first, and then go then we'll talk about this
Okay.
next.
Am I doing mine? I do. Shit. It's hard. I don't want to fuck it up, dude.
Also, hold on 1 second.
Awesome.
1 second. And this is just me, and I have a fucked up way of looking at the world, but I'm just going to say it. Agnostic Front, Bad Brains, and Cro-Mags don't count. And the reason why they don't count is because it should be implied.
Right.
And if they're not implied,
Yeah.
then I don't give a fuck about what your top 5 is.
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. That's okay. So
That's a great point.
all right. So then the amended ask top 5 New York hardcore releases or bands.
We could do albums, man.
You guys are seeing Shelter in a little bit. You tell me how long you got.
No, we're good. I got albums, hardcore albums, New York hardcore albums.
But you can't include AF, Cro-Mags, or Bad Brains.
I can't.
Nope.
Can't.
He
Okay,
just
okay,
laid down
okay,
those
okay.
ground rules.
Start Today, number 1.
Nice.
Killing Time, Brightside.
Nice.
Madball, Set It Off. Underdog, Vanishing Point. Token Entry, Beat the Streets.
Wow.
It's me, man, for now. I know I'm going to regret it tomorrow. I forgot to think of it all. Fuck, man.
Yeah, you did forget sick of it all.
All right, fuck. Warzone. Oh, don't forget the struggle, dude.
What do you
Okay.
got? We could do 10 if you
All
want. If
right.
you want to just
no.
like
It's too exhausting.
if we want to
It's hard-
celebrate life, we could
It's
do
hard
another
enough
5.
doing 5.
How about we could do an extension if you want to just shout some out? But
Okay.
why don't we
Because
go
there's always the honorable mentions.
go
But all right, I'll
top
go.
5,
And
yeah.
I can't do it in order because that just hurts my head too much.
Yep.
I am doing Don't Forget the Struggle.
God.
Bright
Yep.
Side. I'm going to throw Sick of It All, Scratch the Surface.
Banger.
wow, really?
That's 3, right? Am I at 3?
Uh-huh.
4 is going to be fuck you. 4, here we go.
Can't do Madball AF either.
No. I'm throwing in H2O, Nothing to Prove.
Thank you,
Wow,
man.
nice.
Yes.
Great
Thank you,
record.
brother.
Yes, it has been a good experience for me to really, with purpose, listen to that record
Yeah.
a lot.
Thank you.
And really, learn those songs and love them.
Yep.
Okay, so that's 4, right? And then the 5th one, fuck, man.
You're not Youth of Today judge or GB guy, huh?
I mean, I love all those bands, but they didn't hit me over the head.
Murphy's Law.
Ooh, thank you, my friend.
Come on, son.
Back
Which one?
with a bomb.
Nice. It's a great record. I got
Thank
into
you.
that Murphy's Law later because I would see Murphy's Law live and I didn't understand like some of like the trumpet stuff. I was like, I want to mosh, fuck the trumpet or whatever it was. Like
Horns?
but when I say later, I mean like at 16 I didn't get it. I didn't get Murphy's Law till I was like 22. I'm
Yeah.
37 now, you know what I mean? But what an amazing
Was seeing
record.
them live helping you get it?
I saw him live eventually at Positive Numbers and that was
Okay,
like
so that was even
really
later.
sick. Yeah, it was 05 and it was amazing.
I mean, I saw him on the Back with the Bong tour. And,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that lineup. I mean, Chuck Valla on bass, Dougie Beans on drums was a fucking phenomenal drummer.
Mm.
Todd Youth on guitar, and I mean,
Yeah.
Jimmy G is a frontman.
Great.
It's just, I mean,
We're thinking about 3 comeback records now.
yeah, help me out though. When
How
you
long
say
is the gap in
comeback-
between? 10 years
Well,
or something?
that's
I got to do my top 5 first. Come on.
Okay, yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Killing Time Brightside. Outburst Miles to Go. Madball Set It Off. Sick of It All, Blood, Sweat, No Tears.
Mhm.
Like the guitar tone on that record is fucking unbelievable.
Mhm.
It's crazy for me to say Breakdown's my favorite band, but not have like a record named yet. Because it's really hard for me to pin down Breakdown in a single release.
I get that.
Five's tough.
It is. This is the common challenge for everybody.
You say Killing Time, yeah. Gorilla Biscuits?
And
Love
answer
Gorilla
this question tomorrow. It will be different.
Yeah.
Leeway?
See where I'm at right now is I'm committing. I'm fully committing
Yep.
to where when I say this 5, it's going to be what I
Okay.
carry with me.
Okay.
Leeway. It's a lot. I'm thinking.
I could have changed my. I could have saved myself if I said the Where the Wild Things Are comp. That could have helped me like maybe make some
Ooh.
adjustments to have representation for some. All right, I'll say Breakdown Blacklisted. That's 5.
There you go.
Comeback.
In that Breakdown Blacklisted, I'm including the live set that's at the end because there's a live at CB set where they play Distance Dismiss and All I Ask. So that's why I can say that. So comeback record. It's hard for me to explain this without giving my answers. But like,
I was gonna say maybe just give your
you know,
answers, and then
like-
I'll visualize it better.
number 1 and 2 fight each other, and it's Hold It Down. Because
Interesting.
Freddie was in jail for a while, and then Madball came back with that record.
That's a good one.
And then We're Not in This Alone, where the first thing they say is we're back. And
Yeah.
my understanding is that Ray moved to India for a little bit, and
Yes,
that was
he
when,
did.
when Judge started, and like
Oh, I
maybe
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Youth Today was on hiatus.
Yep.
So those 2, and then I'll just give my 3, and then you guys can talk, is the Maximum Penalty record that came out on Reaper in 2015.
That's a big one with your generation.
Oh
Huge.
yeah.
And
That's a
I
big
love
one.
all Maximum Penalty. I don't think that that's my favorite Maximum Penalty release. It could be, but that one was like, whoa, how has a band been on the bench for so long and then come back with this? It was crazy.
Nick Jett was the guy who turned that one on to me, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
All right.
And people getting their props. Great band. Shout out to Jimmy Williams. Great singer.
And I know
performer.
Darren was on drums on that as he was on Darren Morgan.
Madball. Hold It Down
Oh,
record.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he was on Hold It
I
Down.
like Jimmy Williams on the Scarhead song. The game is over.
Oh, I remember.
His
I
voice
love
is
that.
sick.
His, what a set of pipes
Yeah.
that guy's got. It's crazy.
I guess my comeback would be Descendants. Everything Sucks. Is that okay?
I mean,
Punk. I guess.
you're from New York. That's what you're going to answer?
No, I'm sorry, man. Everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's open game.
Okay.
I don't even know
Agnostic
if I
Front.
know of him.
Got it. Agnostic Front. Something's got to give.
Mm.
Love that fucking
Good
record.
There you
dude.
go. That's a great
Love
one.
that shit.
Yo, have you ever
Um,
seen the, I mean, you guys are probably there, but when AF does that reunion at that Madball, oh, you're obviously there.
Yeah,
That Madball set,
yeah. That
when
was
AF does a
fun day.
reunion halfway through.
Yeah.
That's like, if Backtrack played again, that's how I'd want to do it. Like Painted
Right.
Truth's playing a set and we just
Right.
pull up and
Oh,
just
that's
play,
cool.
you know,
Right.
like
Where was that at?
Wetlands.
Wetlands.
Oh, I was there.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, Wetlands was crazy. But those
I
crazy
used to
things
love the
popping off
Wetlands.
Wetlands. I'm gonna go
You know
hold
what's a fucking shame?
Yeah.
I went to Wetlands once. And
Really?
you know who I saw?
Who?
The Ataris.
Oh wow.
And- And no disrespect to the Ataris, but like I went there kind of earlier. I was talking about my cousins and punk and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And that was the show they were going to. And it was before I knew much about hardcore. I think it was in 99 as well. But you think about the history there, and that's the show I fucking go to. It's
Damn.
brutal.
What did I say? I said. What did I say?
Yeah, The Descendants. I forget the name of the release.
Can you say Civ Set Your Goals? It's like the second GB record. I guess
Nah,
say
you
that.
can't. But it's a great record.
Fuck. Okay, we got that. Okay, Gnostic Front. Something's got to give.
Yep.
Yep.
And the hardcore scene too. Later on, dude.
What year did that record come out? Is that the first one back?
96, I think, right?
Yeah.
That was
yeah,
before.
yeah, it was. That was the first.
And I'm agreeing to Hold It Down. I agree with that. 100 trillion%. That was a crazy time getting freaking Madball signed to Epitaph. All that shit with Tim Armstrong, and then Freddie gets locked
Oh,
up.
that's right. You
And the
were.
record comes out, and then like there's no tour for it. Such a
That
gr-
is
that-
my
is that-
favorite
is that what
Madball
happened?
record, by the way.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I got those two. I got need one more, man.
No, you just did 3.
I did two.
Not Descendants.
No, he said no. I'm
Yeah,
New York
yeah.
shit. New York shit.
It doesn't have to be New York shit.
I mean, it
but
could be
you-
Warzone Sound
but-
Revolution. I mean, the Warzone record's sick too.
Well,
that was way later.
Can I clarify something?
Sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be New York shit. I'm just saying that you're a man who waves the New York flag.
I
So
know.
if you're going with Descendants, that's your choice. But I'm just wondering if that's where you want to go.
Yeah. One voice,
I love Descendants for the record.
One voice is late too, though.
Theoretically, I would say that's a
One
comeback
voice, another
record.
comeback
Yeah.
record
Yeah,
too.
for sure.
It is.
So I can have two AFs.
Did you play that show in Italy off the One Voice tour?
Mm-hmm.
That video is insane.
Is that the one with Freddie and Roger together? They're doing
I think so. There's one move that like every frontman stole from Roger
Yeah,
from that
yeah,
video where he's
yeah.
doing the like.
Yep.
He's like punching his kneecap back and forth. It's fucking unbelievable. Oh my god.
Okay, I did
We-
mine. I think I'm good on mine.
So many days in like freezing Germany on tour with Terror, just watching that video. Like,
I love that.
I love that. Like, we can't just speak for Vitalo because he's a hardcore historian, but there's a lot of people like him that actually go back and check the history and all that stuff and dissect it, appreciate it, respect it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't try to imitate it, but represent in their own way. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Especially from New
Yeah.
York. Yeah, it's cool.
It's
awesome.
it's kind
man.
of hard not to really get connected to this culture without going through that exercise. I feel like.
I agree. At
You know,
the same time, got to be stoked about the new shit. Like
Absolutely.
start today, I'm like
And the
blown away by.
But
Yeah.
the problem is
Yeah.
the minute you're forced to do it by somebody.
Yep.
Then that's the moment you just say, "Shut the fuck up! I hate everything that didn't come out before
Yeah.
fucking 2010." How
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah,
What's
for
your
sure.
what's your comeback?
I don't know if I can do it, bro. I honestly, I mean,
I mean, you're on
I-
one of them, One Voice. You're on two of them. You're not Hold It Down, right? You wrote some
Yeah.
songs on that.
I know I was fully on that record.
Not
Yeah,
in the
well,
picture
yeah.
though.
No, I
Okay,
wasn't
okay.
technically in the band, but
Yeah.
we worked together on that record as if I was.
Yep.
The
Ooh.
AF one's good. That's a great one.
Does Quickness come out later? It's not really
I wouldn't call it a
comeback.
comeback. It's
fucking
close.
Love that shit,
but-
dude.
Yeah, so Something's Gotta Give is a great one. I can't think of any others though, really, like that fall into that category specifically.
Yep.
Do you got any others just out of
You know what's a good
curiosity?
one? It's tough because Brightside is just so fucking legendary, but The Method's a really good record too. Killing Time, The Method,
That's a great one too. Another
I
one.
don't
really
know
good
it.
one.
Yeah,
It's good.
another one.
It's good. That's me. I don't want to say reaching because it's a really great record, but it's just, those ones, Madball, Youth of Today, Maximum Penalty, are like focal points in their current like live performance. Where like Killing Time might play like one song from The Method. That's more of like a deep cut record, but it's really
Yeah.
good, underrated, slept on record in my opinion.
What's the gap between Break Down the Walls and We're in This Alone? You could say it's a pretty big gap. Couple
Not
years.
that long. I
Okay,
think maybe
yeah.
like 2 years. But I feel like in hardcore world, when you're young, 2
Yeah.
years is a fucking eternity.
for sure?
It did
Yeah,
seem like a
for
long time
sure.
for them. I got one for you.
What?
Nothing to Prove. 8 years later,
Yeah,
had a hiatus for 8 years.
I was thinking about
Yeah,
that when
there
I
you
when I listed it in my
From 2001
top
to 2008.
Hey, honestly, amazing record, and the gap is significant. Where there's a gap for that long, you think these guys are going to be dusted, and you stepped up and came through.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you.
I remember
man.
we did
Yeah,
that
no,
tour
that-
together with
yeah,
Tara. Like
yeah.
a lot of those songs did better than
Other
the old
song,
shit. Yeah,
Thank
which
you.
is like that's fucking hard to do.
Thank you. That's 8 year gap.
Yeah, no. To me, that record is an example of a band that really just came together, and all the ingredients just worked. You know what I mean?
It's
Yeah.
it's an example of a band who didn't let two other members write the songs, and we took the whole shit over. I keep it 100 on the podcast. I always do. Me and Adam just took that shit over, man. You know what I mean? We took the reins. It's okay. Because I gave the reins up for the Go record. That's a whole whatever. It's a whole
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, but I think it's important for
Where
bands
every
to do
single
that,
song
you
and
know what I
Nothing to
mean?
Prove, yeah.
You know, after a while, you got to try something different, just
Yeah, I know.
to keep it
I-
fresh for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you learn some things you like, some things you didn't, and then
Okay, hip hop. Let's get a little hip hop real quick. Because you were talking before.
Well, we were
man.
just
He's
talking-
a hip hop head, too.
yeah, and the comment and why I looked to you about people aren't going to be here forever, so try to get that opportunity.
I made him
Yeah.
come out the other night.
Yeah, we went and saw Rakim,
Oh, cool.
which I call
Long Island.
a spiritual experience.
Really?
Yeah, man. He's
It was
just
beautiful,
when he
dude.
comes out on stage, it's
The
like
aura, dude.
that's fucking New York hip hop right there. Like,
Yep.
And it is a dying breed.
Yep.
There's not many left, and nobody, in my opinion, did it better than him in terms of the boom bap,
Facts.
old
Can-
style.
Can we do top 3 New York hip hop? And,
Of
and
course,
I say
dude.
that because I
course.
want to learn a little more. Like I'm
He's
we-
going to be way
we,
better at this.
we were
than I
talking
am.
about this earlier pre-pod of like, okay, if Mobb Deep is Madball,
Okay.
who is Breakdown of rap? Like there's a lot of the like, and Vogel hits me with a lot of good like deep cuts,
They
like
could
the
be
the group home record.
Yeah. I mean, they could be like Black Moon.
Yep.
See,
Hard,
Yep.
yeah, this is your
too.
territory. I don't
Yep.
know.
Breakdown
Like,
could be. I always compared if I had to compare H2O to hip hop, it'd be like De La Soul or something.
that makes
Yeah.
total sense.
Do you guys? You're a big hip hop guy too.
I mean, I'm a fan for sure. I don't have as like I'm not in the full catalog the way like I know Toby.
I'm
is.
deep in. Me and
Yeah,
Freddie are
Toby-
deep in that. We
Toby-
talk about it all the time, dude.
Do you guys look at like Memphis stuff as like metalcore? Like, let's
Oh, you mean like
Like,
Memphis hip hop?
yeah,
to
like
New York
let-
hardcore.
let's
to
say
New York
let's
hip-hop
say
is
hold
like
on. Let me try to
metalcore to hardcore. New
yeah.
York.
Let me try to
I
put it into some context.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so let's say Tribe Called Quest is agnostic front,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, do you look at 3-6 Mafia as Asking Alexandria, or like
Wow.
Like
I know what you're saying. I would.
I know what you're saying.
I don't. I really love the Memphis stuff too, but
Yeah.
I see how different Memphis and New York styles are. But I love it all
Yeah.
very, very much.
Yeah.
But
to
I'm
me-
wondering for like someone who has, been around longer, if they look at that as like, because that's a newer style with like, I don't know the mechanics of how to explain it, but they just have such a different cadence and approach, and the beats are different.
I would
Yeah,
I
so
would
you
use
maybe-
examples like that, but having to go more modern, right? Like
Like the drill stuff.
You could
happening
go to
in New York.
Cleveland
like
on some
Ken
hardcore shit.
Carson compared to like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I'm just using him as one example that's more modern, kind of the auto tune type thing, right?
Yeah,
Ken
yeah, yeah.
Carson.
Mm,
Like-
yeah.
You can go like to Ohio and compare like Integrity and some other bands to maybe like, I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? You want to get other hardcore that's not New York and compare it to hip hop
Right,
like he's
right,
doing
right,
Memphis.
right.
Well, I think that
Oh,
Integrity falls under the same level of like acceptance, where like Integrity and Madball are accepted by a similar group
yes,
of people,
that's a
where
good
like
point.
Agreed.
Asking Alexandria
Yeah, yeah.
isn't,
Okay, yeah,
and no
yeah.
disrespect to that band, I don't know much about them. I'm just
I
like
know what
bringing
you're
up an
saying.
example from a band who lives in like a different
Just like
space that's
yep.
like a completely different
So My
culture.
Chemical Romance is like Diggable Planets or something. I don't know. Or Arrested Development. I'm thinking about like how
Arrested
they-
Development was. Are they
Um,
Memphis? They're south. for sure,
South,
right?
yeah. I was just watching Fat Joe and Jada podcast yesterday, and they were talking about giving Long Island so much props. Anybody got props for all the hip hop, De La Soul, Busta
Yep.
Rhymes,
Strong
Rakim,
Island.
EPMD, Chuck
EPMD,
D,
yeah.
Leaders of the New School, Bismarcky.
Yep.
Dude, Long Island had so much shit, dude.
Yeah, a
So
lot of them were
much
from
hip-hop.
Hempstead, right? Is that
Hempstead,
that's
yeah,
the area?
Yeah.
Roosevelt. I feel like.
Roosevelt, yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Hip hop and Mobb Deep and Madball is a great one, dude. I would talk to Vogel about this shit all the time. Gangstar versus everybody.
Yeah.
Public Enemy.
Is Gangstar number one for you?
For a group?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's hard, man, because I got
Because I think in this conversation,
Tribe
there's
Called
no,
Wu-Tang.
there's not the same mentality of AF, Bad Brains, Cormac's not counting. I think it should all count in terms of top three. Because my top three would probably be Gangstar, Tribe Called Quest, Wu-Tang.
It's great top three.
know?
It's a great.
But that
top
could be
three.
also basic as fuck. I'm not as versed in hip hop as I am hardcore. To where like
that's where
if you
I'm
tell me
at.
your top three is Bad Brains, Cro-Mags, and Oxford Front, like we're talking about, like that should be
Yeah.
the case already.
Well, right.
I'm gonna put BDP in there, Eric B and Rakim in there,
Well, that's right.
De La Soul,
Because if I was to say top three, it would be
Rakim.
it would be Rakim, it would be KRS-One, and it would be Biggie.
Might be Rakim, Nas, KRS-One.
Yeah.
But see, I mean, fuck, Nas, fucking-
Jay-Z's in my top 5.
Yep.
There's so much. Q-Tip's amazing
Yeah,
lyricist.
Tribe Called
But
Quest.
Guru too, Gangstar, man. There's
Gangstar,
so
yeah,
much.
I mean,
Yep.
Ice Cube solo records,
see,
dude.
and it should be obvious, and if it's not, I'll help clarify. New York street culture was something that I was just so attracted to.
Yeah.
And it just fucking was loud and clear through the music,
Yep.
through the hardcore, through the hip hop,
It meshed so well, man. Yeah, dude.
graffiti.
and those
Graffiti.
cultures.
Yeah. Do you guys ever read the book? I think it's Urban Styles.
No, I know about it though. I mean,
Is
I've
that
read
the
it,
one
yeah.
with like Mackey's in it?
No,
And
wait, I'm fucking it up. Maybe.
There's one where
It's a lot about graffiti in New York. and
yeah,
shit. Like I know Tommy from Style Majorities, and I bought it, and one time my wife was out of town. I just read the whole thing in one go. It was like so much stuff about like the Burn Crew and all that.
yeah,
that's cool.
Mackey's in it, right?
Smith Insane, yeah, Mackey's in
Yep,
it too.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
really
Like he's
such
a
you
legend.
talk about New York street culture. It's such an important part. If even for me, like I got arrested doing graffiti when I was I got kicked
There
out of
you
high
go.
school doing graffiti, and I got arrested when I was younger, and it was on the news, and it was a big thing. It was like
Damn.
and at first I'm like, I'm all city, I'm all island, and then my mom started crying. I'm like, oh fuck, because all
Yeah.
living on Long Island and being the graffiti kid when you're 16 years old,
Yeah.
not the vibe.
I don't understand, Mom. I thought you'd be proud.
I mean, my first instinct was like, fuck yeah, I'm making a name for myself. And then I realized that like anytime I go to one of my sister's sporting events, everyone's
As
looking
you
at me
should.
like, yeah,
Yep.
brutal.
I love
What
it.
is what do you miss New York?
I visit New York so much, and I'd be curious to ask, I mean, both of you guys, I am such a fucking PG-13 degenerate when I'm in New York. Like go to bed 3 hours later. I follow the time zone,
Yeah.
I'm eating Little Frankie's at midnight.
Yeah, pizza at 1 in the morning. We're doing that, yeah.
But I'm here. Yoga at 7 a.m. I got my fucking water with lemon and salt, and I'm taking care of myself. When I'm in New York, I'm like, hitting up my friends, be like, let's get on a bike and go eat Skittles. So like there's not longevity for me being in New York, but I go there a lot. So the answer is no, I don't miss it because I experience it in like the best case scenario.
Yeah, we do the same thing. Like as soon as we land, we're going to find like a pizza spot in a couple weeks. I'm like, where we going? What's open to 1 in the morning? Like that kind of shit we don't have out here and do that. I love walking everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, neither my wife or I are from New York, but that's where we met and lived for a couple of years. And we moved out here to be closer to her family when we started our own.
Yep.
And her, more so than me, for sure, still has a real romanticized, attachment to that city.
It's funny you say that.
I always will because of, the era that I think of being the 80s and 90s.
Yep.
And it's not the same city. But I will say this, the last couple times my wife and I have gone, it felt closer to that than it ever has.
Interesting.
And we've really had a good time there the past couple of trips. And one of which was I brought all 3 of my boys last
That's
November. Sick. And just walking around, man, like you do in Manhattan. You know what I mean? You're not
so different,
driving.
Yeah.
And I love just being out in the street and in the mix.
I met my wife in New York as well. Okay. I was living out here. She was living in New York. We did long distance for a while, but I have a lot of romantic memories of us early on in our relationship. We got engaged in New York because I was like, gotta do it in New York in our zone that we always chill in, so I'm with you.
How long have you been married for now?
9 months, 10 months.
Oh, nice.
So congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, man.
How long have you guys been together for?
7 years.
Oh, amazing, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. Franz married us in my backyard.
Oh,
is that right? Is he like ordained? Like
yeah. I mean,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Man.
So we had wedding in my backyard. So we just had like close family.
Yeah.
Franz held it all down. And then we did a party at this hotel called the Cara Hotel. So we just did like no like seated.
That's cool.
You're at a wedding and you're sitting at a table and you're stuck with the same 5 people the whole time. And we just had like a whole party there. But yeah, it was in October last year.
Amazing, man.
So,
do you want to have kids?
I do. Yeah.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Man. That's in the
It's
future
kind of like
plans.
it's gonna sound like I'm being dramatic, but I'm not. Get the turnstile record out. Get in the best possible scenario, best possible shape. Then think about having kids. So it's gonna be now like start to think about that. But
that's awesome, man.
That's been like a moment that everyone, the band, myself, have been like working towards for a decade. It felt so I had to be really locked in, and me and my wife's like a big turnstile fan and supporter of me and the unorthodox way things go.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, let's get married. Let's pause. Pick up the conversation.
I love that, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's smart.
Yep.
Are you optimist or pessimist?
Optimist. It's a layered question because I'm definitely an optimist. I feel like, maybe it's fucking social media that everything that's bad happening is just like condensed and just delivered to you.
Absolutely.
But it's like, I'm an optimist, but I've been finding it really hard lately to stay positive.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I can relate to that.
Is that because of the internet or just the world, everything?
Well, I think the internet magnifies what's happening in the world.
100%.
It's like fucking people getting kidnapped everywhere. Like,
Crazy,
it's like fucking, how the fuck am I supposed to stay positive?
True.
If I was going to start a band, that'd be the first line of the mission statement of the record. Like, not that I'm going to, because we talked earlier, it's got to be bright side minimum. But like, I am a optimist, but I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't having a hard time right now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's tough.
Just feeling. What's it called? When you feel like other people's pain.
Yeah.
What's that word called?
Sympathetic.
Empathy.
Empathy. Yeah, I'm an empathetic person. Same too.
Yeah.
It's hard to scroll and see all that kind of dark and all that shit, and like feel kind of hopeless and powerless, and just like you're not there, and just.
Yep. And I think part of the internet is definitely amplifying things, but
absolutely,
it gives more visibility to places in the world that you can't necessarily reach.
Yeah, man.
But for me, it's always been, my mentality has been, you can't, to quote Youth of Today, or just a part of the mission statement, but like, you can't change the world, but you can change your world and do the best you can there. That's how I've always tried to operate and tried to, do the community work when you can. I always do that shit behind the scenes. I don't make it like a public thing, but like try to like do what you can to affect your world. And then just the volume of things happening
Yeah.
makes it hard to be like, hard to stay positive, you know?
No, I agree, man. It's a crazy time, man.
And then you're like, you just play tennis and stay positive. But it's like, fuck, man. It's fucking, you know, like,
Yeah.
then you feel like you're just coping, masking it up, you know? It's tough.
Yeah. What is
I wish I had a better answer.
I get you. It's a weird time to even because it is hard. It's a weird fucking dark.
It's a hard time to be positive.
Yeah.
It's a hard time to be an optimist.
What's some daily rituals you have when you're home?
A lot of stretching, meditating.
Cold plunge?
Yeah.
Sauna? Yeah.
Hit both those.
Combo, yeah.
Yeah, first, like, and I always, like, think about it going to the root, like, these things are so important to me because of, like, the stuff we talked about earlier of, like, like, being able to, like, fit into, like, a classroom or, like, what you're doing, like, or even, like, being able to read and be focused. Like, it's just so hard. So I feel like I'm always fighting. Like, my instinct is to stay up late, sleep late, eat shitty, and drink soda. That's, like, my instinct. So I wake up every day and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get up early. I'm going to drink a bunch of water. Me? Fuck yeah.
Because you love soda. Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
Drink a bunch of water, stretch, burn some incense, meditate, try to do a workout. You know, the pieces can move, but like, you know, try to move the body and just like not wake up and stare at a screen.
Yeah.
But, you know.
It's so important. And how do you sleep at night? Pretty good?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
You drink coffee?
I do. Yeah.
So a couple cups a day?
I love this to turn into a Huberman episode.
It is.
I have an espresso machine at home.
Sick.
So I don't drink, like, cold brew is in my straight edge. It's like cold brew and a beer is the same thing. Like that's the way I look at the world.
Wow.
Too much caffeine. Like, it feels like.
As cold brew, meaning it has more caffeine in it?
It has like 15 times the amount of caffeine that
I'm never trying
Ice Americano has.
I did not know
I'm never doing that, dude.
Yeah. So like I'll drink. There was a moment when my wife was living in New York and we were doing long distance, and I would work at coffee shops all day, and I drink like 2 cold brews, and I'll be like, why do I feel like I just won the World Series? And then 2 hours later, I'll be like, why do I feel like my dog just died? You know? Yeah, exactly. So I cut that out entirely, but I drink iced Americanos, and I'll make 1 or 2 a day. But the ritual's half the fun for me, just like making a cup.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Putting on Gangstar, making a cup in the kitchen.
How many times you plunge in a week? A couple times a week?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely every time before my softball games.
Okay. You sauna every day?
Nah, just because it takes time.
Yeah.
I would if I could, but it's, you know.
Yeah.
Having to have like an extra like 30 minutes every day. Sometimes what I do is I get in there and I just dump my brain out and I just write my mission statements for the week, which is so helpful, but not every day. Maybe 3 times a week.
That's cool.
Plunge is every day because sometimes I'm like, okay, I either got to go out and see someone and be social and I'm just cooked. So you jump in and you just born anew.
It's crazy.
Or it's like I'm working and I can't focus. I jump in.
Yeah.
You know, so I try to do it every day. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
How long are you staying there for?
2 minutes.
It's perfect. Yeah.
You know what I listen to almost every time I go in?
What? Underdog.
Back to back.
Oh, the best song ever, dude.
Every time. Like
best song ever.
Every single time I go.
2 minutes long or something?
No, just because it's fucking sick.
No, it's the best.
It's because it's fucking awesome.
You have any major regrets in your life?
Wow.
It's a hard one for people sometimes.
Honestly, nothing's coming to my mind, which I think is nice.
I like that,
I think like taking care of my shoulder more when I was younger. You know, I had opportunity to go to physical therapy, but I was like, how the fuck am I going to go to physical therapy when Blacklisted plays Long Island on Friday? You know, like that's what I was thinking.
Putting the core first.
Always.
Yeah.
You know, like truly before Backtrack started and I was able to have a different way to express myself, every show was the last show.
I love that,
If
man.
the face is broken, if the shoulder's fucked up, it doesn't matter. Every show is the last show, and I cannot even consider sitting on the bench.
Damn.
And then when I was playing shows, it was, you know, I'd still go on tour, and, you know, I was moshing for Terror and H2O every night on that tour. But
it's
like
crazy, dude. I remember that.
You know, anyway.
You're not retired from the mosh. You're chilling. You dance forever.
I moshed last week.
Yeah.
37.
What show was last week you moshed that?
Start today. They cover Mental. I mean,
oh, that's cool.
Next time I'm gonna mosh for them because I bought the 7-inch.
Are you in town for the GB show?
Is that in September?
Yeah.
September. There's a lot of different turnstile knock loose things.
Okay.
that I'm doing. So
yeah.
there's like 3 weeks when I'm gone.
Damn. Okay.
But
So you're going
I'm
on
not
tour at Turnstile? You fly and cruise with them?
not going on tour, but there's like their tour starts and then
Yeah.
Knocked Loose are playing some festivals. So I'm kind of just like mid-September. I'm just bouncing around. And there'll probably be some important Met games to hit too. So
Oh, yeah, we're about to go to Mets game soon, man.
yeah, let's go.
You ready to eat some food and see some shelter? Some 7 seconds?
Let's get it.
Dude, thank you for being here, man. This is
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
so cool, man. Like, just getting to sit down with you and chop it up and hear your story. Cross paths through many, many years, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I'm stoked for
definitely.
everything you're doing and putting out into the community and everything you're doing for hardcore. It's awesome, man.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Of course,
This is legendary.
dude. Anything for you, Matt? Anyway?
No, I think you summed it up real well. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Truly.
dude.
Cool.
Stoked. And people can find you on social media, but you're not going to really talk to them or answer your DMs, dude.
I'm not saying I'm not going to talk to anybody, but I'm
You
just
check your DMs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's for the listeners. And then also Turnstile's on tour this year, Knocked Loose is on tour, Painted Truth is on tour, Terra's a new record, Flat Spot, all that. A lot of shit
Yep.
going on,
A lot
man.
of shit.
Hardcore lives, dude.
Amen.
It's really alive, dude.
It is.
All right, Mr. Vitalo, thank you for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Peace.
Appreciate it.
Gotta give a big shout out to Liquid Death. I've been in a band called H2O for 30 years, and my first real job with a company is a water brand. Go figure. Love you, Liquid Death. Love the people. Love the brand. Love the concept. Love what they give back. Love the community. Love what they do for the environment. You can go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on any of their merchandise that they make. They have such incredible collabs. Also, if you want to hear the story of the CEO, my good friend Mike Cesario, on the podcast, you can go to episode 115, part 1. And then 2 years later, we dropped a part 2, which is episode 275 with the CEO, Mike Cesario. Just a man from Delaware with a dream, worked at a marketing company, and made this become a reality. Liquid Death is an incredible company, incredible water, incredible people. And I'm super, super honored to be part of them. They sponsor my life. They sponsor everything, my family. So go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on anything you want to buy on that site. If you want to get water, it's exclusively on Amazon.com. Murder your thirst, y'all. I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swipe the credit card. Don't really tell me much. Didn't give me much details of anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life, One Chance podcast is now with Removery. Call 866-934-4570 or go to removery.com. Use TobyH2O and get $100 off your first session. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Removery has 155 locations and 1.8 million treatments. US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology, cryo technology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, we talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Definitely check out One Life, One Chance podcast, episode 281. I have Carmen Brody, Mike McTurnan, and Dustin Ortle from Removery. And this is over a 2-hour conversation. People had submitted questions. It's an incredible conversation breaking down the do's, the don'ts, the fears, process, the results, everything you could imagine about getting a tattoo removed. It's all in this podcast. It's an incredible episode. I appreciate them all coming out for it. So check that out if you want to learn more about Removery and what it's like to get a tattoo removed. Once again, go to removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH2O and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out. I have a lot of friends who are sober, a lot of friends who are straight edge, a lot of my friends who are going through it. I know struggling with substance abuse and alcoholism can be really, really hard, especially knowing who to turn to. It can be really, really daunting. I'm here to say that a good friend of mine and his friend started this incredible treatment center called Refine Recovery. They gave me a phone number, 855-516-3332. You can text, you can call them. It's totally confidential. It's safe. There'll be somebody on the other line to help you out, a compassionate human being to talk to. They help you navigate the process, the insurance treatments. They accept most of private insurances. You can go refinerecovery.com, Refine Recovery Instagram. I know it's hard, but reach out to somebody, man. People care about you. People love you. People want you to be here for a long time. People love you in their lives. If you're going through it, make this phone call. It's totally private. I know people DM me all the time about going through it and going through sobriety and trying to get straight and trying to take care of themselves, and the struggle is totally real. And Refine Recovery is the definitely move. Reach out to them, 855-516-3332, or text them, 855-516-3332. You can call or text this number anytime, 855-516-3332. You know the drill. This number is here for you to call.